not worry.
What up, everybody? It's funny. Welcome to a brand new Do Not Worry stream. I'm your host, Anthony, coming to you live from the heart of Lebanon in the 09. Be a friend of mine, baby. Guys, welcome to a brand new stream. God, what I wouldn't give for music. All right. I wish I could start every stream with some music. It adds so much. Starting off a stream with a song, you know what I mean? But copyright, god damn it, man, I hate it. I wish this were more like Twitch. Just let me start off the stream with 40 seconds of a song, and I'm not gonna bother you for the rest of the stream. Now the whole stream gets claimed, or the whole thing gets demonetized for the first fucking 30 seconds. This is big. Samsung, how old are you? This is Big City Life. Matafix. Don't you wanna know me? Be a friend of mine. I'll share some wisdom with you. Let's go. I miss the song. How's everybody doing? Welcome to the channel. I'm your host, Anthony. Have I said that already? Joining you on this Monday night. It is 9:34 p.m. here in Lebanon. Matafix, Big City Life. That's it. Matafix. That's the only song of theirs that I know. They might be a one-hit wonder. Pretty sure they are. Even though I don't like that term. I don't like the term one-hit wonder. It's very dismissive. You know how hard it is to make one-hit song? Like, to me, if you've made one-hit song as a band, like a massive hit, you're good to go. You can go the rest of your life without having another hit. I forgive you. I understand. And I respect your one hit. I don't like to disrespect one-hit wonders. I don't even like to use that term. It's offensive. Guys, welcome to the channel. We're going to be reacting to Kilotonics. So this is the first time I've heard of that. Kilotonics Hasan bad video. It is a 4-hour video. I don't think we're going to be able to watch the whole thing and give it a proper reaction. Otherwise, this would be like an 8-hour stream or something. We're going to watch as much of it as we can. He's kind of breaking down the list of like slob tubers that have based their whole careers on shitting on Hasan, essentially. So it's going to include a lot of familiar faces here on the channel, such as Ethan Klein, the Tectone, the Willie Mac Show, Nicholas Eat the Oreo. A lot of those guys. So it's going to be nice watching a critique. I heard it's a very good video. Been getting a lot of recommendations. So we're going to be hitting that together. Yeah. This was a 2005 song, Samsung. Oh, you're making me feel old. Big City Life is a 21-year-old song. That's crazy, yo. First 1.5 hours are all E. Klein, huh? Goddamn. Well, I hope you guys are ready for more Ethan Klein. Sorry about yesterday, by the way. Yesterday, I don't know if you guys noticed. If you guys watched both my streams yesterday, you might have noticed that I did the same stream essentially twice. Once alone, and then the second time, we did it again with James, our friend, uninformed leftist, on Better Left Unsaid. But it was a fun day, tiring day, lots of Ethan Klein. If there's going to be a lot more of that today, then hee-hoo! Before we get going, folks, if you would like to support the channel, I would encourage you to become a Do Not Warrior, a member of the channel. Channel members get exclusive live streams every single week. We love and appreciate our members. We cannot keep the show going without our beloved members. Beloved members such as Wandering Beatles, who's been a member for 2 months. Ex-Marine244, who's been a member for 3 months. Thank you so much. Earlier Self, who's been a member for 5 months. We got Puncture Angel, who's been a member for 3 months. Thank you so much. Bree8488, who's been a member for 3 days. We got people like Aisa Omar, who've also been a member for 3 days. Thank you so much. How about members such as Katie Collins, 9071, who's been a member for 1 month. Edna's Magic Craft Shop, also a member for 1 month. Thank you so much. The People V Power, who's been a member for 6 days. We appreciate you all. And your boy Handio6510, who's been a member for 12 days. We appreciate you. We love you guys, whether you've been a member. Also, Dreadful Utopia, who's been a member for 13 months. Holy hell, folks. Crazy. We love and appreciate all of you guys. If you've been a member for 1 day, we love and appreciate you. If you've been a member for 13 months like Dreadful Utopia, we love and appreciate you. If you've never paid for your membership, or if you've been out there gifting memberships and helping the channel, we love and appreciate you. Thank you guys so much for all of the support. And I look forward to that exclusive live stream with the members this week. Also, our beloved patrons. Do not forget our patrons. Patrons are going to be getting a very special treat in a couple of weeks, as Nour and Karine are working on the 2nd episode of Fantasy Board Review. They are currently reading this very book. Let me bring myself back here, folks, real quick. They are reading Morning Glory Milking Farm. Morning Glory Milking Farm. Like, I don't even, like, it's like they had to have two, like, it wasn't enough to call the novel Morning Glory or Milking Farm. They had to have both. You know what I mean? There's Morning Glory and Milking Farm. So they're going to be reviewing, reading, critiquing this novel. They're currently reading through it. So this content is exclusive to our patrons. So if you guys are interested in some Milking Farm Morning Glory, a monster bait romance. Too many puns to handle, honestly. Way too many puns. This content is exclusive for patrons. Also, I'm going to be doing an exclusive Patreon video this week. So if you guys want to support the channel, we very much appreciate all of our patrons and our members as well. I haven't brought up this logo in a while. Look at this. We have a Patreon logo. Patrons also get re-uploads of our members' exclusive live streams. Patrons such as our God-tier patron, Ilad Mujabir, thank you so much. Superhero patrons like Muhammad Mrouwe, Bader, and Joey Dabul and Pee Wee Hernan. Blonde patrons like Matthew Bax, Matt Girsich, Haley Davis, Hani Farah, Mariam Hayad, Marianne S., Tufik Faki, and Antonio Jumail. Abductee patrons such as Jesse Hyde, Polish Pusher, Jim D. Dukers, Jess Polido, and Jigglypuffer. And Death Wish, and abductee patrons. Also, these are the abductee patrons. Thank you all. We love you. We appreciate you. Thank you so much to everyone. But if you guys want to support the channel, you don't have to be a patron. You don't have to be a member. You don't have to send in super chats. You don't have to gift memberships. You don't have to do any of that. Simply like the video, like the stream. If you're watching the replay, click that like button, leave a comment. If you're watching live, so make sure you subscribe to the channel so that you can jump into the live chat and engage. Join our Discord. We have a very nice Discord community. Also, tomorrow, I'm going to be doing a live stream on Tino's Playroom, my second channel. The link is pinned on top of the live chat, or at the bottom of the live chat. This is a channel where we do video games and Lego. It's a chill channel. None of the stuff that we discuss here are discussed over there. It's very fun. Last week, 4 days ago, we had a very fun time reacting to the world's ugliest Lego collection with the world's most psychotic Lego collector. Tomorrow, I'm going to be going over the entire announced Lego sets for the summer, so June and August. There's like 140 sets that Lego has announced. I'm gonna go over all of them tomorrow, tell you whether they suck or whether they look nice, and I would actually pay money for them. So it's gonna be a fun, chill stream tomorrow, and then another stream at night, hopefully, and then there's gonna be a Lego building stream this week. A lot of fun. I'm really trying to build a nice little fun community over there. So if you guys are interested in video games and Lego and watching me build Lego, Lego live streams, Lego reviews, all that sort of thing, feel free to join me. And thank you so much. I also got myself a fancy little spinning plate so I can start reviewing stuff you guys want to see. Oh. So this is the Batman tumbler set that I built last week. We built it live on stream. Beautiful little Batmobile. So for my reviews now, I got this little thing. These are the kinds of dishes you put on like the dinner table and you spin it. You can put like, you know, spices or you know, sauces. I cannot put my Lego sets and like spin them around as I review them. Like, look at this angle right here. Now look at this angle. Now look at this angle. Guys, I'm such a nerd. I'm gonna have so much fun with this. Marina's asking, can we get some Dark Souls between the Lego or some gaming? We should. Have to find a balance, guys. Right now, I'm super excited about this stuff, so we need to squeeze in one gaming stream. It's been a minute, right? Got to bring Elias back here. I just got to be Dark Souls 2 at the very least. At the very least. They're called Lazy Susans. Ooh, a Lazy Susan. I like that. Well, I hope you guys like my Lazy Susan. I must admit, it's not the smoothest Lazy Susan. When you spin it, there's a small little, like I don't know, like an indentation, or like it skips or something. There's like a little obstacle in there. The spinning mechanism isn't the smoothest, so when you spin it, it's kind of like a little, there's like a little jump that it does. Not the best. Once Alive says, I'm obsessed with the Dark Souls streams. Please continue them. We will bring them back. We will bring back the, I promise you, we're going to bring back the Dark Souls stream. Maybe this week. I'll see. I'll see if content is light this week. I honestly want to spend a lot more time on the other channel as well. So if you guys want to spend time and you want to become a Tino's friend, you can also become members of the other channel. There's going to be a lot of fun, exclusive live streams over there. So many ways to support, guys. And now, we're done with that. Some quick updates, and then we can move on. I have booked my ticket to the US, folks. I am going to be traveling to the United States. I booked my ticket yesterday. It's official. I'm going to be traveling from July the 7th until July the 28th. I'm leaving the US on July the 28th, and I'm leaving Lebanon on July the 7th. So I'll be there for like a total of like 20 days. Booked my flight, so I'm going to be there, and I need to find a way to make content while there. It's also the first time that I'm traveling to the States as a full-time streamer, where I'm not, like, normally, last year when I was in the States, I still had a full-time job, so I was technically on paid vacation. Now I'm not on paid vacation, so I gotta stream my ass off while I'm over there. So if you guys have any recommendations for stuff you'd like me to do while I'm over there, I'm going to be in Northern Virginia and Washington, D.C. So if you guys have any nice, fun IRL stream ideas, throw them in the comments, actually, or throw them on Discord. That way we can, you know, we can. Oh, I already ordered some Lego, Samsung. I already ordered the Dark Millennium Falcon on Amazon. It's $40 off, of course. And I ordered some more Clone Troopers. Hell yeah, Clone Army incoming, baby. Fabian says, I'd love to see the giant trees. Ooh, that would be fun. There's a lot of beautiful nature in Virginia. Dom Bomb Bomb says, come to North Carolina. I'll show you around the trailer park and we can smoke weed. You know what? We can't stream that, but goddamn, does that sound like a good time. I'd love to go to a trailer park, honestly. Ingenious Baboon is asking, can you visit Montreal? I don't know if I can visit Montreal this time. I got to spend time with, I haven't seen my family in a year, so I got to go spend as much time as I can with my family. Montreal seems like a far place to go. What I would like to try to do is at least try to visit Minnesota for a couple days. Hang out with James and Comrade Casey. If I can meet them in person, that would be pretty dope. Do like a live episode of BLU with the boys. I think that would be nice. So if I do make a mini trip within a trip, it's going to be to Minnesota. If not Minnesota, maybe New York, because New York is like a content factory, and I have one of my best friends is in New York. So maybe New York. And it's not that, it's like a 4-hour bus ride. I can hop on a train, get to New York from DC. It's doable. Montreal is kind of far. Can you record a live stream in a diner? I can try to do in a diner. I can do a diner. Can we have a normal meet and greet before going and visit the USA? I'll try, Sarah. Well, no promises. We'll try. We'll try. Yeah, Minneapolis seems like it would be fun, honestly. We could go, like, I could do some on the street reporting. We could go to the scene of the crime where they murdered Alex Preddy and Renee Good. You know, we can do some on the ground. Ooh, also, there's the guy, like, PNN, you know, Palestine News Network. The guy walks around and, like, yells at people, like, hey, are you Zionist? Like, what do you think of this? He's in DC. I could, like, meet up with him and do some of those, like, make some content with that guy. That could be fun, I feel. But, yeah. Okay, guys. But, so, speaking of which, speaking of going to America, you know, last year when we were going shit was going crazy, like customs and like border protection, and you know, people were telling me to not take my phone or buy another phone because they're going to check your social media, delete all your apps. I didn't do any of that, folks. I was ready to, I'm a US citizen at the end of the day. They want to give me some trouble at the border, at customs or whatever. I'm still an American citizen. I pay my taxes, goddammit. Okay, I'm a law-abiding, God-fearing, maybe not God-fearing, but I'm a law-abiding American citizen, so I got nothing to fear. But I saw this today on Twitter. YouTuber Mr. Who's the Boss says he was traumatized after being detained by US Customs while visiting to film a video. He revealed that he was strip searched, held in a cell with no outside contact, and lost out on a $300,000 project after being sent home. Isn't that crazy? I know I don't watch his content all the time. Like, he's come across my YouTube feed. He's one of those big tech YouTubers. He's among the more popular ones, you know? Certainly very famous. I think he's like British or lives in the UK or lives in England. Now, he's not a US citizen, but like still, you know what I mean? Getting strip searched and held at the airport for a guy that they could easily fucking Google and look up on the internet and know that he's like, you know, legit. So, violating US Customs detention. Let's read a little bit into this. Aaron Maney, better known by his online moniker Mr. Who's the Boss, is a British tech YouTuber with over 22 million subs. A large portion of his life is shared online, whether that be through his YouTube videos or snapshots of his travels on Instagram. But there's one story he hadn't told anyone. In May of 2026, Maney sat down with Dexerto for an exclusive interview where he shared his experience going through US Customs and border protection. At the time, he'd been hired to cover a high-tech stadium in the country, but was stopped short at the airport before he could meet the team that was waiting for him. Maney says that border protection officers took him to a back room for an interview where they began grilling him about his activities in the US and the reason for his travel. They started asking me more and more questions, digging into this, he told us. It started to become really heated. It started to become accusatory, as if I'm stealing money from the US or something like that. And eventually, they took me into a deeper room. Maney says this room was stocked with firearms and armed guards. He was escorted into a cell where he was made to strip off all his clothing and submit to a search. Now, that's obviously very embarrassing, very dehumanizing. Would be traumatic for anyone, honestly. Any kind of strip search, like, just sounds fucking horrendous. They took me into a cell and they took all my clothes off and felt around in all sorts of ways. Very violating stuff, let's just say. They then let me put my clothes back on. I even had to take my shoelaces off. They still wouldn't give me my phone back. I was stuck in the cell, no ability to contact anyone. Family had no idea where I was. There were dodgy people in this area with me. I was just there like, what did I do wrong? Maney was finally, no phone. Yeah, that's fucking crazy, man. And I've been held, not in detention centers in the States, but like I've been held for a while, like while they wanted to check my passports and stuff like that. Oh, 1 second, I got a message. 1 second. There were dodgy people in this area with me. Hey, why are you calling other people dodgy? They're in the same situation you're in. Calling them dodgy. I was just there like, what did I do wrong? They're thinking the same thing. That maybe they think you're dodgy. Maney was finally sent back home 26 hours later. He was 26 hours in a fucking detention cell. That's horrible. And he had to go back home. Like, he couldn't even go through and do his job. He was left traumatized and unable to fulfill his obligations to film the video, ultimately losing out on $300,000. As for the reason for the search, Maney says he wasn't flying with the correct visa for his trip. And, like, why does that deserve a strip search? I don't get it. It's because he's brown, obviously. Now he says he's no thanks. Now he says he's always escorted to an interrogation room each time he travels stateside, saying there's a black mark on his record due to the incident. It's scary. I don't like it. I was distraught, he told us. That's fucked up. That's fucked up. So I hope I don't go through. I hope I don't have an interview with Dexerto in 3 months. Being like, hey, I was strip searched at Dulles Airport for not liking Charlie Kirk. We are Charlie Kirk. We carry the flame. The flame. Let's go, Charlie. Let's get into this for a second. Let's see. Israel. How about Israel, the IDF, the Zionist regime has already begun their war on social media, censoring various social media platforms, censoring Twitch. You can no longer say, you can get banned for saying like Zionist on Twitch. You can't even type the word Zionist on TikTok. Larry Ellison now owns TikTok. Larry Ellison, massive Zionist, massive donor to the Friends of the IDF. Also now a majority owner of Warner Brothers, the owners of Paramount. Really messed up shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's already headed that way. God knows what's gonna happen to YouTube. Honestly, my channel will be one of the first ones nuked off of YouTube if Israel gets involved and they start doing an anti-Israel channel purge. Like any YouTube channel that does a lot of anti-Israel content, if they start getting purged, you know I'm one of them. You know I'm fucked. So Tino's Playroom is all we have. I'm gonna be building Lego for the rest of my life when that happens. God damn. Okay. Netanyahu, let's see what he had to say in the 60 Minutes overtime interview.
We have seen the deterioration of the support for Israel in the United States. Almost, I would say it correlates almost 100% with the geometric rise of social media. And that by itself...
I wonder why people being able to share stories, share videos in real time of what's actually happening has been able to impact people's opinions? You don't say. People being able to record the news and the reality of what's happening and not having to depend on biased mainstream media channels and sources that you control, you don't say. As those sources of information have risen in prominence, support for Israel has dropped, and there's, you think, a direct link? Really? Why does that work?
Itself is not what caused it, and I don't believe in censoring them or anything, but I'll tell you what happened. We have several countries that basically manipulated social media with bot farms, with fake addresses, to break the American...
oh, yes. Rahul Hussein says Larry Ellison's daughter, Megan, also owns Annapurna Films. That's true. That is right. And I think... And Larry and David had Paramount. Like, they acquired Paramount, and then they now acquired Warner Brothers. So it's... Zionists control a lot of the media now. It's insane. And this is going to be their battle now. This is their main battle. They can't win public opinion the organic way. So they have to control social media in order to sway public opinion.
That basically manipulated social media with bot farms. I'll tell you what happened. We have several countries that basically manipulated social media with bot farms, with fake addresses, to break the American sympathy to Israel, to break... No one,
trust me, bro, no one cares enough about Israel to create bot farms to hate on Israel. You don't need bot farms to hate on Israel, my guy. You're very hateable. You're very unlikable.
The American-Israeli alliance, because they think it's in their interests. And they do it in a clever way. You know, it's like you hear a text message. I'm a red-blooded Texan. I always supported Israel, but I can't stand what they're doing. I'm turning against Israel. And then you trace the address to some basement in Pakistan, you know. And that's...
What's with everyone hating Pakistan, dude? What is up with Zionists? Him, Ethan Klein, using Pakistan as a punching bag? What is it with these people? What's up with them?
Text message. I'm a red-blooded Texan. I always supported Israel, but I can't stand what they're doing. I'm turning against Israel. And then you trace the address to some basement in Pakistan, you know.
That's what most Zionists do, actually. The people that support Israel, half of them live in India. There's so many fake Israeli accounts that are actually in India. This is literally what the Israelis do.
And that's something that has hurt us badly. While we were fighting the physical military battle on 7 battlefields, 7-front war, we were completely exposed on the 8th front, the media war, really the social media war.
You lost the war of public opinion. How sad. How sad. Let's see, what do you intend to do about it?
I think there's been a concerted effort by several states to basically vilify Israel, in the primarily in the social media, in the standard media too, but that's less effective. The effective thing is in the social media, and we've not fought.
Yeah, it's because they're Muslims. Yeah, exactly. Pakistanis are Muslims, so Israelis love to point to them as some kind of a boogeyman.
I think there's been a concerted effort by several states to basically vilify Israel in the primarily in the social media, in the standard media too, but that's less effective. The effective thing is in the social media, and we've not fought back yet. So we'll have to do that. I think
we've not fought back yet, but we were gonna have to do that. Also, there was a piece of news that I quickly mentioned. Let me see if I can find it. Like, the Israeli lobby is gonna spend like $730 million on Hasbara in 2026, which is like a 120% increase from last time. Where can I find that, dude? Yes, there we go. APAC tracker. Israel to pour $730 million into propaganda arm amid reputational crisis. First reported by the Jerusalem Post, a total of $730 million has been allocated to the National Public Diplomacy Directorate, known by its Hebrew name Hasbara, which oversees Israeli propaganda. The figure marks a sharp increase from the $150 million set aside the previous year, which had already surged roughly 20% pre-2023 levels. So I think that's what he's talking about. Right now, they're talking about an incredibly massive spend, paid media on various social channels. They're going to pay for ad space. They already invested like $50 million. The IDF invested $50 million into Google ads like last year, bro. I keep mentioning, like, this didn't get a lot of coverage. IDF, Google, 50 million. I swear to God it happened. There we go. September 16, 2025. Israel spent $50 million on a deal with platforms such as Google X to deny the famine in Gaza. Is blah 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 blah. They're going to be doing a lot of that. Now, are they going to be donating money to like politicians and via APAC to control politicians, to control policy around social media and have legislation written that like makes the word Zionist like a slur? Yeah, that stuff might very well happen. So let's see what happens. But I mean, people have eyes, people have ears. We watched the live stream genocide for 2 fucking years. Good luck on doing that with no amount of money can wash away the things we saw over the last 3 years at this point. No amount of money. So good luck doing that. You can nuke every single social media network tomorrow. It's only going to make people hate you more. So that's going to be fun. I haven't really been talking about what's been happening in Lebanon for the past few days, maybe like a full week or something. Shit is still, and I think I might want to try to do like a full news stream sometime this week, but shit in Lebanon is still popping, folks. Israel has murdered like 50 people in the last like 24 hours here in Lebanon. There is no ceasefire. There is a ceasefire in parts of Lebanon as it was before the war started. You know, South Lebanon is getting attacked every single day by Israelis. This is footage of a Lebanese paramedic wearing a body cam getting bombed by Israel. Look at this. I'm gonna have to mute this. Nada Mokuran Atalla says, so grateful Lebanese paramedics are wearing body cams. They are documenting in real time the war crimes. Sorry. They're documenting in real time the war crimes they endure. No more doubting them. No more where's proof. Another double tap attack today caught on camera as resources of the Civil Defense of the Islamic Health Authority inspected the site of a previously targeted building. Israeli jets struck the location again directly, injuring 2 paramedics. Fuck. So here's a Lebanese paramedic wearing body cams, digging through rubble to try to find any survivors, any injuries. And this is when the double tap happens. Look at that. Luckily, they survived. Crazy, man. Two people survived. Okay, excellent. They couldn't get him. Fuckers. Yesterday, at least 24 people have been killed in Lebanon on Saturday. Just Saturday, folks. Today's Monday, Saturday. 24 people have been killed in Lebanon on Saturday as Israel announced it hit 85 different locations in a 24-hour period. Does this sound like a ceasefire to you guys? Israel hit 85 different locations in a 24-hour period, killing 24 people in Lebanon, mostly across south of the country. Lebanese Ministry of Public Health said an attack on the town of Saksakiye. Lebanese Ministry of Public Health said an attack on the town of El Saksakiye in the southern Sidon district killed 7 members of one family, including a child, and wounded 15, including 3 children, shown below. Oh my God. Jana, Mariam, and their family were quietly enjoying life in their home in Saksakiye. On Saturday, May 9, 2026, the Israeli army killed them along with 7 other members of their family. Here's the family that was murdered. What's Hajime? They got smoke. Oh my God, dude, this is so sad. We got dad smoking a cigarette. Dad or grandpa enjoying a nice little stogie, a nice little ciggy in the morning. Why not? You know? R.I.P. sir. We have the Hajj prepping either some tea or some coffee. She's got some sugar. She's putting it in them cups. Family's getting ready to have a nice morning tea in the privacy of their own home. We got the boys enjoying a little bit of hookah. Shouldn't be smoking hookah, boys. They're enjoying a little bit of hookah in the morning. Maybe it's an afternoon. Look at that. Nice little family gathering. More hookah. Y'all got 2 going? Dude, that seems like a party. Why wasn't I there? All these people have been killed by Israel. Rest in peace and fuck Israel. Yankees fan 718 sends a very generous $5 super chat. Thank you so much, Yankees fan, for the support. Much appreciated. It says this strategy will not work. With the Nick Fuentes factions, the right-wing bigots in the USA that would be Israeli-friendly are now anti-Semitic. Well, that's what's happened, right? That's the crazy part. The one thing that unites the left and the right now are their hatred of Israel. They've done the impossible. Israelis have done the impossible, and they've united Republicans and Democrats in their hatred for Israel. Maybe not Democrats, but like leftists. And they hate them for different reasons. Trust. People like Nick Fuentes don't give a shit. Or like a Theo Vaughn or whatever. Andrew Schultz, a lot of those people, the right-wingers, they don't give a shit that Palestinians are getting killed or that Lebanese people are getting killed. They don't care. They're upset that American taxpayer dollars are being spent on overseas wars, etc. They don't give a fuck about the humanitarian side, but it's like, why are you spending all that money abroad? Spend it here, you know? And they're right from one angle, but they don't give a shit about lives. Leftists, people like you guys in the chat, you guys actually care about lives and the impact that these wars have on people like me. They just care about their tax dollars, which is also fair. You guys should care about your tax dollars as well. There are things that Israelis get, like free healthcare, that Americans don't, that they should get. Very valid to be upset for both, but you guys get upset for both, for the lives that are affected and the tax dollars being wasted on wars. Republicans only care about the tax dollars, right? And America first, America first. That's kind of the difference there. Al Jazeera reports that 50 people have been killed in Lebanon in the past 24 hours by Israeli attacks. This came out on Saturday as well. The ceasefire is in its 3rd week. 50 people in 2 days, and this is a ceasefire. People returned to their homes, thought the fighting was over. Now they're dying in the same towns they came back to rebuild. Lebanon is becoming Gaza. The world watches again. But the world's not talking about this. Lebanese people are barely talking about this because, again, it's happening in the south, and a lot of Lebanese people here don't care about what's happening in the south. A lot of Lebanese people here don't see the Lebanese Shia population from their own country as their own countrymen and women.
In the past 24 hours, we continue to hear and see explosions here in Tyre, especially on the coastal towns and villages behind me, which are south of the city of Tyre. There have been repeated airstrikes and artillery strikes on the towns of Qulayla, as well as Mansouri, Majd al-Zoun, Hania. All of these towns and villages have been seeing very intense bombardment over the last several weeks, but there has been a significant escalation over the past 12 hours or so. According to the numbers released by the Ministry of Public Health just in the past hour, there have been 50 people that were killed in the past 24 hours here in Lebanon by Israeli attacks. This continues to affect people who have returned to southern Lebanon during this ceasefire that's in its third week. One of the places that you described today that were given these forced evacuation orders was subsequently attacked in Tura, which is a small town next to the city of Abbasiyah, which is northeast of where we are. At least 4 people, including a woman, was killed in that strike, and many other strikes across southern Lebanon where people lost their lives today, including one attack that cost the life of a Lebanese civil defense member. Unfortunately for people here, there's no sign of any slowdown in this violence, despite there being a lot of effort, both internationally and by the Lebanese government, to make sure that Israel abides by the ceasefire.
All of this despite Lebanon meeting with Lebanese diplomats, meeting with Israeli diplomats in Washington, mediated by the one and only Marco Rubio. We went and completely debased ourselves and made all sorts of capitulations. And the Lebanese government has agreed with the Israeli government that, yes, the real problem in the region is Hezbollah, not Israel. And if we get rid of Hezbollah, we solve the Middle Eastern quagmire. Crazy. Nogzalato sends a $2 super chat. It says, and libs like Contra care about Democrats winning. Oh, exactly. They're only focused on electability, who's more electable. They think that mainstream or middle of the road Democrats are too afraid to vote for like someone extreme, like a socialist or whatever the fuck. Also, blatantly false thinking, because look what happened to Hillary Clinton. She lost. Bernie Sanders could have won. Look at Kamala Harris. They wiped the floor with her. Bernie could have won if Bernie had ran. Democrats are always joining these centrists that are basically Republicans light, and they keep paying the price, but they never learn. Do they? They never learn. And every time I'm like, I'm not going to vote for a centrist. I'm not going to vote for Kamala. I'm not going to vote for Hillary. I'm not going to vote for Biden. Let them lose. Let them learn their lesson. They lose, and then they don't learn their lesson, and then they do the same fucking thing again over and over again. Yeah. So this is what's happening in Lebanon. And Rania Khaled, to put it all together, says Israel has killed 470 people in Lebanon since the fake ceasefire went into effect. Crazy. 470 people in like 3 weeks. So does that sound like a ceasefire to any of you guys? Does it sound like there is a ceasefire in Lebanon right now? 470 people dead, 50 people dead in just 24 hours. Bombing the living fuck out of village locations within a 24-hour period. They're murdering families, full families. According to Megaphone News English, the Israeli Army's Chief of Staff, Eyal Zamir, confirmed that military operations continue on the northern front and said that there is no ceasefire in Lebanon. Zamir made the remarks during a closed session with the Knesset's Foreign Affairs and Defense Committee, where he said the army had set 3 objectives for the military campaign, none of which include disarming Hezbollah directly. The stated goals are preventing anti-tank missile fire on northern settlements, preventing infiltration into the Galilee, and creating conditions for the Lebanese government to dismantle Hezbollah. Israeli media quoted Zamir as saying the army urgently needs more soldiers amid ongoing fighting on multiple fronts. He called on Knesset members to pass legislation allowing the recruitment of Haredim at military service age to extend mandatory service from 30 to 36 months. God damn. The Israeli army continues its attacks on Lebanon despite the supposed ceasefire, with daily strikes having killed more than 470 people since the truce took effect on April 17th. So absolutely maddening. Chonkenstein sends a very generous $10 super chat. Holy shit, thanks so much, Chonkenstein. And says, when Bad Empanada collab? Well, I mean, I'd love to do Bad Empanada collab. We tried. I wanted to get Bad Empanada on our charity stream for Lebanon. He was like, I can't commit to a time. Talk to me while you're doing the live stream and we'll try to figure something out. The live stream was kind of like it was all very pre-scheduled, so it was hard to like try to inject an interview in the middle of it and trying to figure it out during that, so I wasn't able to get to him. But I've been trying to get Bad Empanada to like come back on the channel for a while. I was surprised he even answered me when I reached back out, but would love to get... What you guys want me to talk to Bad Empanada about? If you guys have a specific topic, because we could talk about so much with Bad Empanada, but I want to bring him on for like a good reason, some hard-hitting content. So what would you guys want me to talk to Bad Empanada about? And I will try. He's a hard man to hold down. Okay, the Bad Empanada as we also like to call him here, the good empanada, does not collab with anyone, and his time is very exclusive. So we will try, but give me something to bring him over here. And very much appreciate you, Chonkenstein, or Chonkenstein. Very generous, thank you. So yeah, this is just a quick look at what's happening here in Lebanon. We fucked, we still fucked, we been fucked. And yeah, apparently the solution is Israel is now helping Lebanon create the conditions necessary to help Lebanon dismantle Hezbollah. This is all going to go great, folks. It is all going to go great. We're almost done. We're about to get to the Hasan bad reaction. Sorry, I lied, right? No, we're still 40 minutes in. We got to have some fun, right? Update. I talked you guys' ears off yesterday about Ethan at the poker tournament. Okay. 3 huge no-nos as far as I know. Calling Laika or Lika a prostitute. Also, his interview with her was extremely offensive. He was just making all sorts of like Russian stereotypes and calling her like an oligarch and a supporter of Putin. And just completely like ignoring her as she was like there listing off her accomplishments, as he was completely focused on Ray J and Ray J's wealth and insinuating that she's a gold digger and she's just there with Ray J because he has money, etc. There's that whole embarrassment. Then there's the whole India love / Pakistan love comment that he made. Horrific. And then he was live at the poker table, playing poker, pulling out his phone, looking at an iDub snark subreddit, and then screenshotting a picture of Anissa while he's on camera, while he's surrounded by other people, celebrities, dude. He's supposed to be playing poker, etc. He then, so he called Laika a prostitute. She put out this tweet saying publicly calling a woman a prostitute because of what she wears or where she's from is unacceptable. A man who speaks about women this way says a lot about himself. Ethan then replied and shared, "Hi there, Laika. You're 100% right. What I said was totally out of line and I immediately regretted it. I am deeply sorry and very embarrassed for what I said. I'm cutting it out of our broadcast and again just want to offer my sincere apology for being so disrespectful. You did not deserve to be spoken about like this." We have an update. So she posted this today, I believe. She said, "For everyone asking me about what happened and my future actions, I'm handling the situation properly and privately first. I'll speak publicly on Wednesday if necessary." So what's happening? Some people are speculating. People are saying, is she going to look into some legal action? Which I don't see. What kind of legal action can you do here? I don't think that's a thing. But I think, like, is she possibly... Look, there's a few options. Let's speculate, shall we? Let's have some fun. Let's see. So, sorry, I was reading the chat real quick. So what could it be? I think handling the situation properly and privately first. That could just be having a conversation with Ethan. Maybe they're... Oh, and by the way, if anyone's wondering, what's happening with H3 today? No show. Today's show is canceled. I was actually kind of curious. And I thought we might... Like, if H3 was going to address what happened, we might hop into their stream for a few minutes, just see what they were saying. But today's show is canceled, folks. Why? Slight schedule change today because the entire Klein household is sick. Unfortunately, there won't be a main show today, but After Dark will still be going live at 12 p.m., 1 hour later than the usual main show start time. So no Ethan today, folks. The whole family's sick, apparently. Does anyone believe this? After the shit show that was this weekend, does anyone believe that Ethan is actually sick and that the whole family's sick? Of course not. Of course not. They're scrambling. They're in a PR shitstorm right now. I don't think anyone thinks Ethan is a mentally healthy or stable person after seeing his interaction with these people over the weekend. Completely embarrassing. I mean, he's getting some support from like his freaks and his incel audience. Like, I saw some of the Yeet tweets and some of the responses to that were like, based Ethan. Ethan's a certified hater, based. Like, there's a few of those, but most people are like, okay, this is weird. And some of them are like, yo, I'm an Ethan hater, but this is a little much. This is a little much. So, highly embarrassing. And yeah, so what could it be? I think either there's two things. I think either she's waiting to talk with Ethan privately. Ethan might have been like, hey, listen, I'd like to call you, make a call, make this right, etc. That's possible. Also, they might try to get her on as a guest. I'm just speculating. Or what I think a very likely thing is she's talking to the management of that poker tournament. And the funniest thing would be that Ethan gets fired from the poker tournament. How fucking funny would that be? Like, that's their new thing, right? That's like their new niche. They're so happy they've been embraced by the poker community, and they're getting invited to these tournaments. And wasn't Ela like, didn't Ela like win one of them or something? So like they're actually pretty good, and they're having fun, and like, yeah, let's go. We're going to Vegas to play poker. Getting banned. Ooh, people are saying restraining order. Can you file a restraining order against like someone who's, I mean, I guess you can. I don't know, but like if you've just met like once, you're not really going to be running into that person a lot. Like, he's not really a stalker or something. Please correct me if I'd like, tell me what's up. But like, maybe a restraining order as well. Shit. But I feel like that I think like they're going to get him banned from the poker tournament. I think that's what they're going to do. Ramy Winter is saying they got hantavirus. Fuck, bro. Okay, so restraining order. Yeah, Re2355 says, imagine someone saying this to Ela because she's Israeli. Exactly. We talked about that yesterday. Like, imagine you see Ela at like a party and you walk up to her and you're like, hey, so how's your friend Netanyahu, huh? You love Netanyahu? You love genocide? That is the equivalent. That is what Ethan did to that lady yesterday. And then, worse, he also called her like a prostitute. Live on fucking stream to thousands of people watching. Horrendous. I think getting banned, I think getting banned from the tournament is the most likely thing. I also think they're taking today to try to get in contact with her. I think what Ethan is doing today is like they're trying to get in contact with her. They're trying to see if they can quash this and settle this like in an amicable way. If I were Ethan, I would be trying to get her on the show, get her to call in and like apologize over and over again. That's what I would do if I were him. So I think that's what they're trying to do. They're not going to go live today, and they don't want to talk about it until she talks. They're just waiting to see how she responds, I think. So it's going to be interesting. I'm going to follow up on this. Whatever she responds, or whatever the H3 crew responds, I think I'd be curious to look into this. So anyways, that's a little quick update on that. And I just found this tweet pretty funny. Ethan Klein is happy and normal. God, look at this fucking... look at this profile picture. That's pretty epic. Hilarious that it took being outed as a massive creep on camera to get this bitch to stop posting IG stories and be a father for a weekend. So if you guys will notice, if you go to your Instagram right now and you look up Ethan Klein, he does have some stories now. Oh, it's the one about the show being canceled. And then he has, sorry everyone, I really tried my best not to miss today. I'll be back tomorrow for sure. Also, tomorrow so they might address this tomorrow. So yeah, but I love this. Hilarious that it took being outed as a massive creep on camera to get this bitch to stop posting IG stories and be a father for a weekend. Let's give this a like. That is a funny tweet. And yeah, okay. We'll try to get an update these next couple of days and see what's up. For now, let us quickly move on to the main attraction of this video, which is the Hasan Bad video. Hasan Bad, the Weasley Little Liar Awards from Kilo Tonics. 2.41k subscribers, so brand new creator. Is this an anti-Britney Simon book? A video? Ooh, is this, guys? This we might not be able to support this person. Let me see.
But
how to exploit your fans? Come on. Okay, I already have a disagreement with Kilo Tonics right now because Britney Simon is a friend of the show. We will not be accepting any Britney Simon slander over here. Just saying that right now. We will be watching this video, but I got my eye and my ears on you, Kilo. Okay? Britney Simon is fantastic. We are going to watch this. It is a 4-hour video, so definitely if you guys want to watch this video, please, I recommend you go watch it on Kilo's channel. Okay? Go give them a like, give them the view, give them your support. This is a 4-hour video. We are not going to be able to watch the whole thing here, and if I wanted to watch the whole thing and give it proper commentary and criticism, it's going to be difficult. So we're going to watch maybe like a couple of hours of this today. The rest of the stream is going to be that. And yeah. Oh, Brittany's here. Brittany, hello. Says watch him if you want, but he's a hater. He's a hater, bro. Hates me and Hasan and any lefty. Ooh, that's crazy. I've never heard of that person before. I'm just gonna watch this for the shitting on Ethan, for the shitting on Willie Mac, Tectone, and Nicholas DeOrio maybe. But Brittany, as soon as I saw that, I'm glad I went in and saw the rest. As soon as I saw this, I was like, that ain't cool. I ain't fucking with this. But we are gonna watch this just because it's some Ethan shitting. But I'm gonna keep this. This is in the back of my mind now, Brittany. We always got your back. This is a Brittany Simon fan club as well. So I'm gonna speed this up a little bit. So we're gonna be watching this at 1.25x speed. And again, we're not gonna be watching the whole thing. So if you guys want to watch the whole thing, go and check out the person's channel. Let's go. Let's see what this is all about.
All right, so if you've used the internet at any point in the last few years, it means at one time or another, you've probably heard the name Hasan. His son, who also goes by Hasan, is 34 years old. He's one of online politics' largest creators, and he's known for taking controversial far-left positions and being very tall.
You are tall. He's a tall guy.
Hasan is best summarized as being very passionately progressive, anti-capitalist, pro-Palestinian, and overall just having somewhat radical takes that go against the grain. And he can occasionally make comments that have a tendency to make a lot of people very upset.
America deserved 9/11, dude. Fuck it. I'm saying it. We fucking totally brought it on ourselves, dude. Holy shit. We did.
Over the duration of his career,
that comment just always makes me laugh because it reminds me of my own America deserved 9/11 moment. My own controversial moment. The moment that the YouTube or I guess the H3 community will never let me forget. Aren't you the guy who was watching Israelis running from... It's like, you know, I can relate to Hasan in this one aspect.
online, while he does have some support around him, Hasan has gradually become public enemy #1 for a lot of creators and their fan bases. He draws some pretty intense criticism from not just the right, but also the left. And lately, he's even becoming more and more of a regular target for a bunch of apolitical idiot slop channels.
Hey, Hasan, you crying stupid bitch. Brother, you are the biggest piece of shit I have ever seen. Shut your fucking mouth.
The attacks on Hasan range from him encouraging violence.
My God. Tectone the rapist. Son of a rapist, too.
To him being an anti-Semite.
Went into the family business. You know what I'm saying? You know? It's a thing. People continue on from their parents.
To him simply being kind of stupid, which is probably kind of true.
I don't know which is which, dude. Doesn't know where Yemen is. I think... Nope. Got it.
Now, this video is not really about debunking every argument against him, but a lot of the attacking is coming from pretty dishonest places. Like the time people claimed that Hasan urged his viewers...
Sorry, I gotta pause this for a second. I just got an invitation for the Mandalorian and Grogu premiere. What? Wednesday, May 20, so that's next Wednesday. Red carpet at 7. Movie starts at 8 p.m., folks. I just got invited by Vox. Well, thank you. It's our friends at Vox Cinemas. If you guys are watching live, I doubt they are. Hey there, prepare to journey across the galaxy with the Mandalorian and Grogu. We'd love to invite you and a +1 to the premiere of Star Wars, The Mandalorian and Grogu in IMAX, City Center, Beirut, Wednesday, May 20th. Red carpet at 7. Movie starts at 8. Kindly confirm your attendance at the soonest. Let's screenshot this. You know what? I think I want to go. Guys, yes, Lebanon is a small country. I get invited to movie premieres. This is how small of a country. Like, I'm considered a movie influencer, kind of. Again, I've been on YouTube for a while, so the fact that I get invited to premieres here, it's like a premiere, you know what I mean? Just goes to show you how small this country is. Should I go? Let's fucking go. I want to go. You know, I haven't been excited about Star Wars for a while. That Darth Maul show is super fun. The new Darth Maul series, Maul Shadow Lord. I binged the whole thing in 2 days. It's very fun. It's like not Andor levels. Andor's a masterpiece, but Maul was surprisingly fun. Better than all the other, better than Obi-Wan, better than the fucking Boba Fett show, better than Ahsoka, all that garbage. I loved seasons 1 and 2 of Mandalorian. Season 3 sucked. So that's kind of worrying me about the movie, but you know what? Let me tell them thank you. And yes, I'll confirm. Let's go, baby. And yes, I'll thank you. I'll get back to you tomorrow. Actually, let me see tomorrow. I'll get back to you tomorrow because I might have to stream, you know what I mean? But I took a screenshot so that I don't forget. Did I? No, I did not screenshot it. Just let me fucking see this thing. Okay, sorry guys. Dun, 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 dun. All right, that's some fun little news. Okay, back to this. Oh, you got the Burger King Grogu mug? Nice, Marina. Let's go. I mean, I have a little Grogu tattoo here. I have a little Baby Yoda tattoo. The artist kind of fucked up the face, but other than that, the coloring needs some work. Okay, we're gonna go back to this one. They're trying to make up for the IMAX thing. You think, right? TW, I think so too. I think so too. They robbed me of my opportunity to watch Project Hail Mary in IMAX, and then they tried to get $4,000 out of me. You know, they're like, rent out the whole theater, then you can watch it in IMAX. And then they put it back in IMAX after I watched it at the regular screen, like a peasant, like a normie. So yes, I will accept this Mandalorian invitation just to make up for that. Offensive insult.
Is to kill U.S. Senator Rick Scott. Here's what he said.
If you cared about Medicare fraud or Medicaid fraud, you would kill Rick Scott.
This clip got Hasan suspended, and many to this day claim that he was issuing a death threat towards a U.S. senator. The issue there is that Hasan is clearly talking to U.S. Speaker of the House Mike Johnson, who's making remarks about how much he wants to combat Medicare fraud.
The reason why I'm saying if you cared about Medicare or Medicaid fraud, you would kill Rick Scott and not make him a prominent part of the Republican Party.
So Hasan is clearly saying, Mike Johnson, if you actually cared about Medicare fraud, you'd do the opposite of what you've done with Rick Scott because of how egregious of an offender he is. Rick Scott is pretty well known for conducting one of the largest healthcare fraud schemes in U.S. history when he was chief executive at Columbia. So to say Hasan was urging his viewers to kill Rick Scott is an outright lie. And to say it was any kind of death threat would also be pretty fucking stupid. So that's just one example of
that was like an exhausting back and forth.
Are very common dishonest attacks on Hasan. There are, of course, genuine criticisms to be made about him, and we'll go over a few of them later. But those tend to get lost in this sea of total hysteria. The widespread derangement that people have for this guy has over time devolved into attacks on anyone he associates with, calls for him to be deplatformed, and people have even become pretty chill with the US government violating Hasan's First Amendment rights. No, I'm not saying you can't dislike the guy, I don't give a shit. The dude pretty chill with the US government violating.
Oh yeah, he was. That's right. He was detained at the airport. I forget. And the guy used like almost word for word Ethan Klein talking points and Destiny talking points.
Violating Hasan's First Amendment rights. No, I'm not saying you can't dislike the guy. I don't give a shit. The dude preaches socialism and drives a Porsche. Like, I get it. I'm not a Hasan fan. I've literally never even watched a single stream of his. So personally, I don't care.
But Maximus says you should IRL stream the event if you can. I probably can. It's like at the mall. The Vox Cinema in Lebanon is at a mall, so it's just gonna be a bunch of like influencers and random people, some of them who I might know, invited, but like none of them know shit about Star Wars. Let's be real. I'm out here building a fucking Star Wars clone army in 2026. Like I got a bunch of I'm one of Lebanon's preeminent nerds. Again, small country. I'm not one of the biggest nerds. I'm one of the most public-facing geeks who's very open about his geek stuff. A lot of you guys might not know this, or you forget. I also have a small business on the side that sells comic books. It's called the Comic Stash. I've been selling vintage comic books in Lebanon since 2015. So I've been doing events, and I get invited at premieres. I've hosted, like when they did the Endgame premiere in Lebanon, the Infinity War premiere. I was the host of the Infinity War premiere. When Captain America Brave New World was going to come out, they invited me to host one of the premieres. It didn't end up getting a premiere, and because there was like a Zionist actress in there, or character in there, an Israeli character. But anyways, like I get invited to do a lot of that sort of thing, geek-centered stuff. I am one of the most public-facing people, but again, I've been out of the Lebanese public scene in a while, you know what I mean? It's been a couple years.
Tendency for people to lose their minds and just make shit up whenever Hasan is involved left me wondering, how did we get here? Ethan Klein, also known as H3H3, is 40 years old. He has a massive following on YouTube, and he's a pretty significant figure in the history.
There we go. Hello again, Mr. Klein.
The knowledge. By the way, he's got a really interesting technique for reading books, and when he says he reads one book a day, well, let's just say we will have to redefine the word read.
Have someone else read it for you.
That's awesome. Along with his own content, Ethan's also well known for winning a landmark copyright infringement suit in 2017 filed by Matt Haas, whose video Ethan reacted to. That case was one of the first examples of fair use for React content being successfully argued in court. In 2021, Ethan and Hasan started a podcast together called The Leftovers. It was a political and cultural talk show with a left-leaning slant. And the show was...
the Matt Haas thing, you know, that was a very landmark moment, both in legal terms and in H3's career. And it kind of became known as the fair use, champions of fair use on YouTube for a long time.
Huge success. Until October of 2023, when a Hamas-led terror attack targeted Israeli citizens. After the attack, Ethan and Hasan went live for an emotional episode discussing the events.
As a father, it's even hard to talk about. This dude was holding his infant. It was like a year old.
Ethan is an Israeli-American dual citizen and feels passionately about Israeli...
We saw this clip yesterday.
politics. He's also married to Ela, who was born in Israel and served in the IDF. The Kleins actually even met each other in Israel. Hasan, on the other hand, is passionately in support of Palestine, and the resulting ideological differences between the two led to some on-air friction following the start of the conflict.
Bro, stop. Their timing matters. Let's not be obtuse about this. It's just this one point I'm trying to make. You can't cheer on Hamas, dude.
You know what I said. And on the day of the occupation.
I know you don't, but like we're being a little silly.
In late October of that year, Ethan announced that
I'm kind of tempted to like rewatch that video, man. The final Leftovers episode. I don't think I never watched that on stream, actually. The final Leftovers episode that was never watched on stream, because that I made my first H3 video after all of that went down, so I've never actually reacted to the final. I think that could be a very super fun live stream to do, is to just rewatch that whole final episode and how it kind of broke down or started breaking down, and then we can watch the other conversation that Ethan and Hasan had like on stream.
Leftovers podcast would go on hiatus.
I do feel like I'm probably going to pause Leftovers for the time being, because you know what I mean. It's just I don't want to talk about it anymore.
And after 61 episodes, the Leftovers podcast never came back. This is when the divide started to form between Ethan and Hasan. Early on, for instance, Ethan would take issue with some things that Hasan's chat was saying about him, and he criticized him for not moderating it more effectively.
Do you care that your chat is calling me racist? Do you make any attempt to modify?
I have not looked at my chat.
Moderate that at all?
I have not looked at my chat at all, but you.
I just opened it. But
wait, did Kilo just call it a conflict? I missed it. Did he call it a conflict?
Do you have moderators? Do you care at all about what your audience says about me?
There's 32,000 people in here right now.
I'm just trying to tell you guys how it feels. And I'm fucking shocked that you don't care that people in your chat are saying, who the fuck is this child called arrogant?
Ethan, I love you, but there's only so much I can do.
How can you be surprised when you're...
To save us time, let's not get too bogged down with specifics. In a nutshell, over the course of the next
TW says rewind.
Ethan and Hasan grew larger and larger. Ethan and the H3 community believed that Hasan was promoting extremist, potentially dangerous viewpoints, while Hasan and his community believed that Ethan was becoming more Zionistic over time and subtly spreading pro-Israel propaganda. The two of them would exchange jabs for months, with Ethan commonly taking to Instagram to voice his grievances, like attacking Hasan's moderator and smaller creator Frogan for her radical views, and Hasan in turn would occasionally respond on stream.
There's a difference between anti-Semitism and people coming to the assumption that Ethan might be defending Israel a little bit and therefore might have some Zionist opinions because of the past 12 months centering himself as he looks to ban prominent pro-Palestinian voices off the platform with ridiculous smears that they are being anti-Semitic.
While all this is going on, around the end of 2024, Ethan also began discussing a perceived anti-Semitism problem on Twitch. According to Ethan, Hasan and his associates are prime examples of anti-Semitic content being unfairly allowed on the platform, and he called for Dan Clancy, Twitch's CEO, to step down. We'll talk about this part more later, but I did want to note that this is around the same time that Dan Saltman, CEO of Redact, began his...
God, this fucker. God, I fucking hate this guy.
Campaign against Twitch's perceived anti-Semitism problem. By the start of 2025, tensions had gotten pretty high. To the extent that the H3 show covered politics, their conversation centered more so around Israel and anti-Semitism rather than the humanitarian crisis in Gaza.
It feels like where it was during the war and the Holocaust. It's reminiscent of that time.
I've always said, like, I have no idea how the Holocaust could happen. It just makes no sense. And now I see it. I see how it happened.
And Ethan would also regularly take to Instagram to go to
war. What do you mean? Now I see. Yeah, now you see how the Holocaust could happen, because Israel is committing a fucking Holocaust live. What the fuck? What was the final Leftovers episode? Leftovers... Israel, Palestine. Yep, number 61, 2 years ago. This is it.
And
violence against Israelis.
So you're absolutely...
Damn, this was a 4-hour episode. Yo, dude, we are going to react to this week, I think. Or like maybe not this week, but at some point. This is something we need to revisit. I also want to revisit the conversation that they had when Ethan called in. Ethan calls in. Hasan. Final, right? Where can I find that one? It was like the follow-up left. How am I going to even find that one? I'm not going to find that shit, am I? Impromptu leftovers. Yes, this is the second one.
Hasan, I'd be corporate. I don't even know. 19.
This. Okay.
And I said,
so we need to... this is also 3.5 hours. God, we have so much to go back and rewatch. we need to go back and rewatch the final leftovers, and then we need to go back and rewatch this, because this was where it really fucking broke down. This was it. Politics asks, has Ethan been reinvited to Piers Morgan? Because if not, yikes, he has not. It was a horrible appearance. That was a horrific appearance on Piers Morgan. He's not going to be reinvited there.
With H3 Snark, a subreddit dedicated to A-logging and talking shit about primarily Ethan and Hila. And in January, Ethan released the Content Nuke, a 102-minute-long deconstruction of Hasan's content, including further allegations of Hasan and those around him being anti-Semitic and essentially promoting terrorism. After the Content Nuke, things started to go off the rails. In March, a pair of noteworthy things happened to Ethan. On one occasion, he had a pair of human skulls ordered online and sent to his house. And on another, a CPS call was made to his house after Ethan shared a story on the H3 podcast about his family contracting a parasite.
This morning, we got a visit from
Don't forget, folks, I was actually in the Content Nuke for like a couple of seconds. We made an appearance in the legendary Content Nuke.
Protective services. I told this story on the show a few weeks ago about how when we adopted Olive, she had giardia. And then Sonny started having diarrhea, so we suspected he might have giardia. Seeing as that he's an infant, he's crawling around, he's putting everything in his mouth, etc.
Then in June of last year, Ethan revealed that he had registered the Content Nuke with the U.S. Library of Congress, and that he's filing copyright infringement lawsuits against Frogan, Denims, and Casey Tron, 3 Hasan-adjacent creators who, according to Ethan, reacted to the nuke in a non-transformative way. And that's kind of loosely where we're at. What started as a political disagreement.
By the way, if you guys are watching live, we got 170 viewers, but only 60 likes. Click that like button. It helps the stream and helps the channel out. We'd very much appreciate you. And make sure to subscribe to the channel. Join our family of fun. And consider becoming a member if you'd like some exclusive live streams every single week.
Has spiraled into 3 copyright lawsuits, a campaign to financially harm Twitch and by consequence its creators, and a long, bitter, and kind of pathetic feud where you will be forced to pick a side. But before you pick a side, while you may feel some sympathy for Ethan because of the very real harassment that he's faced, or maybe you just agree with his takes on Israel or anti-Semitism, we have to make sure we don't forget about the most important thing in the whole situation, which is that when it comes to Ethan's narrative, this is all complete bullshit. If you can look past some of the political disagreement and analyze the Ethan and Hasan conflict in its entirety, it's pretty clear that Ethan is an insecure, neurotic, vindictive liar. And his crusades against Twitch and Hasan and subreddits, these are all just dishonest missions to silence people who are saying things about him that he doesn't like. What's worse is that this clown show is being encouraged and facilitated by a host of hacks and other liars around Ethan that have attached themselves to him.
Who's this guy? I don't even recognize this dude. I know Dan Solomon.
Sometimes just to further their own dishonest agendas against Hasan.
Willie Mack. Willie Mack is, honestly, at this point, he's like an Ethan 2.0. Also married an IDF soldier. Had his wedding in Israel. This dude's gonna be my neighbor. This fucking guy.
Now, normally I wouldn't really care that much if a bunch of lying freaks all band together to help each other out with their controversies. That's kind of to be expected. But what elevates my distaste for all this stuff, and what should elevate yours, is that standards of behavior that have long been widely held on the internet are being totally abandoned, all in the name of Hasan bad. Historically, things like lying, harassment, calls to the platform, or abusing copyright would get you absolutely torn to shreds. But when it comes to Ethan and all his yes men, everyone all of a sudden seems to be okay with those things. And it's just because of who's on the other side. Ethan Klein isn't the originator of the master arrangement about Hasan, but his situation has given some of the most annoying drama slop tubers the perfect vehicle to pretend to have—
Who the fuck is this guy? Oh, is he like the fake content cop? Cameron F305. You don't want to know about him. Okay, I believe you, Franklin Goodwin. I'll take your word for it.
Political opinions, escalate their grudges, and in the process, smash all standards of behavior for political and commentary creators. So today we're going to recognize some of these creators for their contributions to this online culture shift. One where truth doesn't matter, there are no bad tactics, only bad targets, and anything goes as long as you win. These are the Weasley Little Liar Awards. Starting with Ethan Klein.
This is a lie.
Yeah, it does not look.
This is a disgusting fucking lie.
Yeah, Frogan did nothing. Ethan hates Frogan because of she unfollowed him on Twitter, or he unfollowed her on Twitter. No, what was it? Yeah, he unfollowed her. She tweeted about it, and then he started saying that like she was tweeting horrific shit and in support of October the 7th. Then they did the Habibi tier list at Twitch, which Ethan considered anti-Semitic. They got her banned off of Twitch, and he's just been harassing her ever since. Ever since he unfollowed her on Twitter and she tweeted about it, he's been harassing her nonstop.
And here on the H3 show, we tell the truth. And soon we're going to be able to do that. So I'm really very grateful and excited for that. Because I am honest to a fault, Dan. I'll have you know.
Yeah, no, that I'm aware of.
I would never, I don't lie, but some people do lie. Name one thing I've ever lied about. You can't. I'm allergic to lying.
Bro, I'm truthful in every fucking conceivable way. I feel like I'm honest to a fault. I'm not a liar. I don't believe in lying. I would never lie to you. I've never lied. I am not a liar. I feel like I've never lied about anything in my whole
I wish you
career.
were more of a liar. It would probably save us a.
When I started
Oh, yeah,
researching
she just mentioned it on Discord. She didn't even tweet about Ethan unfollowing her.
for this video, I already knew that Ethan had been dishonest about some things throughout his feud with Hasan, but I was a little surprised to learn just how long of a history Ethan has of dishonesty. A very clear and repeated pattern of it, in fact. Now, you'll very rarely catch Ethan in a direct, overt lie. What happens far more commonly is that Ethan will kind of just say things. He makes statements about other people or ongoing situations as though they're a fact, when he has no evidence to be saying the thing that he's saying. For instance, back in 2021, there was this whole falling out between Ethan and his former podcast co-host, Trisha Paytas. During the breakup, Ethan made this tweet where he claimed that Trisha had accused him of
I know y'all want me to talk about Trisha, but this whole thing is extremely upsetting and disturbing. I'm still processing it. This is a person who I considered one of my closest friends, and a week ago who is now making videos accusing me of sexually harassing her. It's too much. And now you make videos of mother-in-law. They are the parents of your nieces and nephews, and you shit on them every week on your podcast, knowing that you guys are one family. What a disgusting family, honestly.
Sexually harassing her, which it kind of gives off this, like, I'm being falsely Me Too'd kind of vibe, right? But in the video Ethan's responding to, which is this one, Trisha doesn't really say anything like that. This video is pretty much just about Ethan bringing up topics like her sexual assault, medical history, and other things that supposedly triggered her. Trisha responded to Ethan on Twitter by saying she didn't even think he had watched her video, and given how far off he was, it's entirely possible that Ethan just read the title and went nuts. The only time Trisha even remotely approaches suggesting sexual harassment was when she complained that Ethan was sexualizing her beauty products.
None of it felt right. Being sexualized, skincare being sexualized, you know, none of it felt right.
After Ethan watched the video,
But Ethan does sexualize her, doesn't he? Like, doesn't he always talk about her OnlyFans? Even before they were hosting Frenemies together, he used to make fun of her OnlyFans. He used to say really disgusting and really disturbing comments about like the types of pictures that she would make, like, and he would like describe the content that they would that she would put out there, and he would like describe her physical appearance. He would go into like a lot of detail. I remember Ethan very much talking about stuff like that, and I was always disturbed by that. Like, don't talk about stuff like that. I don't like it when people talk about the, you know, very graphic things like that. So he always does this. He always fucking does this, and he would always bring up topics that revolved around her, I think, sexual experiences with other people in the past. Like, he did do that, absolutely.
Here's how he responded to that claim.
Did she say I sexually harassed her? No, she didn't say that, but she said I was making everything sexual. I was making
Yeah,
her...
Chonkenstein says he said she used candles in awful ways. Didn't he also, like, there was this whole thing about whether or not she can have kids, and he keeps debating her fertility, and then when she did have kids, he's like, oh, you see, she was lying about not being able to have kids. She got kids. So like why are you talking about this, dude? Just fucking stop. I think he's given himself the pass to talk about Trisha in this way because I think him and Hila see her as someone that has ruined their family. She has weaseled her way into their family. She kind of like started dating Moses just as a way to get back to Ethan and Hila, and they think that she's been manipulating Moses this whole time, and this whole marriage is just like some kind of sham to get back at Ethan and Hila or something. So I think they've allowed themselves to be like, listen, this person is a villain. She has inserted herself into our family, and now they think that it's fair game. They can just say whatever they want about her, her husband, their kids, Trisha's mom. Like, they have no limitations to what they say about these people. Marina sent a very generous $2 dono. Thank you so much, Marina. It says, I'm allergic to lying. This is why he always coughs. Oh, exactly. Folks, we figured it out. We figured out why Ethan is constantly coughing.
beauty product sexual. I feel like she really tried her app.
Every time he says a lot, every time he coughs after speaking, that means we know he's lying.
Tried to ruin my life, my reputation, my business.
And this is what Trisha was referring to.
This is your self-love in a bottle.
Why was that sexual?
What?
Look at you're like, oh, like it was like a money shot.
Every
Watch how
morning
she
and
squirts
night.
this shit.
This is your self-love.
Yeah, also kind of phallic.
What?
You say, Trish, what's the secret? And then you show like a foul. It looks like a cock.
What?
Balls and cock.
What are you talking about?
Look, 2 balls and a cock. It's like a giant
oh my
phallus.
God. It's the products in the
Bro, it's literally a penis. Is there jizz in your makeup?
If I don't make a boy, I take
Jesus Christ, man. This was a very uncomfortable show to watch, to be honest. Frenemies was a very difficult show to sit through, especially these episodes where there was like a lot of tension. When they would order pizza, basically, right? Weren't the pizza ordering episodes the cursed ones?
Semen in your makeup?
Huh?
Is there semen in your makeup?
No.
I don't even care that Ethan did this. I mean, yeah, that looks like dick and balls. But Ethan acted so disgusted at the idea that he would do something like that, and said that Trisha must have been trying to ruin his reputation. The irresponsibility of Ethan's reaction is likely what led to many H3 fans believing that Trisha accused him of actual sexual assault, and they might still believe that to this day. You might call what Ethan did here a false accusation.
He's lying.
But while Ethan did acknowledge that Trisha didn't accuse him of sexual harassment, would it really have been that crazy if she had?
Well, a ton of the comments said things like talking about my mom's breasts and asking if I was breastfed because they heard in a previous episode Ethan talking about my mom's breasts in detail.
Her mommy milkers.
Yes, right. Yeah, to quote Ethan, I believe.
So I was hoping you could help me.
I can help you. I'd love to help you,
Okay.
actually. I've actually dreamed of helping you. What happened to your hand, buddy? Jerking off too hard? Is that a masturbation
Oh, what? That's me. What? What is this?
injury? She has tried to,
What? Come on. We've made an appearance, folks. God, that took me by surprise. I was like, is that AB's mom? Like, who's that? Who's he talking to before? And AB looks different here. AB, this is the first time I see old footage of AB. His whole
to
jaw,
quote
his whole
Ethan, I
mouth looks,
believe.
his teeth look different.
I was hoping you could help me.
I can help you.
Detail.
Her mom.
Right?
In a previous episode,
Look at that.
Ethan talking about my mom's breasts in detail.
His mouth looks entirely different here. Holy shit.
Her mommy milkers.
Yes, right. Yeah, to quote Ethan, I believe.
So I was hoping you could help me.
I can help you. I'd love to help.
So this is AB's mom? He was making fun of AB's mom? Oh, that's so disrespectful. Come on.
You, actually. I've actually dreamed of helping you. What happened to your hand, buddy? Jerking off too hard? Is that a masturbation injury? She had.
The fuck? Ethan. Ethan is even sexualizing me, folks. You see that? Ethan was sexualizing me, talking about me. Why are you thinking about me doing that? I don't even want to say the word, Ethan. Why are you picturing me doing that? God, I forgot about that, man. Thanks for reminding me, Kino. Or Kilo. Kilotonics. I'm just saying, I'm in my head, it's like, it's not because kilos, like, you know, we use kilograms here in Lebanon. For weights.
Has tried to penetrate him with a strappy.
Stop. Don't need to bring it up all the time.
I am in the Library of Congress. That's right, because I am in the Content Nuke, and the Content Nuke has been registered with the Library of Congress. I am officially. Goddamn, wow. Are they going to put me in the vault?
Well, not all the time. It's what, my third time since I
Third
learned
time
about
in
it?
3 days.
There's this guy, Brad the Bull, who's like railing his wife, but that's neither here nor there.
Hasan's the type of dude who watches himself in the mirror when he has sex. That's fun.
Okay, that was weird when you said that.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought it was funny.
Well, I'm sure, but
It's like
made me uncomfortable. I don't know. I don't like
There's just a lot of volume. Because when you're eating pussy, you need to make sure that...
Oh, you went to Italy for how long?
4 weeks.
Ew, man. Come on, Ethan.
You went to Italy. You guys stayed in touch. No strange Italian dick, I'm assuming.
No.
Have you seen your dad naked? Does
The fuck?
Ian walk around naked?
If
He's
you
asking a married woman, and her husband's right there, about strange Italian D?
had privacy, would you walk around naked? Butt ass naked?
By the way, Anissa reached out. She wants to meet at the Motel 6 tonight at 11.
Excuse me?
Because I'm gonna fuck him for her? Because she's the cuck?
You know, the first time that you made...
Yeah, I remember seeing that. That was so fucking disturbing. That's crazy, man. He's really gotten away with so much weird sexual stuff. About his coat. Can you imagine me talking like that about like having the crew here and me making these kinds? Can you imagine how uncomfortable it would be and how weird I would feel? You know what I mean? Like, remember how uncomfortable I was when Karine was like, we want to read like a weird book on your Patreon. I was like, really? What? Like, don't even talk about that in my presence. I'm that kind of guy. Call me a prude, call me old-fashioned, call me whatever. This is so inappropriate. This is so, these are, and I think these are where the lines with Ethan are blurring between employees and friends. These are still people that you're paying. These are still, there's got to be professional behavior between you. You cannot make sexual jokes about your employees' parents, and you're live on camera, so they can't even like, they don't even know how to react. Like, you're putting them in a position where they have to be okay with what you're saying, or else they're going to be seen as like they can't take a joke, or they're being problematic live on stream and they're fucking with your show. Like, keep in mind, these guys have, like, he's doing this to them live. They're live. Like, that's so fucking hard. Like, just to give a bit of, not credit, but like a bit of grace to the crew. Like, this is, how do you respond to shit like this? You know what I mean? And you have to come up with a response live and on the spot, and there's thousands of people watching and shit.
The Anissa the cuck joke, it hit really good.
Well,
I feel like each subsequent one we're getting further and further.
What was wrong with the one with that? I thought
it just sounded weird, kind of creepy.
Okay, if you're gonna constantly joke around like that with people you know personally, including your own employees, you don't get to react like this when you think one of them might be accusing you of sexual harassment. Anyway, that was just one of what might have been many potential examples of Ethan misrepresenting things during the fallout with his former co-host. But their breakup was a total shit show, and it's possible Trisha isn't the most reliable person either, so maybe you're willing to give Ethan some grace with this one. Understandable. But what about the defamation lawsuit that was filed against Ethan by Ryan Kavanaugh? In 2021, Ethan was sued by Triller, which one of Kavanaugh's companies had a controlling interest in. The lawsuit was related to the H3 podcast, streaming clips from a boxing match between Jake Paul and Ben Askren, which was a pay-per-view event that Triller owned the exclusive rights to. Now, Ethan did admit to pirating the fight in DMs with Philip DeFranco, saying that he didn't want to financially support Jake Paul, who'd been credibly accused of sexual assault. But the lawsuit was specifically for copyright, especially given that Ethan had shown on screen an unlisted link to a full upload of the fight. Ethan objected strongly to this lawsuit, essentially suggesting that it was frivolous and he was being unfairly singled out. One thing he noted was that Triller had been dropping most of their other lawsuits against actually potentially illegal restreaming sites. But most of those sites, they didn't have strong evidence against, whereas Ethan broadcast the fight and a link to it on a recorded live stream. Triller also made it known that they would be taking an aggressive approach to suing people who pirated or redistributed their product, and Ethan wasn't the only content creator they pursued to that end. But his frustrations and public statements about the case led to a series of additional lawsuits between him and Triller, which Ethan Klein chose to respond to by beginning to disparage Ryan Kavanaugh on the H3 podcast for months on end. Ethan would go live and vent his frustrations with Triller and Kavanaugh dozens of times over the course of the next several months, but the attacking quickly started to veer into pretty weird territory. Ethan became quite fixated on Ryan's ex-wife, for instance, and he'd routinely do bits on the show about her and her new husband, including detailed descriptions of their hypothetical sexual activity.
Look how big the...
Yeah, he kept talking about like some guy called Brad the Bull. Didn't he have him like call in or something? Like the guy who was supposedly dating Ryan Kavanaugh's wife, he would like, it was so fucking weird, dude. That's and I watched a lot of those streams. I was a fan of H3 during the Ryan Kavanaugh days. I was an H3 fan. And I was like, yeah, Ethan's right, get him. So what's wrong with me?
Bull is though, man. Probably plows the shit out of her, dude. Brad fucking rails her hard. Imagine
Yeah, Brad the Bull. Oh, god damn, man.
getting railed by that, dude. Your wife is getting railed by a giant fucking Israeli dude with jacked, huge Jewish cock. Your wife is getting Brad fucking
Jesus,
rails her hard. Imagine getting...
This guy looks like Moses. Is this Moses? This guy looks like a buff Moses. I shit you not. It took me a second. It took me a second. This dude looks like a buff Moses. It is absolutely insane.
Railed by that, dude. Your wife is getting railed by a giant fucking Israeli dude with jacked, huge Jewish cock. And your wife loves it. You stand in the closet and listen as your dick is in a cock cage.
And while we're here, I think it's worth noting that Ryan...
God damn, man. Yeah, he lost his fucking mind. And yeah, he's bringing up his wife. Like, why are you again, this is another sign of Ethan being misogynistic, right? We saw Carolyn Kwan talking about it yesterday. He sees a successful, rich Russian lady wearing a short dress, calls her a prostitute. He sees an Asian lady sitting with Hasan in a car in China, assumes she's a Chinese government-planted Chinese honeypot. He is having a legal dispute with a billionaire owner of a social media company. He starts talking about his ex-wife being railed by some guy to like one-up people, is by insulting women. Even if he's trying to insult a man and get under the skin of a man, he brings up a woman, talks about her sex life, like just insane shit.
Separated from his ex-wife in 2020, a year before the lawsuit was even filed. So she and her new husband had absolutely nothing to do with it. But Ethan and his community had no hesitation.
God, this is Moses, man. What the fuck? He looks like Moses.
Involving her in their smear campaign against her former husband. And when I say involved, I mean directly. The incessant mentioning of Kavanaugh's ex-wife led H3 fans to start brigading her and her new husband's Instagram page, where they left tons of very weird and hypersexual comments.
I was probably getting 20 to 30,000 death threats. He started telling them to go after my ex-wife, who's my best friend and mother of my child. She was getting death threats. They were just, I mean, it was to the point where I couldn't ignore it anymore.
And again, these two were not involved in the lawsuit in any way whatsoever. But not only that, Kavanaugh himself claims to have had almost nothing to do with it personally.
And it went after, I don't know, 5 or 6 sites. I kind of wasn't involved. I just, knew they were doing it. And then one day, someone called me and said, this guy's like just trashing on you on his podcast. I'm like, I've never heard of this guy. Why would he be doing that? And they're like, they say you're suing him. And I'm like, I've never heard of him. Why would I sue him? Needless to say, I kind of ignored it. And then over the next month, they're like, this guy's done like 30 podcasts like it. And then it was like 50.
Ethan and the H3 crew.
And that's no joke. Like, Ethan was obsessed. He literally had a wall behind him with framed newspaper clippings and shit of Ryan Kavanaugh. Like, it was, in hindsight, it was psychotic behavior. I at the time, I guess I explained it away by being like, well, Ethan's the little guy in this case. He's going against the big bad billionaire. Ethan just reacted to a few seconds of that Jake Paul fight on his stream. So why? So and I did find it unfair for like Ethan to get a like copyright lawsuit. But then when Ethan started to like escalate his attacks and insults and talk about the guy's wife and talk about his business and calling him a rapist and a Ponzi schemer, and like he might be all of those things, but like Ethan's just saying those things on a fucking podcast without any real evidence other than pointing like, well, this article said this and like this newspaper clipping said it. I'm just reading it. And now, by the way, they're friends. He's friends with Kavanaugh because they found something in common: Zionism. So now they're good friends, and Ethan is now the Ryan Kavanaugh in the story.
Even went so far as making an entire website dedicated to comparing Kavanaugh to convicted rapist Harvey Weinstein.
Or a website about Ryan Kavanaugh.
Does Ryan Kavanaugh look like Harvey Weinstein?
Oh, that's the one.
To date, Ryan Kavanaugh has been mentioned on the H3 podcast in at least 156 different episodes, many of which came after Ryan retaliated against them by filing
156 episodes? Are you shitting me?
Does Ryan Kavanaugh look like Harvey Weinstein?
Oh, that's the one.
To date, Ryan Kavanaugh has been mentioned on the H3 podcast in at least 156 different episodes, many of which came after Ryan retaliated against them by filing a defamation suit against Ethan. That case specifically cited comments that Ethan repeatedly made about Ryan's business operating as a Ponzi scheme, which Ethan sourced from a 2019 article from Variety.
Saga unfold, unfortunately.
Here's that Variety had amended this article within 24 hours.
I got all that lore in my head.
After it was posted, including a full retraction from the original person who called Ryan's business a Ponzi scheme. Now, it seems like this case was ultimately settled outside of court, but Ethan was forced to issue an on-stream apology after the court rejected his motion to dismiss
which he then wanted to force, which he then forced Casey Tron to do, and he's trying to get Denims to do the same. He's trying to get Frogan to do the same. He was so embarrassed by that public apology he had to make to Ryan Kavanaugh that he's like, I want to do that to other people. I bet Ryan felt good watching me slobbering and groveling on my live stream. I want to make other people do that, and I want to make them pay for what they did. He's literally just passing on what he brought upon himself. He wants to cause that pain and that embarrassment to other people. Even though, and again, I'll say it again, Casey Tron had absolutely nothing to be embarrassed about or to be ashamed about. Everybody knows that her apology video is basically a hostage video. So I'm just glad that she's out of that whole thing. She doesn't have to stress about money anymore, lawyer fees, none of that shit. She's done. That stupid video she had to do for Ethan, a small price to pay for the peace of mind that she's forever going to have. So I don't mean that she was slobbering or groveling or anything. That's what Ethan was fucking doing.
Case, finding that he had been aware of the retraction, but
she very much maintained her dignity and will continue to do so. And her comments and her recent tweets about Ethan have been pretty brilliant as well.
Restated the false assertion anyway over the following months.
You're a liar. You lie.
I skipped some of the crazier details about this story, like how Ethan supposedly paid editors to constantly monitor Kavanaugh's Wikipedia page and insert more negative information about him.
I said, I won this lawsuit against the guy who propagated it and who's paying to have all these editors do this. The appeal will be held this summer and he'll have to take it all down. We went to a mediation and he agreed to even do it, which is why I know I already knew he controlled it, but he admitted it.
But either way, even if you think Trisha is a crazy person or Ryan Kavanaugh is an asshole, Ethan has still shown that he's willing to misrepresent claims,
dumbass,
falsely attribute things to others, and even outright defame people that he doesn't like. This kind of stuff is a favorite pastime for Ethan. He likes to jump to conclusions and just say shit about people, often with no evidence. He implied or outright suggested that Dan Clancy and Taylor Lorenz were pedophiles for like no reason.
Drag Dripper says bong rips for Casey. If you guys are watching and you have access to a bong, go do a bong rip for Casey Tron.
He wrongly accused the Wall Street Journal of doctoring photos and then had to walk it back, while he himself has routinely had issues with sharing fake or doctored social media posts and passing them off as real, and he's shown a willingness to contort and misrepresent events in his life whenever it suits his purposes, which is what he's doing now in his war against Reddit, Twitch, and Hasan.
Chris, أهلا وسهلا بالكريس, اشتقنا لك.
Harassment that me and Eli are receiving is just genuinely unfucking comparable. Like nothing I've ever dealt with. And to the point where I don't know how it's allowed on Reddit. Like an organized harassment campaign spreading across multiple subreddits, targeting like two specific people. It's so fucked up. And once again, to remind everybody.
What? A coordinated Reddit campaign and YouTube campaign targeting one or two different people? You mean like the one that you're actively participating in against Anissa and iDubbbz, obsessing over them even while you're at a poker tournament? What are we doing here, Ethan?
That Reddit has no problem with this community that exists solely to do the most insane, unhinged, unacceptable harassment campaigns you can possibly imagine. On the
Zachary Stevens 982 asked a very judgmental question. You were a fan when he was doing all of this? That's what I said, Zachary. Yes. And I'm trying to make amends. I have spent the last 2 years trying to make amends for my time than being an H3 fan. I think I've done a good job. I gave the world the Yoav Galan clip. Never forget. I got rid of Hila. I got Hila off the podcast for like a month. Okay, Zachary, I have paid my dues. I am a fallen fan, and I have done the best that I can do to atone for my mistakes and atone for all the time and money I've spent supporting H3. I think I've done a lot more at this point in, like, you know, exposing them and talking about their Zionism and talking about how fucked up they actually are. So while, yes, I was a fan, and a lot of people in this live stream were fans, I believe we are on a better path, Zachary. And put your head in mind, Zachary. We'll do it together. We will continue down this path together.
Internet today, people think they can say anything they want about me. And by the way, her posting this is continuing the defamation and this whole like snark narrative that they're trying to make like mainstream. And by the way, they're part of the harassment campaign that I can't believe is so big. They're misrepresenting everything I said. They're mischaracterizing, like taking things out of context, fucking, like you guys are part of that harassment campaign, you scumbags.
Ever since the Leftovers podcast ended, Ethan has spent almost 2 years trying to convince the online world that he is the victim of a massive organized harassment campaign, which is being spearheaded.
Fallen fans are rising up in the chat. We got Goobular. I love that name. Goobular says, I'm a fallen fan. We got Yankees fan being like, I was a fan of H3. Politics says, I agree with Anthony. We're on a better path. Joel Lockie says, fellow former fan, never look back. Chris says, you need to go to a pastor and confess your sins. Drac says, I'm Spartacus. We're all Spartacus. We're all proud fallen. Rora Nora Wrath as well. We got the King Coho fallen fan. Yamaha Motorope says, I liked H3 in the Vape Nation. Humongous. Ooh, the Humongous days were funny. The whole Humongous saga was kind of funny. You know, those were funny days too. Yeah, it gets harder and harder to remember what we used to like about this. But I mean, I guess it's a fair question, Zachary. Fair question. Miles Murphy Cork as well as another fallen fan. Once was a lot, and it was all happening right after October the 7th. My final straw moment, I think one of the big ones, the one that stands out to me, was when Israel bombed the hospital in Gaza. Ethan started to blame Hamas and saying that it was Hamas rockets that actually blew up that hospital, even though literally the day before Israel had blown up another hospital somewhere in Gaza. And he was like, you fucking idiots. He was yelling at the chat like, you fucking idiots. If you actually believe Hamas propaganda that Israel blew up a hospital, why would they blow up a hospital? And then I remember Lebanese people were starting to go gather in front of the American embassy here in Lebanon to protest, like, how the fuck is Israel bombing a hospital? And like, there was actual, like, people were getting angry, and Ethan's like, why do you guys believe, how are you guys believing the propaganda, you fucking idiots? Hamas did it. Like, that, to me, that really was it. Him insisting that Israel would not bomb a hospital and that we were all falling to misinformation. And people that were yelling at Ethan in his chat, like, what the fuck are you saying? Of course Israel bombed that hospital. He was insulting them. He was getting so fucking salty. And I remember leaving a comment on their YouTube video, like, you guys are fucking crazy. I'm in Lebanon. I'm Lebanese. You think anyone is going to fall for the fact that Hamas bombed their own hospital? Or Hamas bombed a Palestinian hospital? Like, are you fucking crazy? So that, to me, was... I was like, I cannot believe I ever liked or respected this guy. That to me was the moment.
By Hasan and his surrounding network of evil harassers, or something like that. This harassment narrative itself is being pushed pretty effectively by Ethan.
Nogzalotso says, I was a fan and I'm ashamed. Hidden Iron says, I stopped watching in 2022.
And he's received quite a lot of support from across the internet. So while he's been aggressively retaliating against his enemies, like his use of the legal system, to many it's understandable or even justified. But is Ethan's narrative accurate? To answer that, let's go back to the beginning of the Ethan and Hasan feud, back in late 2023. You'll remember from earlier that one of the first major sources of tension between the two was Ethan being upset at things that Hasan's chat was saying about him.
Do you care that your chat is calling you racist? Do you make any attempt to modify?
I have not looked at my chat.
Moderate that
I
at
have
all?
not looked at my chat at all.
The thing with this argument is, first of all, I don't know.
We're definitely going to rewatch this stream, and I want to watch the last Leftovers episode. We'll do that eventually. I'll find some time.
what Ethan expected Hasan to do about a chat that looked like this. Like, look at this shit. But more importantly, Ethan seems to not understand that you are the only person who is responsible for the things that you say on the internet. It's nobody else's job to protect you if audiences and comment sections have a negative reaction to the things that you're saying. The backlash that Ethan's been getting online from communities like Hasan's, it doesn't just unfairly come from nowhere. It is a direct response to controversial ideas that he and Hila have expressed after the conflict in Gaza started.
The reason why people are saying that is because of the conflations that you made, Ethan. I can't stop people from viewing you a certain way if you're going to make these comparisons that they've heard from actually racist people.
Now, to be fair to Ethan, he has repeatedly expressed support for Palestine and condemned the actions of Israel during the war.
What is happening in Gaza is disgusting, and it needs to stop immediately.
But the Kleins have also often shown a tendency to couple these general condemnations of Israel with things like flowery praise about the country and how free it is.
What I want to do
Yeah,
is...
exactly. You can criticize Israel, you can criticize the IDF, you can criticize Netanyahu. But when it's like, but Israel is also great, and Israel also has some great stuff, and like, look at all of this. It's like all this great stuff that you think is great and that you like comes at the cost of Palestinians being killed, being kicked out of their homes, being imprisoned, being thrown into an open-air prison, being genocided. Like, you cannot hold, these two things cannot coexist. And this is what Ethan has been struggling with. But I'm a nice guy. I'm a liberal. I'm a Democrat. I like gay rights. I like minorities. Like, yeah, okay, that's all great. You cannot support Israel, man. There's just the fact that you support Israel and you defend the idea that a country like Israel needs to exist as a Jewish supremacist state. Like, that's it. You can't. You're either pro-Palestinian, which makes you anti-Israel, or you're pro-Israel, which makes you anti-Palestinian. The Israeli cause can only exist on the backs of the Palestinians. Israel can only exist through the suffering of Palestinians. So you cannot be like, I support Israel. I love Israel. Israel is a great country. Israel must exist. Israel must be maintained. But I also believe in Palestinians' right to self-determination. Stop it. Stop. You can't. You can't do both. You got to pick one. You got to pick one. And you've made your choice.
Show you guys how I see Israel, how beautiful, how multicultural, how like free it feels for people,
or highly incendiary statements about people who were saying free Palestine too closely to October 7th.
When you come out and say free Palestine after they just lost everybody, that's not what you should be saying right now.
And I'm free Palestine too.
You should not be saying free Palestine. You should be saying fuck Palestine. You should be saying, how could you do this to Israelis? What have we done to deserve all these attacks? You cannot say free Palestine. What do you expect me to think? As an Israeli, I just lost so many of my people. You know, our Apache helicopters killed everybody at the Nova Festival. And now you want to say free Palestine? River.
Right? It's just the timing. I know what
it's me timing.
You're saying I support Hamas. I mean, that's what you're saying. I'm just saying don't cheer for terrorists.
Free Palestine means I support Hamas. And then Ethan, why do people call me a Zionist? Listen to what you're fucking saying, man, on your fucking show. God, this is bringing me back. This is bringing me back to 1 year ago. Oh, the pipes, oh, tiny boy.
I don't think that that's a crazy
thing. For my Irish brothers and sisters out there, oh, the pipes. Oh, tiny boy.
If you think it is, then let's go invite the Iraqi terrorists who are exacting revenge to come to your city block and kill every fucking one you love. If you think Hamas is dope, just remember, you deserve to be burned alive by terrorists and your whole family murdered in front of you.
Ethan's also been criticized for spreading misinformation about important historical events regarding...
Oh, that's us again. Look at this. It's our clip. DNW revising the Nakba. Ethan Klein spreads Nakba propaganda and no one is surprised. DNW. God, why did you not have to like Brittany Simon, man? Come on. It's our second appearance in this video. Why did you have to be a Brittany Simon hater, man? Come on. Let's turn this around. Let's turn it around, Kilo. What's happening here? I mean, I'm glad I could be. If our videos helped him make this video, that's fucking fantastic. Great. I want to be a source of information for like, if people can use anything that we covered. If we have any footage, again, any great clips that were clipped, you have Galant. You're welcome. I don't know why he doesn't like Britney. I don't like it. I don't like that he doesn't like Britney. Chris sends a very generous $2 dono. Thank you so much. Chris says, I support LGBTQ, so killing children is okay. You see, exactly, Chris, you know? Hey, I support Black Lives Matter. Can't I support Israel too? No. Anyways, look, a nice little DNW clip. Well, I mean, I gotta say thank you for, I guess, for you know, using some of our stuff and giving credit.
Palestinian suffering, or for uncritically accepting negative stories about their combatants,
H3 promoted the beheaded babies myth extensively, for example, and has not retracted since.
while being overly skeptical or just rejecting negative stories about Israel.
I mean, listen, that's a huge claim. 15 Palestinian women were raped. I couldn't really find a lot of evidence to back it up.
I understand.
Yeah, that also really disgusted me when Hasan was like, yeah, Israeli guards, prison guards, systematically rape Palestinian prisoners. Ethan had a really hard fucking time accepting that. He's like, no, I'm gonna have to see an article. You're gonna have to prove it to me because actually it's the Palestinians that raped the people on October the 7th. It's like, come on, man. His stubbornness was disgusting in that moment. Drax says Brittany's had a few bad takes, but I won't bother spamming chat. I mean, hey, who hasn't had a few bad takes, man? How many bad takes have I had, guys? Let's go. Start counting them. How many bad takes have I had? You know what I mean? That's part of being live and live streaming and being there and being open with people and discussing ideas and growing and changing on stream. You know, that's the beauty of this is that it's like we're like a project. We're ever changing. Right?
And why Ethan's brain would operate this way, and it's not like there's anything immoral about having a bias. But obviously at a certain point, after Ethan makes enough comments like this, to a lot of people, he's gonna start to sound like he's defending Israel.
Once Lava Bubble, you got it. Our silence means something.
A little bit, like kind of reflexively.
They could have held a ceasefire at any point. They could have ended it after a week.
I mean, Hamas could have ended the war anytime too.
How could have Hamas ended the war?
By releasing the hostages?
Hamas offered all the hostages in agreement for Israel not coming into Gaza. To defend Israel's actions.
That didn't happen either.
Yes, it did. This type of thing is why people think that Ethan and Hila are running defense for Israel. And there are dozens of examples of this. There's Hila essentially saluting IDF pilots on Instagram after Israel...
Oh, yeah. A female pilot who participated in the attack on Iran. Israeli women are heroes. Let's go bomb the living shit out of Tehran. Let's liberate some Iranian women.
Strike on Iran. Or there's also her referring to former Israeli Minister of Defense Yoav Gallant as a really good guy, a man who is currently wanted by the International Criminal Court for war crimes, including directing attacks on civilians. Nobody made her say that. Nobody made Ethan defend it. But the Klein seem to want to endlessly make comments on this very controversial subject and expect to never be attacked for the things that they're expressing. They think that because they say the words, "We support Palestine," that the people that criticize them must just hate Jewish people.
He's watching the same clip over and over, retweeting like psychopathic anti-Semites. There's no other explanation.
Ethan and Hila's favorite word of 2025, anti-Semite.
For these people being so weirdly obsessed with her.
To a lot of people, Ethan saying genocide is bad is
And again, like accusing fucking their fans, Arab fans of theirs that have supported them and watched their show for years, spent hundreds, if not thousands. And I think I've spent easily over like $1,500 on Teddy Fresh, if not even more. I had a lot of Teddy Fresh, yo. And they call me an anti-Semite. Like, are you fucking stupid? Did I not know you people were Jewish when I was watching your show for years and supporting you? How could you fucking accuse people of being anti-Semites if they disagree with your takes on Israel Palestine? Like, how fucking dare you? And Ethan has a much bigger audience than I have. Me calling him a Zionist to like my, at the time, audience of like 12,000 subscribers. Big fucking whoop. Him calling me an anti-Semite to his, at the time, audience of 1 million viewers had a much more negative impact on me than anything I could ever say about Ethan. Like, that's also what people don't understand. The amount of, like, if I'm known on the internet, I'm way more known to Ethan's audience. Like, I'm more known with a negative connotation because the most exposure I've ever had on the internet was through Ethan and his podcast, or Asmongold talking about me and shitting on me. So Asmongold's like millions of fans saw that and think of me as a shithead. Ethan Klein's hundreds of thousands of viewers saw that and think of me as a shithead. The only people who like me are like my few thousand subscribers. But I have a much more negative reputation online than I do a positive one because I beefed with these people and they've used their platforms to like muddy the waters about like who I am and the content that I make, and like calling me an anti-Semite. Like Ethan calling me an anti-Semite is way more, or in theory is way more harmful to me than me calling him a Zionist. He has the platform, he has the power, he has the reach, he has the massive audience. But then again, at this point, being called an anti-Semite by Ethan Klein is a badge of honor. So also the opposite happened.
Not adequate. Genocide being bad is obvious. That's the default position. To them, this situation would be kind of like someone saying rape is bad.
Marina, have a good night. Thank you so much for being here. Marina, thank you. Marina is recommending nausea meds so I don't puke from seeing Ethan's face that much. I think I'll be okay. I appreciate it, Marina. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for the generous dono too earlier.
And then talking about how much they love Bill Cosby.
After people have some of my barbecue sauce, after a while when it kicks in, they get all huggy buggy.
Jesus. Anyway, you get what I'm trying to say. The point is that Ethan and Hila are the ones choosing to put this stuff on the internet. Like during the height of what many people consider to be a genocide by Israel, Hila posted on Instagram last February, showing off her new blue Star of David tattoo.
I still get shit for this because I said that this was a pretty fucked up tattoo to get in the midst of a genocide, especially coloring it in blue. They're like, why are you assuming that the color blue is associated with the Israeli flag? It's like, dude, she's on fucking camera being like, because people are hating on Israel, and I feel very proud to be Israeli right now, so I wanted to get this tattoo. She literally got, who would get a tattoo like this in the height of a genocide? And like, I even use an example. Let's say Lebanon right now. Lebanon was at war with Syria. Okay, let's say Lebanon was for the past 2 months bombing the living shit out of Syria, murdering tens of thousands of civilians every single day. Okay, that would be the worst time for me to go get, you know what, I'm gonna get a cedar tattooed right on my wrist to represent my Lebanese pride and love, while my country is massacring innocent civilians in another country. Now is the time that I choose to represent my love and my pride in my country. No, this is a time where I'm going to criticize my country. Like, you know what? As a proud Lebanese citizen, this is not my country. This is not the country that I support. This is not the country that I recognize, etc. Like, that's what I would do. I wouldn't get a fucking tattoo being like, hey, yeah, fuck yeah, let's go Lebanon. Kill more Syrians. Like, no. You guys wouldn't do the same if you're an American and America was bombing the living shit out of Mexico. Now's not the time. And committing a genocide in Mexico while Mexicans are barely like touching you, it's not the time to go get a Stars and Stripes fucking tattoo on your wrist. It's not the time. So it's just crazy. And to argue that like it's a fucked up tattoo to get during a fucking genocide, and she's on camera being like, yeah, I'm extra proud to be Israeli and extra proud of my roots, so I wanted to get this tattoo. And she got that tattoo with Ethan's sister, and Ethan's sister has like tweets being like anti-Palestinian, and she doesn't call it a genocide, etc. We know what these people think. We know that's it. Everything we've seen what they've said online. We know that Ethan Klein's sister is anti-Palestine. We know she's a Zionist. We know that. We know Ethan's mom's a Zionist. We know most of his family's fucking Zionists. We know. Clay Bentry sends a $1 super sticker. Thank you so much, Clay Bentry, for the $1 dono. Very kind. That is very kind of you. Thank you so much, good sir.
You know, like the one on the Israeli flag. Now, yes, blue is a traditional color in Judaism, a show of support for a country that's been accused of using chemical.
Lebanon, here we go. Evidence of Israel's unlawful use of white phosphorus inside of Lebanon as cross-border hostility. And they're still using white phosphorus, by the way.
Weapons near civilians or opening fire on people waiting for aid. But here's how Ethan responds to negative comments on Hila's post about her tattoo.
Obsessed with you guys when you only had 15K subs. Glad that's behind me. Enjoy hell. This guy's for real. Joe Coop. Look this guy up. Enjoy hell.
Oh, they went after that random dude. God, I forgot about that. The random guy, dude, they fucking doxed him. Doxed where he lived.
He said, enjoy hell.
Yeah. No, I mean, they think I'm actually the devil.
Here he is. If anyone, let's see if I know, can identify him at all. Which one's Joe? Let's see.
Wait, Ravy, that's
guy.
so funny. Ravy says Hila got that tattoo with Ethan's sister, who also has a huge AF Rebel Alliance tat on her arm. Rebel Alliance, for those who don't know, is the Star Wars Rebel Alliance. The rebels in Star Wars are basically Hamas, essentially. They're basically the Houthis. They're basically Hezbollah. But Americans, a lot of Zionists, a lot of Israelis are too dumb to understand what resistance is. So how ironic is that, right? It's like having the Empire tattoo right next to the Resistance tattoo. That's so fucking funny, man. Someone from the Empire having a Resistance tattoo. That's crazy, man.
Trust me, when I see an anti-Semite, I know I can spot him.
Wow. Spot him from a crowd.
That's him. So I don't know if you guys all know that, but your friend Joe here actually is a fucking giant racist piece of shit. And like he likes to tell Jewish people they're going to hell on Instagram on his public profile. I don't know if any of you guys know him, but certainly anyone who would.
God, I wonder why their podcast is getting a third of the views that it used to. Don't people love this content? Don't people love these fucking vibes?
Employ him or
yeah, they doxed his mom too, right? She was a teacher at like a school, and her school got a bomb threat.
Probably even his parents would be pretty disappointed to see that. Although who knows? Here's his mom. I'm not gonna click that for her. No, you know what? Fuck him. This is what you. Here's your mom. I wonder if she knows what you do on social media. And your
Dude, look at how he's shaking. He's like, oh, here's your mom. Get a fucking grip, man. You fucking creep. You fucking creep at a poker tournament. You fucking sicko. Pretending to be fucking sick.
Probably even his parents would be pretty disappointed to see that, although who knows. Here's his mom. I'm not going to click that for her. No, you know what? Fuck him. This is what you... Here's your mom. I wonder if she knows what you do on social media on your free time. You love your mama. Good thing she's not Jewish, eh, Joe?
Credit to the... I mean, if we can give any credit to the crew, credit for cutting away, Ethan's like insisting, I'm going to show his mom. Whoever was switching that day was like, yeah, no. We're not doing that, Ethan. So whoever was switching that day, you did your fucking job. You did your fucking job. Ooh, Zopracht. Am I saying your name right? Zopracht. Is it Zopracht or Zopracht? From Leb. Just gifted 5 Do Not Worry memberships. Let's go, folks. Hell yeah. 5 brand new Do Not Warriors. Thank you so much. Let's see who these memberships went to. Joel Lockie got one. Awesome. Corey Kabbalah. Empty Pockets 919. Well, Empty Pockets, your pockets are a little bit less empty now with that membership. AKA Andromeda. And Lemon Wizard. Congratulations. W's in the chat for Zopracht. Zopracht. That's so kind. Thank you so much for the support, Zopracht. That is so kind. Where in Lebanon are you? You're here in Lebanon? Let me update our members numbers. We're at 448 friends. We're trying to get to 1,000 members by my birthday. My birthday is on September 26. So that gives us a couple months to try to get to 1,000 members. Can we do it? And thank you so much, Zopracht. You guys are going to get a very fun exclusive live stream this week. We're going to have a good time with the members. I'm also trying to get Jim D. Dukers. We finally got his poetry books. I want to do a special members exclusive live stream where we're going to read Jim's poetry books together here on the channel. So very kind. Thank you so much. Busted Blaze. Busted Balzac. Busted Balzac. Come on. You trying to trick the system? That's a great... that name, along with IDF Kills Children, you guys are... And there was like a... There was a testicle name. You guys have good usernames. Says he looks so demented. I know, right? So disturbing. Let's look at the shaking again.
And yeah, you love your mama. Good thing she's not Jewish, eh, Joe?
Yeah, he's not stable. He's mentally very unstable here. Busted Balzac, thank you so much for the generous dono. Means a lot. Joel Lockie has just paid it forward. Joel Lockie got gifted a membership and returning the favor. Look at that. Gifted a member. Thank you so much. That's so fucking kind and sweet. Merbino, you just got a gifted membership. Fucking awesome. Welcome to the family, guys. Great to have you here. Everybody's being so nice and generous today. Much love.
Love it.
And yeah, Ethan's producer cuts away from the Instagram feed there so that Ethan doesn't blast the guy's mom to his thousands of viewers. This clip comes across kind of deranged to me, but it gives you a little bit of a window into how Ethan's mind works. To him, people can't simply be having a response to controversial statements or things they themselves have put out there. It must be because of anti-Semitism or bigotry. And ultimately, I think the reason why Ethan reacts this way is because in reality, he cannot stand being criticized.
He's always the victim. Ethan is the ultimate victim. Him and Ela are the ultimate victims. As the world was like, hey, why don't you talk about Palestine? They made it all about them. But what about us? What about our feelings? Okay, sure. What about the fucking genocide? You guys are prominent Israeli content creators. You have a massive platform. You have big, loud voices. Use them for good. That's what people wanted. They wanted to see these creators that they've loved and supported for many years reflect our values, okay? That's why we watch it. That's why we spend, like, we're not watching, like, one video a week. Values don't align with yours. You don't want to support someone whose values don't align with yours. You want to make sure that you're supporting someone who's a reflection of your values. And we all thought Ethan and Ela were a certain way. And then once we found out that they weren't, it was kind of disappointing, and it is kind of a punch to the gut. It wasn't that dramatic, but it's like, I mean, we gave a lot of our time and a lot of effort defending these people, even sometimes when we know they're wrong. To quote Train, you know, defending your best friend always sticking up for you, even when you know you're wrong. So okay, I wasn't H3's best friend, but like, you know, we had their side, we had their backs, and they fucked us.
There's been a lot of criticism of me of late. There's been a lot of people that have said lots and lots of videos. I have a natural aversion to criticism specifically, which is something
I've shown you guys all the Teddy Fresh that I bought. I've been able to get rid of a lot of it. I've been able to sell some of it. A lot of it to my best friend, ironically, Elias. You guys know him, who plays Dark Souls with us, and he's on this stream a few times. He doesn't give a shit that H3 shits all over me. He's happy to still rock Teddy Fresh. So hey, if you'll buy it, I'll sell it. I've given away some Teddy Fresh. There's some pieces that I've been able to modify and remove the Teddy Fresh logo. And there's still some t-shirts that I own. I wore one, I'm not gonna lie, guys. I wore a Teddy Fresh t-shirt like 2 weeks ago at the gym at boxing training. I was like, you know what? I can sweat in this. So it's like my boxing shirts are like, it's like whatever shirts. So I have a watercolor Teddy Fresh t-shirt that they had done. It was like watercolor tie-dye. I boxed with it, folks. It's now a boxing shirt. So it's gonna get fucked.
Been learning about myself through therapy, which I've started recently.
Ethan cannot help himself from reading comment sections, Reddits, tweets about him. He obsesses over how he's being perceived, and he compulsively responds to almost anybody that's critical of him. And he has a long history of this temperament. As a quick example, there was this call on election night that Ethan had with Philip DeFranco, where Ethan, for like literally no reason, awkwardly tries to force into the conversation how people on the internet just hate him because he's Jewish.
Well, I don't know if you knew this about me, Phil, but I'm Jewish. Yeah, it's pretty controversial, but I could go
Also, when he called Philip DeFranco, oh, that was so uncomfortable. He made Philip DeFranco so fucking uncomfortable. And I love that Philip DeFranco has firmly planted his feet in the Hasan Piker camp. God, we're only 29 minutes into this, by the way. God damn, I'm slow. Am I worse than Ethan at reacting? I should shut the fuck up. But I feel like if I don't talk, it ain't a proper reaction. You know what I'm saying? Even though I'm in this video, I think any reaction that I do is fair use at this point. Isn't it? Isn't it? I'm kidding, but so far, good work. I mean, Kilo is being very thorough. So far, it's a very thorough video. He hasn't missed a lot. In 30 minutes, he's covered a lot of ground. And this is a pretty entertaining video. Like, it's well edited, it's well put together. How many of these videos have we seen so far together? So for this one to still be able to hold my attention, pretty good work so far.
Into it.
No,
thank you.
And then immediately after getting off that call, Ethan goes out of his...
Oh, wait, got it. Nick Herdering 3448 says, I knew Anthony was cool when he thanked my dad for being a truck driver during a trucking simulator live stream. Well, let's fucking go. God, I miss trucking simulator. Do you guys miss trucking simulator? Should I do another trucking simulator stream at some point? Yeah. Trucking simulator gave me a new appreciation for truckers. So Mr. Nick Herdering, yes, and send your father another thank you for his hard work. Trucking is fucking hard, and the video game is even harder. It's more like debt simulator. I'm already in debt. I think I've been able to work my way out of the debt, but I had to use some cheats. I missed truck simulator. Was fucking fun, huh?
Way to pull up Philly's chat and whine about things people are saying about him.
Okay, be good. Yeah. Bye. Nothing gets me excited like seeing Philip DeFranco's chat call me El Zionist Nazi, free Palestine. Ethan, you can migrate to Israel.
And finally, when he gets criticized...
Riding down the highway, we're riding down the interstate, and riding down the highway, I'm driving down the interstate. Busted Balzac says the stream is very cozy. As someone who used to be a fan of Ethan but was swayed by Hasan. Well, let's go. This is what we do over here. This is a cozy little community of a lot of H3 Fallen fans. Busted Balzac. There's a lot of people like you in this live chat right now.
By the crew for killing the vibe of the podcast. This is how he responds.
How the fuck did I kill the mood?
Bruh.
What the fuck did I do?
You killed the mood.
Why? How?
But with your calling Phil and bringing up all kinds of negative
That was
stuff.
fucking awesome.
I thought it was a fun call.
Yeah, what the fuck?
It was a fun call. We just put Phil on the spot. Like, hey, what do you think about Israel? You know I'm Jewish? Do you think people are anti-Semitic? I thought Phil loved the call.
What is this world we're living in? What's happening right now? Tell me how.
I told you.
Tell me how.
I don't have a way to get through to you then.
There's
It just
no shot.
depressed
That
now.
call was awesome.
I didn't feel awesome coming off that call.
Why?
I'm just telling you.
Was that call awesome?
Because it turned into you just complaining about his chat. Everybody, like, they fucking hate you and they're spamming it or whatever.
Ethan's obvious ruminating on criticism shows up in a lot of places. He left Twitter in favor of Instagram, probably because stories don't have comment sections. H3 also seems to often heavily filter or disable comments on episodes that they think might get some pushback. And I've also recently found that the H3 podcast commonly cuts out entire sections of their live streams, even sometimes way after the fact, seemingly in response to criticism, which I guess they do have a right to do. But I will say, as someone who's currently trying to criticize them, it's pretty fucking irritating. But all this is to say, Ethan isn't a fan of being criticized.
Don't worry, dude. Everything's been logged somewhere. You will find all of Ethan's fuck-ups either on Reddit, on maybe one of his streams. Everything has been heavily documented, and you will find screen recordings of stuff across the internet. Have no fear.
at all. And when he started facing a lot more negative scrutiny after October 7th, it seems like he wanted Hasan to exert sweeping control over his entire audience's perception of him. And despite how unrealistic that is, Hasan still tried.
Ethan is not your enemy. You should not yell at Ethan. Ethan is my friend. I think he's an empathetic person. I will always stand by Ethan's ability to empathize and want to learn and want to change his
I
perspective.
remember, man, do you guys remember how long it took Hasan to fucking take the gloves off? I remember the first video where he's like, okay, fuck this, I'm coming after Ethan. And that was a fun one to watch. But for months, he was showing Ethan nothing but grace, being like, guys, relax. He had no idea how obsessive Ethan was being about him. He didn't know yet. But then once it fucking hit him, and once Ethan wouldn't stop, that's when Hasan took the gloves off and like started spanking Ethan. But for the longest time, he's saying exactly what he's saying here. He was just being like, dude, nothing. He was being like, hey, give Ethan a chance, give Ethan a chance, give Ethan a chance. Poor fucking guy, man. He really took, Zafira, he took his sweet ass time.
Changing your perspective on an issue that is like near and dear to your fucking heart is virtually impossible. I will forever have respect for him for doing that on his own. You need to, as a community, also stop fucking ripping into Ethan non-stop.
But it was never quite enough for Ethan.
He genuinely hates you, bro. I know he does. I wish him well regardless.
And eventually, Ethan declared war on all things Hasan, which brought us to where we are now. Now, what Ethan could do is he could stop reflexively defending Israel. He could stop commenting on the issue altogether. Maybe he could reflect on and internalize some of what people are telling him. Or he could change nothing and just accept that some people on the internet are going to have a problem with it. But of course, he hasn't done any of these things. Ethan has instead chosen to lie. He's built this myth of a mass harassment campaign against him, and he's using this lie to try to financially harm Twitch, change Reddit policy, and abuse the court system against the people that he holds responsible for his decline in popularity. The three main things that Ethan's been dishonest about are H3 snark, the CPS call, and the copyright lawsuits. Let's start with snark. After the leftovers ended, the growing rift between Ethan and Hasan's communities sparked increased activity on the H3 snark subreddit. For those of you that don't know what snark means, here's a quick overview. Snark communities are online groups.
That subreddit was pretty popping. Like at some point, I remember getting on the snark subreddit. It had way less total followers or subscribers than the H3 official subreddit, but they had almost as many like active users as the H3 subreddit. Like that subreddit was fucking popping off.
Groups dedicated to sharing negative or critical content about a figure that the group is centered around. That's it. They're basically just groups of people who dislike an influencer or a public figure, and they talk shit about them, laugh about them, criticize them. That's all it is. H3 has had their own snark community since early in 2023, but as Ethan's content became more political, and as the feud with Hasan began, it gradually started growing in popularity.
I'm not, like, this makes so much sense, yeah.
Now, it should be noted that most of these places, especially on Reddit, have strict rules against crossing the line.
Yeah, and Drac, I agree with Drac. Drac says it was all members that were banned from chatting, that were banned from the live chat, or who had comments deleted. I tried to get on the H3 official subreddit and post a couple things. That shit was deleted. I've had comments deleted off of their YouTube channel, if I'm not mistaken. People were unable to have conversations. Like the reason why Snark got together, it's because it was like a safe space for like people like us, fallen fans. Like, hey, what the fuck is happening? Why are our comments getting deleted? Why is Ethan saying this? Why is Ela saying this? This is so inconsistent with what they're doing. It was a place for us to be like, get together and like talk, you know, like, hey, what the fuck is happening? And since we couldn't have those conversations on the H3 official subreddit or in their comment section or in the live stream, in their live chat, literally, like, they would ban members that were paying members, because H3's entire live chat is all members. They were banning paying members from being able to chat. So that's, like, Ethan created Snark. Ethan created that community by not giving them a voice in his own community. So where else were they supposed to go? You know, they found a home somewhere else, and they formed a community there.
They typically moderate against posts that encourage or facilitate harassment, such as doxing, and the ones that don't usually don't last very long on the platform. You can always find psycho people who engage in poor behavior in literally any online community, even fan ones, but this doesn't mean the community itself is an issue. For this reason, as a concept, Snark seems mostly harmless. But Ethan doesn't see it this way, and even since before the leftovers ended, Ethan has taken massive issue with his own Snark community, and he essentially considers them to be headquarters of the harassment campaign that he believes he's facing.
H3 Snark, which is a subreddit dedicated to not even like feedback, like just blatant fucking horrific harassment and like defamation.
So what exactly is Ethan referring to when he talks about this organized harassment and defamation campaign? Honestly, it's a little difficult to say. Ethan's been historically pretty non-specific in his complaints about Snark, but he has on occasion pointed out a few hard examples, so let's look at some of those. So here's a post from a little over a year ago, speculating that Teddy Fresh, the Klein's clothing brand, potentially plagiarized the design of a new release, because in addition to the visual similarities, the senior designer for Teddy Fresh previously liked the post from the designer they're alleged to have stolen from. Here's Ethan talking about this post on stream.
On the Snark subreddit.
Oh, I mean, look, they have been accused of that, and there's some stuff that's even been proven. There was like the whole dinosaur fiasco where they found like a picture of like what was it, like a, God, it was like a dinosaur stitched sweater, and then it turned out that that dinosaur that they used was part of an art book from a guy. So then they ended up after the fact signing like some kind of a deal with the guy who ended up getting paid for the shirts. But they've had artists literally steal art. They have a lot of their artists use like straight up like stock photos. There was like the bear, that there was one of their t-shirts with a bear that was the same photo of a bear from like that Wild Hunting game from like fucking 15 years ago. Wild Hunt. Was it? Let me see. Because I used to work at GameStop when we used to sell that game. The Wild Hunt. Wild Hunt PS3. No, not Witcher. Wild Hunt PS3. Bear. Fuck, what was it called, man? Ultimate. Dangerous Hunts. So, okay, one second. They have a t-shirt. Literally. Was it this one? Let me see. With a bear that looks just like this. It was either this one, this Dangerous Hunts bear, or this one. This is the one. So they have a t-shirt. Look at that. Teddy Fresh Grizzly shirt. Can we find it? They have a shirt with a grizzly. God, I don't know if we're ever gonna this one. There we go. Bam. Okay, look at this. It's the same bear. It's the Wild Hunt bear. Look at that. Literally, and this game came out. When did this game come out? Fucking PS3 days, okay? There we go. '13. It came out in 2013. Yeah, so they used a 2013 cover of a PlayStation game, Cabela's Dangerous Hunts. By the way, yeah, I was working at GameStop. I used to sell a lot of this shit. I'm like, you want some Cabela's Dangerous Hunts? Yeah. Guys, I know too much lore. Again, I know too much. You can't fuck with fallen fans. Like, you could try to fool newcomers to your podcast, but you try to, like, take advantage of people that have been watching you dumbasses for years. We know what we're talking about. I know the Cabela Dangerous Hunt Grizzly Bear t-shirt fiasco.
The top post right now is dedicated to identifying and harassing non-public Teddy Fresh employees. We have no recourse. Like, this is not okay what's happening. I don't know how Reddit allows this. I really don't. It's fucking sickening.
Okay, so Ethan claims this post is dedicated to identifying and harassing non-public Teddy Fresh employees. But the problem is this person...
Merbino says, real ones played Sierra's fishing. I'm sorry, Merbino. I honestly never even played Cabela's hunts. I just sold it.
Did have senior designer at Teddy Fresh in their public Instagram bio. Teddy Fresh also routinely posts about their designers, including their names, in their own Instagram posts. And Klein has posted this person on her own YouTube channel, including naming them.
Yeah,
and
Hidden Iron says we are collectively a wealth of knowledge on H3. We're dangerous. Hidden Iron, all of us together, all of the little nuggets of information that we know from all these years together, we are a menace. We are a menace to the H3 podcast.
Introducing them as a designer at Teddy Fresh.
Hi vlog, I'm Sean, I'm resident senior designer of Teddy Fresh.
The H3 crew seemed to be under the impression that this post was a dox, by the way, because the document they compiled on it was titled Snark Docs. But based on what I can see, this poster wasn't trying to identify anybody. Motherfucker, you guys are the ones that identified them.
It's not a lie, if you believe it.
And furthermore, Ethan is shocked that Reddit allows this post, calling it targeted harassment. But how exactly is an accusation of wrongdoing by itself harassment? There's no call to action, there's no threat, there's no invasion of privacy. It's literally just a few photos and evidence for their claim. Surely Ethan doesn't consider it to be harassment to accuse somebody of plagiarism, right? There's this video, apparently by a former H3 Snark moderator, supposedly exposing the harassment the community engages in. And some of the examples they list are like, just listen.
The Snarkers would even post drawings of crew members for the purpose of everyone else in the live chat to make fun of them. But the thing that stuck out to me from the times I was looking at the H3 Snark live chat is that they really hate Zach. Whenever Zach was on screen, the H3 Snark chat would go crazy and comment about how ugly Zach is.
Drawings? People calling Zach ugly? oh my god, we need to do something about this. Oh, and by the way, Ethan fully endorses this video.
An ex-snarker made a video about the snark subreddit that I thought was wonderful. This all took place on Reddit's platform.
Yeah, Busted Balzac, we do know about the sexy Ela Pinterest thing from his dad. We know, we talked about that yesterday too.
They have a live chat feature that during every show they would open up, or they would engage in targeted, relentless harassment against all of us. I'm very grateful to this person. People don't understand the forces that I'm dealing with, of how fucking disgustingly evil these people are.
So look, if you scroll through the H3 Snark page, you'll see posts that are making fun of things Ethan has said, sometimes clipping something from a recent stream. Here's a post just sharing something Hasan said about Ethan. This subreddit is like 99% just posts like this. So I'm not saying there's never been a post here that could qualify as harassment, but if for Ethan things like laughing at drawings does qualify, it makes me seriously question his judgment of the severity of what's happening here. Moving on, another part of Ethan's claim is that this community is defaming him and his business, and Ethan really doesn't like defamation.
This is defamation, right? No, defamation. Defamation. I'm literally going to sue you for defamation.
Uh-oh.
But this part is even harder to evaluate, because Ethan is even less specific.
What a fucking psycho.
About the defamation. He tends to just generally kind of whine about defamation and slander, and rarely—
we've only covered Ethan stuff. God, there's CPS still. And then, oh man, it's an hour and a half of all Ethan. Then we get to Cameron. God, I don't know how much of this we're going to be able to watch today.
If ever, provides any specific examples of it.
These are like 3 huge fucking communities that are posting about me and Ela every fucking day. Fucking relentless slander, straight up lies, defamation.
One of the only times I could find him providing actual—
It's taken us an hour and 30 minutes to get through 40 minutes.
Evidence was this infamous Ramadan post, which contained a lie that the H3H3 subreddit was removing posts celebrating Ramadan. Ethan was understandably pretty upset about this, but when you look into what actually happened here, it seems likely that this example of defamation just doesn't really mean much of anything. According to the moderators of the subreddit, the post was originally made by like a rogue mod on an alt account, and once they found out that it was false, they deleted the post, demodded the user, and updated their rules to have higher standards. So one user on a popular forum maliciously spread misinformation, was caught, got punished, and then the owners took steps to try to prevent it from happening again. So this just isn't indicative of any systemic or coordinated misconduct. This is just called the internet. Plus, it seems like this should be how you'd want a place like this to be moderated. They have rules against misinformation, and they do enforce them. Like if you go search through the subreddit, you can find hundreds of examples.
I'm just gonna quickly grab some food from the kitchen. I'll be right back, folks. What can I cut to? I can't cut to anything. I'm just gonna cut to here. Okay, we back. I just got a little bit of everything. I have some leftover chicken kebabs from yesterday. I got some hummus. I got some, this is delicious hot chili paste that Demi brought over yesterday. So I'm gonna have some of that with the chicken kebab and the hummus. And I have a cheese manouche, which is like a cheese pie, basically, that was in the fridge. Then I'm gonna also put some of the spicy sauce on and kill that while we finish this video.
Of the moderators telling the subreddit not to contact sponsors, to respect people's privacy, marking
guys, Nata and Maki Cam will come back, I promise.
As being satirical, all things that point to them actually trying to prevent harassment and defamation. Like with any popular forum, some stuff might occasionally slip through the cracks, but this stuff would be outliers. It's quite obviously not the purpose of this community. So Ethan's claims that this place exists solely to conduct an organized harassment campaign against him are at best flimsy, and at worst, kind of bullshit. But there's one more thing Ethan has shown, and it's this screenshot he shared from Discord.
Here, we will let's, as I eat real quick, we can listen to this track. There you go. This is just while I eat, folks, okay?
On these parts. Hey there, partner. Have you ever seen a billy goat with a 4x4 and an F-150? We riding down the highway, we ride along the interstate. Riding down the highway, we ride along the interstate. We riding down the highway, we ride along the interstate. We riding down the highway, we ride along the interstate. We riding down the highway, we ride along the interstate. We riding down the highway, we ride along the interstate. We riding down the highway, we ride along the interstate. Used to work at Frito-Lay, now I just count my cake. Growing corn from frosted flakes, keep my 30 in my safe. Dropped out of Texas State, still got grits up on my plate. We got haystacks by the freight, my F-150's on its way. Yeah! We riding down the highway, we ride along the interstate. Riding down the highway, we ride along the interstate. We riding down the highway, we ride along the interstate. We riding down the highway, we ride along the interstate. We riding down the highway, we ride along the interstate. We riding down the highway, we ride along.
I gotta stop this. This guy kills my views every time. Sorry, guys. Every time Dating and Money comes on, the live viewers go down. It was fun while it lasted. I think people would legitimately would rather watch me eat in silence than listen to this fucking guy. I tried to get this guy on the charity stream. I tried to get this fucker on the charity stream so we can give you guys a surprise live performance of California Dreaming. He never responded to me. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? And now, that was a good thing. Didn't he just get accused of like some weird ass shit? Like, I tried to get this fucker, man. I was like, I'm gonna surprise the audience. We're gonna sing California Dreaming live via Zoom. Me and him could make it happen. He fucking ignored me.
Of supposedly a moderator of H3 Snark sharing the address of the H3 and Teddy Fresh studios. Now, if this is exactly how Ethan describes it, it could be an issue. But this looks like a private DM, not a public Discord server. There's no information about who this was sent to, whether this person is still a moderator, whether they even ever were a moderator, or whether any of the other mods knew about it. So I kind of just don't really know what I'm looking at here. Without more context, this just isn't evidence of organized, coordinated harassment. This could be nothing more than just one person doing something wrong, which again can happen in any large online community. So look, my perception of what's happened here is that Ethan conflates harassment with unwanted negative scrutiny, and he might even conflate slander with things he disagrees with. 99.9% of the users here are just talking, making jokes, criticizing him, voicing their opinions. Some of them may say things that are untrue or even cruel, but dude, that's what the internet is. H3 has millions of subscribers. At a certain point, you can't control what everyone says or thinks about you. So as far as I can tell, Ethan just isn't the victim.
Can you imagine trying to police every negative comment? A piece of advice that I tried to give, not that Ethan would anyone would listen to me. You shouldn't be looking at that stuff. You shouldn't be spending time on Reddit where people can talk about you positively or negatively. Don't even read the positive stuff about yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, let people talk about you, let people criticize you. Like, imagine, like everybody knows that, if you have coworkers or if you have employees, they're probably gonna complain about their boss every now and then, right? The worst thing you could do as a boss is, if you know your employees are having a night out after a day of work and they're going to go grab beers after a day at the office, you probably know they're going to talk a little bit of shit about you, but it's fine. As long as they do their work, as long as they respect you, and as long as they don't do it to your face. You don't need to know what your employees are saying about you. Everyone has the right to unwind, to criticize their boss, to criticize whoever. It is going to get weird if you insist on knowing everything that people say about you. When I was hanging out, when I was spending time on the H3 Snark subreddit, and people were saying hey, this guy's great, and we like this guy. Let's go encourage this guy. It felt good. Then, when the caller thing happened, and they were criticizing me on that subreddit, I stopped spending time there because I was like, this is causing me mental anguish. This is stressing me out. It's making me upset. And remember, I did a live stream where I went through and I was reading negative Reddit comments about myself and stuff. Then I deleted it right away, and I'm like, this is fucking crazy. This is unhealthy. I just stopped spending time on Reddit. I shouldn't be if I do want to spend time on Reddit, let me go to a community that has nothing to do with me. Let me go to a community where I might not come up either positively or negatively. Because if I come up negatively, it's going to impact me negatively. Obviously, if someone's like, hey, this guy fucking sucks, and I'm going to read that, it's going to upset me. And then I'm going to want to respond to them or prove them wrong or do something. It's stop. You can't obsess about this stuff. It's just going to drive you crazy. And with Ethan, with me, it was happening on a little micro level. With Ethan, it's happening on a macro scale where It feels like everyone's criticizing him. So the more you engage with it, the more you encourage it too, the more you respond to people. Like if Ethan and Hila hadn't responded to me or wouldn't give me any of this attention, I would have just let it go. Like, all right, fuck off. Like, I'm just going to stop talking about you guys. But they kept like calling me an anti-Semite, calling me a piece of shit, reacting to my stuff. So I was like, okay, now I have to respond to you. Just let people talk about you. You don't need to know what people are saying about you. And that is going to cause you way less fucking stress. But Ethan had to know. He had to monitor everything
of anything unique here, but obviously he disagrees, and his response to these insults, to criticism, and to this one lie that was ultimately removed was declaring all-out war on Reddit and H3 Snark.
And it's just fucking disgusting. Like, Reddit, you are disgusting. Fucking shame on you. The CEO, the officers, everybody who's in this company is 100% liable for everything that's happening on all these Snark subreddits.
He started by going to Reddit and complaining about Snark numerous times, demanding that they take action against the subreddit.
And I've tried to notify Reddit, and they just don't fucking care. We reported it, and we were trying to contact someone at Reddit. I've gone through every avenue possible with Reddit. If this doesn't get taken care of, then I'm gonna have to.
Of course they don't care when your main subreddit is a fucking Snark subreddit, Ethan. But that's the thing. He's complaining, oh, they're snarking on me. That's what you do every day. That's what your fans do every single day. They're literally harassing iDubbbz, Anissa, Hasan, Frogan, Denims, Kate. They're probably harassing every single one of these people right now on your subreddit. Crazy.
To start holding Reddit accountable.
Which led to quite a lot of whining from Ethan when they chose not to do anything.
The whole Snark phenomenon is so pathetic that Reddit allows this shit to continue. This is another reason why I just cannot fucking believe that Reddit doesn't react. It's so fucked up that Reddit allows this and doesn't do anything.
But Ethan did eventually hear back from Reddit, although he wasn't very pleased with what they had to say.
We got a hold of someone at Reddit, and we told them about all the Snark stuff. It was a comms person, and they got back to us, and they said, well, you guys are harassing people also. You're harassing people, and they're harassing people, so I don't see the difference between your community and their community.
And while it would be really funny if Reddit actually said that to him, I highly doubt that that's what Ethan was told. I imagine he was told something more like, this community is totally fine. They're not doing anything different than your own is. But this is where things started getting a little weird. Ethan didn't just disagree with Reddit's decisions. He started claiming that Reddit was conspiring against him to protect Snark.
I believe that Reddit is colluding with the moderators of this Snark community and actively protecting it.
And to his credit, I'm sure that Ethan really was on the verge of cracking this thing wide open.
Twitch has been ideologically captured, and the people in that company are using their terms of service selectively as a form of activism. And I feel
just let people criticize you. Just let people criticize you. Let them get it out of their system. Okay? People should be allowed to criticize their favorite creators, their boss, whoever the fuck you want to criticize. And if you don't let them criticize you on Reddit, they're going to find somewhere else to do it. They're going to criticize you on an Instagram forum. They're going to do it on Twitter. They're going to do it on a Facebook group. They'll do it on TikTok. They'll find a way. Life finds a way. Resistance finds a way. Okay? Let people criticize you. Don't be involved. Let them fucking let loose without attacking them. And then maybe, maybe they'll feel better afterwards. They won't hate you as much. Just... it's fine to be criticized by people. I'm going to get criticized. You're going to get criticized. Every single public figure is going to get criticized. Just try not to think about it. Let people do it. Let them. They have the right to criticize you. They have the right to have a safe space to criticize you. And you're not invited. You should not be invited to read what they're doing. For your own good and for theirs.
That I'm getting the same treatment now from Reddit. Did you know that these two companies in San Francisco, their headquarters are blocks away from each other? It's just interesting. It's just interesting because it shows there's some culture happening in this tech space. I think that these people are all very similar minded. I think that's what this is telling me.
Right. But somehow this airtight narrative didn't gain quite as much traction as Ethan would like. So
crazy, dude. Look, it's a 5-minute walk. They must be involved.
He started being somewhat openly dishonest about it. For instance, when Adam McIntyre's Snark community got taken down by Reddit, allegedly due to behaviors similar to the H3 Snark page, Ethan took it as proof that Reddit is conspiring against him. But he prefers to just disregard the known fact that Adam's page didn't get removed due to any alleged behaviors, but rather because it was completely unmoderated, whereas H3 Snark has always had active moderators. Ethan is aware of this, by the way. He just chooses to believe something else.
It's hard for him to be honest. He lies a lot. He does.
In fact, there are often pretty decent explanations for why things on Reddit haven't gone Ethan's way, but rather than opening his eyes, everything only leads him to further believe that Reddit leadership must be snarkers themselves. That's right, it's a big Reddit conspiracy to harass Ethan Klein. That is literally what he believes.
I know that it's likely that one of the admins...
It would be pretty funny if like the founder or the CEO of Reddit was one of the fucking moderators.
Who's being paid by Reddit is participating and protecting it.
Ethan also started claiming that the coordination and organized harassment actually just happens in Discord servers, which is why you won't find it on the subreddit itself.
These fucking freaks that are in a Discord sharing on all these things. These people can sign up without any info of their account. Most of their activities happening on Discord.
And it's kind of weird that he'd go that route anyway, because somehow Reddit is complicit in something truly horrific here, but simultaneously none of it is actually happening on Reddit, it's all happening somewhere else. But despite not having very much evidence, Ethan remained incredibly determined to push this harassment narrative. So determined, in fact, that he made the very classy decision to appropriate a woman's suicide to further his agenda against Snark. Michaela Raines, also known as Save a Fox, took her own life back in June of last year, and Ethan, within 24 hours of it being announced, ran to Instagram to claim that Snark was responsible. But Michaela's husband didn't cite her Snark community as contributing to her suicide. He rather said that the criticism Michaela faced was often from people she knew or people from other animal sanctuaries. Michaela's Snark page was pretty inactive, with only 19 total posts in its lifetime. She also, according to her husband, had a long history of being in and out of therapy with depression and various other mental ailments. Now, I'm not saying it's impossible that Michaela's Snark page contributed to her distress, but this was obviously a deeply troubled person, and Ethan parading around her body for his own narrative purposes and chalking it all up to Snark when he can't even know.
Does that mean that, like, Snark having a community where you can safely like criticize a creator? I think that's fine, but like Snark subreddits in general, where all people do is criticize and kind of obsess over stuff, I did indulge in that for a while, and there is something unhealthy about it. Absolutely. 100%. Even me being like, let me check, like, just the fact that I would go to a page where all it is Ethan criticism. Like, I'm going to literally going on a forum where all people are doing is criticizing Ethan. I think that is a waste of time, and that is not productive at all. It was useful when it was a forum for Fallen fans to connect and to talk, but at some point when you're checking that every day, I'm like, what did Ethan do today? There is something kind of weird and unhealthy about that. And not just Ethan, whatever creator you're doing it to, if you're part of any Snark community where every single day you're checking up on what did this person do and how am I gonna like shit on them today, it is a point, I think, for self-reflection at that point. A little bit of self-reflection. It doesn't mean you're a bad person or anything, but it's like you've let this thing get a bit too far. You can even enjoy hate watching something if you want, but like to like feel like you're monitoring a situation as if it's like a war. Like when I'm monitoring the situation on Twitter when the war is happening with Israel here, you know? Like that's something that I feel like, yeah, that affects me. I need to be looking at this. I need to be aware of what's happening, but like I don't need to be aware of all of Ethan's activities at all times. No one does.
For that to be true is kind of a disgusting thing to do. But despite these lies and conspiracy theories and his appeals to Reddit, Ethan was unsuccessful in getting H3 Snark removed.
This is not normal. This is fucking insane, unhinged behavior that is being explicitly sanctioned by Reddit continually. It's nauseating. It's so fucked up.
So he decided to escalate his tactics. Ethan hired an attorney to begin issuing copyright strikes against clips of the H3 podcast that were getting posted on their Snark page. It's unknown exactly how many strikes were issued, but they went after quite a few, including some clips as short as 20 seconds long. Ethan has given various explanations.
God damn, yeah, that's right.
For why he was trying to get these posts removed.
Me and my lawyer were extremely conservative about which post qualified. The ones that I DMCA'd on that were egregious.
At different times, he's claimed he was only targeting members-only content or posts that openly stated they were trying to steal views. But neither of these turned out to be true. Clips that didn't fit either of those parameters were getting struck also. Eventually, some of these snarkers were added to Ethan's current lawsuits against Hasan's orbiters, which we'll come back to later.
Yes, I'm gonna take this back to the kitchen. I'll be right back. Guys, I'm going to take a very quick bathroom break. Let's use the BRB thing real quick. And we back. Let's go. Sorry about that.
But in these filings, we received expanded explanations for some of the DMCA takedown requests, and all of a sudden the justifications included things such as posts that didn't have enough comments on them. Not a great reason. These filings also claim that H3 was very purposeful with what they chose to strike, listing just 7 examples with detailed explanations for each takedown. And in response to the idea that he was trying to silence his critics, Ethan would repeat this claim on stream, asserting that he had only struck a handful of clips from the subreddit.
And your dumb bitch ass at the time was saying I was silencing people, which makes no fucking sense because there's like 1,000 posts up there and we DMCA'd like 5 of them. But what they're referring to is just a DMCA. One of their posts of like the hundreds, if not thousands, got DMCA'd. And so the story is that I'm trying to silence free speech because one post of 1,000 got DMCA'd. Like I said, there's hundreds of posts. We removed maybe 5 at most.
But months earlier, when complaining about Reddit's inaction against Snark, Ethan had previously claimed to have successfully filed dozens of copyright strikes against them.
We performed dozens of copyright strikes on the Snark subreddit. We have removed dozens of posts.
So is Ethan possibly lying to downplay how many claims were being filed? If he is, it might be because what Ethan was actually trying to do was get the subreddit banned as a result of excessive DMCA notices, something that he had seen work with other Snark subreddits before.
She told me that she was aware that there's Snark pages.
Oh, I had no idea about that. So that's why he was copywriting all those videos? Because if you do that enough to a subreddit, they can get taken down. Look at that, being clever.
That will talk about me and then talk about her, whatever. And she was like,
No
I'm going to
problem.
give you this number of someone who can take down your Snarks. These people will go around and they will copyright strike things on subreddits to get them all these violations that then they get removed. I'm pretty sure as well that's how, you know, Trisha Paytas got the Trishyland Reddit taken down.
But obviously that plan didn't work, so he started making public threats of legal action against members of H3 Snark. And I wanted to briefly point out the very funny way that he talks when he's addressing Snark. He really
By the way, quick thank you again today. We got gifted 6 new members today, folks. Fucking awesome. 6 brand new Do Not Warriors. Very much appreciated everybody who gifted today. Let me see. Zoprakt from Leb and Joe Alaki. Thank you guys so much for the gifted.
He's that guy.
I will look for you. I will find you. And I will
sue you.
He's already been granted a subpoena to obtain the personal information of prominent H3 Snark members, which he claims is just for legitimate copyright purposes.
And he's threatening to dox them. It's not a dox, you dumb fuck. It's called a subpoena. Now, what happens to that information? I don't know. I literally just want to hold them accountable for copyright infringement. Court filings are all public. So if like their private information shows up there, I literally can't help it.
But if you're not trying to dox them, then why say things like this? I mean,
I won't save you scumbags from what's coming. It won't save you scumbags from what's coming. I can't wait for your family, friends, work, and school to know what you've been up to. Yeah, exactly. These are like straight up threats.
Just openly expressing here that his goal is, at least partially, to expose the identities of these snarkers.
Like anyone that participated in that sub should be humiliated, embarrassed, and exposed. If I was one of these people and had something to lose, who had, let's say, a good job, or was part of an elite university, something like that, they would certainly not want people to know what they've been up to. They all have quite a lot to lose, and I will be the one that makes them lose those things.
That is pretty explicit. I mean, just look at one of the letters from Ethan's attorney. Give us the identity of Snark moderators, or all of your personal info will be made public. And this letter was regarding a clip posted on H3 Snark that was 90 seconds long. It seems obvious that his primary motivation is not really protecting his property. But you know how we can be sure? Ethan previously...
Their priority is scaring people from criticizing them. You know? Discouraging criticism. Hey, if you make an anti-H3 video, I'm gonna call you out. I might even sue you if you call me a Zionist. If you say anything that I can theoretically slap in a lawsuit, we're gonna do it. So think twice before posting on a Snark subreddit. Think twice before making an anti-H3 or an Ethan Klein is a Zionist video. That's what Ethan was trying to do. And it worked with some people, didn't work with others. Here we are, still doing this.
Not even that long ago, had opened up the H3 IP to everybody, and he even gave his blessing to people profiting off of his channel.
I am opening our IP to the world. If you want to cut up...
And he was inspired by Hasan to do this. Am I not mistaken? He saw how Hasan was doing it and how like a bunch of Hasan's fans were able to pay off their college tuition and their fucking like university debt because of doing Hasan clip channels. So it was like clip channels. Ethan was like, hey, I kind of want to be that kind of guy too. I want to give my fans an opportunity to make some money off of our show. And then bam, just stopped it right away.
Clips from the podcast, from our members live, from anything with me in it. Go for it, man. Monetize it. I will not claim. I will not remove. I will not do anything. I mean, to be fair, it's basically been my policy. I don't claim or remove anything really at all.
And now you're making it explicit.
Yeah.
He was openly encouraging people to monetize his property, even on YouTube.
We opened our IP.
God, what is Ela wearing here? What is this? Why does she look like this?
and there are starting to be
Yeah.
channels who are uploading content
I started noticing.
and they're getting views, and I'm very happy.
But Redditors, who don't profit off of him at all, he has a massive problem with his content being shared there. And the only difference between these two situations, one supports H3, the other criticizes him. You can't blanket open up your IP and then claim infringement when you just don't like who's sharing it. Either it's protected or it's not. So when it comes to H3 snark, Ethan seems to have abused DMCA as a guise to try to silence his critics. That's it. This whole snark controversy is really interesting because when you zoom out, it kind of gives you a lot of perspective on Ethan's character, like how he stands staunchly against involving people's families in online drama.
The way that's super fucked and twisted about it is how they go after people's families.
Except when he does it, or how he hates defamation and considers it.
Brad the Bull talking about that random guy's mom on stream.
Harassment.
One of them fabricated a post. That's defamation.
Except when he does it. Or how he thinks snark is evil and should be wiped from the internet.
I'm against snark subreddits. I stand opposed to all snark subreddits.
Yeah, you snarked on Ryan Kavanaugh for 2 fucking years. Wow.
Except when he uses it. Yeah, this is Ethan's web browser back during his follow with Trisha Paytas. And you'll notice Ethan is a frequent visitor of Trishyland, Trisha's snark subreddit. Ethan and the H3 crew are known to have been supporters and regular visitors of various Trisha snark pages, including multiple named after their former podcast, Frenemies. The H3 podcast was actually remarkably public about being appreciative of snark back when the target was somebody that they didn't like.
Frenemies too. Oh, you have to request to join? Well, I got to request access now.
Lev said he secured Frenemies 12, so we're safe.
Okay.
Wait, Frenemies 12 is us?
Yeah, we got
Let's
it.
go. Go to Frenemies 12, people, since Frenemies 2 is closed.
Frenemies 2 is like home base. You know what I mean?
Why have they done this?
The irony is that Ethan and Hila don't actually have a problem with snark. In fact, when his own fans...
Yo, that's crazy. Dude, the fact that all this evidence is out there, I hope the people from the snark subreddit are seeing this and can use this in their defense against Ethan.
engage in the same behaviors that he accuses snark of. He'll just pretend that it isn't happening.
It's a numbers game, okay? Some people, obviously, from our audience are going to be take it too far and be inappropriate and say horrible things. This is not my fan base. So them even trying to make it about our fan base is disingenuous and it's a fucking lie.
This is slightly old data, but one of
How is this not your fan base? Who else would be doing this? Why would random people start attacking Ryan Kavanaugh because of the lawsuit that you've been covering on your show for 2 years?
He accuses snark of. He'll just pretend that it isn't happening.
It's a numbers game, okay? Some people, obviously, from our audience are going to be take it too far and be inappropriate and say horrible things. This is not my fan base. So them.
What the cuck? I just peed in my basement. Yo, this guy nails Ryan's wife. Yikes. I'm confused. Is Ryan a cuck? Oh my god, dude.
Even trying to make it about our fan base is disingenuous and it's a fucking lie.
This is slightly old data, but one of the most popular subreddits among people who also post in H3 subreddit is a makeup snark page. And there's nothing wrong with that. Because the thing is, Ethan is a controversial figure with millions of followers. He's been involved in countless dramas and public feuds with others, and at that scale, criticism is inevitable. Some of it is going to be harsh. Some people might cross lines. But that doesn't mean there's a massive organized campaign against you. It just means you're notable and there's a lot of eyeballs on you. And I don't know how to protect someone like Ethan from every isolated incident of harassment on the internet, but I know that the answer is not silencing all of your critics. Now, some of you might be thinking, but Kilo, didn't these people send CPS?
Exactly. Ethan's solution is to just sue his way out of it. Sue his way out of criticism. Not gonna happen.
And skulls to his house? I don't blame Ethan for taking matters into his own hands. Well, let's see. In November of 2024, Ethan began threatening Reddit with legal action if he couldn't get H3 Snark banned from the website. In December, it was discovered that he had been weaponizing DMCA against them. In January, he finalized his plan.
EZZB says, I was scared of the H3 fanbase even when I was part of the fan. Honestly, the H3 fanbase is nothing compared to the Asmongold fanbase. Dude, Asmongold mentioned me, and speak of the devil, there he is right here in the background. I mentioned Asmongold once or twice, and I got way more harassment than I ever got from the H3 community. And a lot of the H3 community are now Asmongold fans, but like compared to Asmongold, H3 is nothing. H3 has been nothing. They've literally been shit in their criticism. There's sometimes like some of them can be annoying in the live chat, but like that's it. Asmongold, way more obsessive, way fucking worse. The H3 community fucking sucks. They're like a bunch of fucking idiotic children at this point. And whoever's left of them now, like, you know, they are the most obsessive ones, but if I'm just comparing, like, I've been in 2 high-profile beefs with 2 high-profile American Zionist disgusting content creators, Ethan Klein and Asmongold. Look at that. My first year of streaming, folks, I beefed with the top 2. Among the top 2. But that's my only point of reference. Asmongold audience, way worse than Ethan Klein audience. Speaking from personal experience.
To ultimately sue them for copyright infringement. Then in February, he began making vague threats of doxing and exposing the identities of the snark moderators. And the CPS and Skulls incidents didn't happen until March. On March 7th of 2025, the H3 podcast went live, where Ethan and Hila would discuss a Child Protective Services visit to their house that morning.
God, we just started the CPS part?
After an anonymous call that was placed a few days prior. The call was in response to a story Ethan told on this episode a few weeks earlier about his family having possibly contracted Giardia. After announcing what happened, Ethan followed up with a video on his main channel on March 10th, further discussing the CPS call, as well as angrily berating H3 Snark, Hasan, Bad Empanada, really anybody he could even remotely blame for the incident. He especially took issue with Denims.
There actually were some H3 fans that started stalking my LinkedIn and all of our LinkedIns. Nour's LinkedIn, Karine's LinkedIn, the whole crew's LinkedIns. And God, there was a post about someone wanting to try to get us fired. They're like, we're going to try to get these people fired for being anti-Semites. And I was like, you know, we live in Lebanon, right? And like, we're at war and like Israel is like bombing our country. So us shitting on Israel is not going to get us fired from any fucking job. Plus, our employers don't know who the fuck Ethan Klein is or what the fuck the H3 podcast is. But it was either like Destiny fans, but I remember talking about it on our show. There was a post that I found, someone being like, hey, we tried to look into their like employment, and then I remember all of us had the same person that had looked at our LinkedIn profiles. So that's the weirdest thing an H3 fan has done, was go through my LinkedIn and go through the whole crew's LinkedIn to see if they could get us in trouble. Joke's on them, no one would give a fuck here in Lebanon, but yeah.
Who he accused of encouraging her community to call
They
CPS.
thought I like worked in the States or something. We're gonna get him fired. It's like, yeah, good luck, dude. Everyone I work with fucking hates Israel.
Yes. The visit itself rightfully didn't translate to any long-term
Like I was high-fived at work. I was, you know, like, oh shit, you're beefing with this fucking Zionist dude. Let's fucking go. Show him who's boss. Like that's what my work was like. They were happy for me. Like, oh great, your channel's growing. People are discovering your channel because of this fucker. And people at my job knew how much I used to like H3. We once did a department-wide Teddy Fresh order because they used to always see me ordering Teddy Fresh and wearing Teddy Fresh at work. So once I was like, hey, I'm going to order you guys some shit. We bought matching hoodies. We bought matching color block hoodies, bro. One of my coworkers got one of the SpongeBob hoodies. I literally made my coworkers buy Teddy Fresh. How crazy is that?
Consequences for the Klein household, although Ethan maintains that this was a malicious and fraudulent attack on his family and that the call had no merit. He also claims that the caller impersonated somebody close to the Klein family to bolster the call's credibility.
Like when he first showed up, he's like, it's somebody that you know who made the report. And I'm like, no, okay. You could easily impersonate.
The CPS incident escalated Ethan's sense of victimhood in a pretty massive way, and he started lashing out at anyone he considered anywhere even close to responsible. One such person was Ian Joma, also known as iDubbbz. Ian is a former well-respected comedy creator turned not so well-respected failed event coordinator. He and Ethan used to occasionally collaborate on each other's channels and always appeared to maintain a positive relationship. But Ian and his wife Anissa over time also developed friendships with Hasan, Denims, and other similar creators. Because of these conflicting friendships, Ian largely avoided commenting on any of the Ethan and Hasan drama to this point, obviously preferring to stay out of it and just do his pretty boring podcast with his wife. But after the CPS visit, Ian and Anissa staying out of things was no longer an option for Ethan. He accused them of being cowards for not speaking up to defend him from the attacks that were coming from people they're associated with. The couple reiterated on their podcast on March 11th that they wanted to stay out of the conflict, adding that they don't condone or endorse any type of harassment that Ethan received.
We don't condone harassment.
We don't condone harassment of any kind.
Of any kind.
But Ethan's attacks on them continued, which led to iDubbbz releasing a pair of his famed content cop videos in April, with Ethan as the subject. These videos didn't get received very well, but I actually think there's a few good points in here, which we'll come back to in a second. For now, the important thing to remember is that the CPS call has become sort of the cornerstone of the victim narrative.
That content cop was pretty dope. Come on. The first iDubbbz content cop, and then everybody dancing, and Hasan dream. That was such a crazy surprise. Like, that was... I saw that live on fucking stream, like, in the States or something. I can't even remember. Was I there? Or was I here? I can't even remember. But that was fucking crazy. I think that was right before I traveled. They did that.
Ethan is selling. Anyone who criticizes Ethan's behavior, who questions his motivations, who requests more evidence for his claims, all he or any H3 fans have to say to them is,
rooting for generational debt on the people who made up stories about Ethan's children to bring CPS into the home. Don't agree with Hasan? We'll take your kids.
They tried to take his kids away, and the conversation gets shut down. But the problem with the way that people have framed this whole CPS thing is that it's essentially given Ethan this free pass to just say or do whatever he wants in response, no matter how dishonest it is. Let's get a sense of how CPS got called on the Klein household. Here's the clip.
Yeah, I remember the housekeeper was suing them for, like, apparently they fired her for like getting a surgery done or something.
That shit around.
Olive has Giardia, which is it's a bacterial infection in the intestines that makes you have diarrhea. Olive has this. Yeah, she came to us with it. Okay. She had diarrhea, so she has giardia. So we have her on an antibiotic, but we had to wait until Monday, which is today. We just got it today. Sonny's crawling around. He's putting everything in his mouth. He's at that age. He has giardia.
Oh shit.
Oh,
And now Ela has giardia.
Shut. For real?
And now I think this
Guys, no joke. My 2 cats ended up having giardia like a year ago or something. I adopted 2 cats, Nata and Maki, and yeah, they both had giardia. And it was so funny fucking talk. And when the vet looked at me and Demi was like, "Your cats might have giardia," we just looked at each other and we were fucking laughing because it's like we were watching the CPS giardia shit happening on like YouTube, and we're like, "Oh my god, like no one's gonna believe this." And like, the vet's like, "Why are you guys laughing?" We're like, "It's just someone we know also has giardia." It was so fucking funny.
Morning, I had diarrhea.
Oh my god.
What can I do to not get it? From
Yeah, I'm trying
to, because I'm not trying to get.
Do you ever crank the AC maybe?
It's extremely ridiculous to get. You have to ingest my poop.
Okay, so Ethan says in this clip that his dog has giardia, that his infant son has giardia, and that his wife has giardia. He then immediately says that it's difficult to contract, and in order to get sick, you would have to ingest his shit. So, I mean, the idea that...
Mikagino, I did not get sick. Just my cats were sick. I didn't get no giardia.
Ethan could have painted a picture for somebody here of a baby crawling around, putting dog shit in its mouth. It's really not like the craziest thing in the world. Like, it does kind of sound like that.
Olive has giardia. She had diarrhea. Sonny's crawling around. He's putting everything in his mouth. It's extremely ridiculous to get. You have to ingest my poop. His whole room was just wafting and the foulest diarrhea smell.
Dude.
And meanwhile, he is covered in low viscosity diarrhea.
Yeah, like my cats had to get on giardia medication, and when they were done with the medication, I had to like completely clean out their litter boxes, replace the litter bags, replace the litter in there. I had to like clean their butts, so I got like these pet-friendly wet wipes, and I was just like, after they were both done with the treatment, I remember, had to like wipe them and wipe their butts, and then replace all the litter and stuff.
You guys will not be getting giardia. It's not like that.
So yeah, Ethan told this story about parasites.
Wipe their little cat butts.
And dogs and babies being covered in shit, and his whole house smelling like flowing, frothy diarrhea. And yeah, it's just disgusting. So if you heard that story and took it at face value, you could understandably have come away from it with a little bit of concern. So obviously somebody called CPS, expressing concern about the sanitary conditions of the Klein household. Now before we go any further, the obvious question is, was the CPS call malicious harassment or genuine concern? And the answer to that question is, we don't know. I don't know, you don't know, and Ethan doesn't know. It could have been malicious, or it could have been someone being reckless or overzealous. But it also could have been someone who heard the story.
Yeah, like we really have no idea. It could have been some fucking annoying fan. It could have been the housekeeper. Some people are saying it might have been one of their doctors. Like if they took the kids to the doctor and the doctor's like, but again, then there was like a nurse I remember that came out and was like, listen, we get shit like this all the time. No doctor is going to call CPS on parents if their kids are crawling around, their babies, putting their hands in their mouth and whatever. Like shit like that's going to happen. Even though that nurse then ended up turning against, remember the nurse that was like defending Ethan about CPS? And I was like, kids put that shit in their mouth all the time. And then like 6 months later, she made an anti-age 3 TikTok, which we also reacted to. This shit's been insane. Why do I know all this stuff?
And genuinely believed the kids were in an unsanitary or unhealthy environment. And the thing is that ultimately, it doesn't actually matter whether the report was made in good or bad faith. Even if the Kleins are the victims of harassment here, they're still responsible for how they respond to it. And Ethan, despite having no idea who placed the call or what their intentions were, has accepted no responsibility for himself, lied about what happened, and dishonestly exploited the entire situation. One of the better points from Ian's content cut videos is that Ethan tends to abdicate any responsibility he has in protecting himself online, and he instead expects the world to protect him.
Now what Ethan does, instead of taking any responsibility for sharing too much on his live stream, is that he decides to attack specific creators like Denims and say she was the source of the CPS call. Part of my criticisms of Ethan initially was the openness. I think it's a problem that you were that open, Ethan.
And that's just true. Everyone kind of understands that the more about yourself that you put out there, the more you're exposing to the many insane people that exist on the internet. Ethan seems to understand this. He tries to limit sharing photos of his kids online, specifically for that reason.
I've literally given Ethan Klein credit for not showing photos of his kids. I think it is actually very cool of him to try his best to not have his kids in photos, in videos.
But when it comes to the CPS visit, Ethan has spent the months since it happened, lashing out at Reddit, other creators.
Yeah, at this point, I guess they've given up on that. They're showing their kids pretty regularly on social media, on the podcast, you know, etc. You know, that's a choice, certainly. By the way, guys, I don't know how long the stream is going to go. We've already been streaming for 2 hours and 48 minutes. Do you guys want this to be an extra long stream? Should we try to watch like half of this video? I feel like I could do another hour. I feel like I could crank out another hour, do like maybe a 4-hour stream. You know, I got nothing going on. It's a Monday night. What do you guys think? Do you guys want to spend another hour here? Maybe more? Or are you guys getting tired of this? Are you guys getting bored? How's everybody feeling in the chat right now? Should I make a poll? Start a poll? Should I react more? Start poll. Should I keep reacting? Do you guys want a long night stream? All right, let's fucking go. Let's fucking go. We're gonna go for another at least 1 hour, maybe 2. Little mini marathon stream tonight, folks. Let's go. It's just us. It's just us. Big city life. Me try to get by. Oh, no matter what, me try. Big city life. Be my horse and my what are the lyrics for Big City Life? I played that song at the beginning, pretending to know all the. A big city life. Me try. Forget by. Pressure nah. Ease up no matter how hard me try. Oh, wait. What? Big city life. Hear my heart have no base. And right now, Babylon dip on me case. People in a show. All lined in a row. We just push on by. It's funny how hard we try. You guys want to sing with me? Take a moment to relax before you do anything rash. Don't you want to know me? Be a friend of mine. I'll share some wisdom with you. Wait, Master Door says borderline racist? Well, that's how the guy sings. Don't you ever get lonely from time to time. Don't let the system get you down. Big city life. Me try forget by. Pressure nah. Ease up no matter how. Wait, what? Pressure nah. Ease up no matter how. Me try. Big city life. Hear my heart have no base. And right now, Babylon dip on me case. What? If am I supposed to sing this like a white person? Am I supposed to be like big city life? Me try, forget by, pressure not, ease up no matter how hard me try. Big city life, hear my heart have no base. And right now, Babylon, deep on me case. No, it's got to be Babylon, dip on me case. It's the only reason why we sing the song is to say dip on me case. Don't you want to know me? Be a friend of mine, friend of mine. I'll share some wisdom with you. Okay, enough of this. We'll play some more of this song later, folks. Can you get an Israeli version? Hell no. Hell no.
Anybody who he can get away with trying to hold responsible, and he has not for 1 second stopped and examined how he might have been responsible. Never has he said, man, I told that story in kind of a stupid way.
It's not cultural appropriation, it is cultural appreciation.
No, maybe I shouldn't talk about my kid's medical conditions in front of thousands of people. Nothing. I mean, Ethan spent almost the entire year leading up to the CPS visit complaining about the internet and how many crazy haters he has. He even told a Giardia story in an episode.
I'm going to leave the room for 1 second. I'm going to keep the video playing. I am in this video for 1 second. I think it is fair use for me to do this. Actually, I'm not going to chair react. 1 second. Babylon upon me case.
Where he was addressing those people. Idubs also pointed out that there were members of H3's own audience watching the story live who were making comments about the Klein household being covered in shit. And the point of that shouldn't be to say that one of them might have called CPS. The point is that even Ethan's own fans thought the story sounded a little crazy. So what do you think the people who are not your fans are going to hear? You know, the ones that the episode was literally about, that Ethan must have known would eventually see it. Personally, I just don't give Ethan a lifetime pass for saying whatever he wants all the time. At some point, you are somewhat responsible for protecting yourself on the internet. And when people say things like this,
I think it's a problem that you are that open, Ethan.
Why have I disappeared, folks? Why am I gone? Is he here or is he not here? What's happening? Balzac, what's happening here? We got big ups to Balzac. Heck yeah. What did Balzac say? Busted Balzac, my father's name. Balzac is my father's name. I'm Balzac. You can't bust Balzac.
They're not saying that Ethan is solely to blame. They're just saying he's acting like a moron. But Ethan's been given the green light by everybody to not only avoid any responsibility for himself, but also just lie about what happened. His claim is basically this. He told the Giardia story on stream in February. A few weeks later, Bad Banana published this video about it, where he maliciously lies and twists the story to make Ethan look bad. After that, Denims reacted to Bad Banana's video on her stream, but she didn't push back at it enough and spread his lies to her community. Her chat responded negatively to these lies, and then
Did you say Bad Banana maliciously spread lies about Ethan? What? Is Kilo being serious here?
almost all of them started.
Guys, if you guys want me to sing songs in Hila's voice, I don't know. Shit. We need 50 gifted members. I'm kidding. No, I'm kidding. Let me try. Let me see. A big city life, and they try to get by. Oh my god. This is. Let me get the lyrics. Let me get the lyrics. Why are you guys doing this to me? Big city life lyrics. A big city life, and they try to get by. Pressure now, ease up no matter how hard me try. Big city life, hey my heart have no base. And right now Babylon deep on my case. People in a show, our silence means something. All lines in a row, we just push on by. It's funny how hard we try. Take a moment to relax before you do anything rash. Don't you want to know me? Be a friend of mine. I'll share some wisdom with you. Don't you ever get lonely from time to time. Don't let the system get you down. Okay, that's enough of that. That's enough of that.
That, Denims reacted to Bad Banana's video on her stream, but she didn't push back at it enough and spread his lies to her community. Her chat responded negatively to these lies, and then almost all of them started suggesting that CPS needed to be called. Denims did not moderate or discourage this behavior, and then one of her viewers must have called CPS. That's more or less Ethan's story. He calls this the big CPS lie.
She participated in the CPS lie, Child Protective Service lie. I explained it on the podcast, but the truth of the matter is, it's all a lie.
Don't you want to know me? Be a friend of mine. I'll share some wisdom with you. Don't you ever get lonely from time to time. Ethan, our silence means something.
So let's examine this narrative, and let's start with who he blames most directly for the CPS visit.
Denims endorses this clearly, as you can see, that it seems like she's directly responsible for CPS coming to my house in the morning.
But what did Denims actually do? Well, she watched this video on stream, and yeah, she expressed concern about what she was hearing. But expressing concern about something you hear is not the same as a call to action. It's not even the same as endorsing that action. Denims doesn't even mention CPS at any point during her coverage, and she never suggests a call to action of any kind. She just says the story is concerning, and that parasites can be dangerous for infants.
I mean, much like many other illnesses, it's very...
Yeah, why did Denims end up getting the blame for this? Right? She ended up getting the blame for this? Like, yeah, Denims called CPS. She did CPS. Guys, she did CPS. What does that even fucking mean? She did CPS. He's lost him. And I want to see Ethan try and have an adult conversation with strangers that don't know anything about his podcast. And how long would it take him to mention Snark, CPS, iDubbbz, Denims? Like, you know what I mean? How long will it take Ethan? How long can Ethan sit there and have a regular conversation about, like, the weather? You know, politics, sports. He's like, it's just goddamn. You guys know iDubbbz? Like, he just wants to talk about this stuff.
Very, very dangerous when infants get the same
stupid, sexy Hasan
sicknesses that adults get.
Which is technically true, by the way. But the point is that you can question somebody's parenting and not necessarily be saying that you think they deserve to have their kids taken away. And that's an important distinction, because after Denims threatened to sue Ethan for defamation, he started shifting the goalposts quite a bit.
I acknowledged Denims had denounced herself or anyone in her community making contact with CPS. And I do not believe Denims made a direct call to action to her audience to contact CPS, obviously, right?
Okay, so now we've moved on from this.
Denims endorses this. She's directly responsible.
And the claim is now that she essentially primed her community to call CPS.
The point is not that you instructed your audience to contact CPS. The point is that you propagated the false statements that led to this incident. You turned a blind eye to your chat, urging people to contact CPS.
Guys, if you have not liked the stream yet, make sure you click that like button.
kids crawl around and eat shit, and her whole entire chat is saying to call CPS.
In his video about the CPS call, Ethan shows a cutout of Denim's chat during her coverage of the Giardia story. The cutout shows numerous chatters expressing concerns about the Klein's kids, with some mentioning CPS. The way Ethan presents this is as though Denim's chat was universally responding this way.
Notice the chat is almost in complete universal agreement. Call CPS. Call child endangerment. CPS, social services. Bro needs to unironically call CPS. That's child endangerment, etc., etc. I'll let the chat play for you, but you can see just how crazed this community is. And once again, this is Denim's.
Crazed. This community is crazed. Call CPS. I mean, Ethan, when you're on camera talking about how your kids are crawling around and there's shit everywhere and they're like getting Giardia, and like, listen, again, I do the nurse that did release the video of like kids are gonna crawl and put shit in their mouths, like, I don't think they should have gotten CPS called. And I was one of the only ones who was like, the CPS call isn't cool. And I think the H3 community, even though they fucking hate my guts, they're actually like, at least Millhouse never defended the CPS call. And look, to this day, I think, look, there's a lot to criticize about Ethan and Hila. I think they care about their kids. I think they love their kids. I think they're probably pretty decent parents at the end of the day, just like most other parents out there. Are they a little negligent with picking up after their dogs poop? Yes. Do I think their kids would be better off taken away from Ethan and Hila and like put into like foster care or something? Of course not. You know what I mean? But like, at least Millhouse denounced the CPS call. It's like, okay, yeah. I still think Ethan and Hila are Zionists. So...
chat, and it's pretty much 100% of the comments saying call CPS on them.
But what Ethan is showing here is in fact not 100% of the chat. This is a curated selection of chat messages that Ethan got from this Reddit post. In her response, Denims did the math, and between the first and last of the 65 messages that Ethan showed in his video, Denims had almost 1,000 messages sent in her chat, meaning the messages Ethan showed as evidence of her entire community being whipped up into a frenzy were only 7% of the messages sent during her coverage. And I also wanted to point out that several of the comments in that cutout, they don't even have anything to do with CPS, and they're very similar to a lot of messages from Ethan's own chat during the Giardia story.
Kaka just all over the place. Hila and Sunny adjusted your poop. Yeah, like, yeah, it's the same. Yeah, the people in their chat were saying the same exact thing. The kid ate the dog poo-poo somehow. No. Yeah, it's the same shit.
So it would be pretty dishonest to include these as evidence of wrongdoing, meaning the actual total of CPS-related messages in Denim's chat is even lower than this. But Ethan doubles down on this outright false presentation.
Damn, the guy calculated the amount of CPS-related chats in the live chats? That's how far we're going now? Holy fuck. Holy math.
I'm not exaggerating when I say literally every comment is call CPS.
Yeah, no shit. It's edited. I don't know if Ethan knew this was an edited selection, or if he just saw something that helped him out and didn't bother to verify it. But he immediately presented it as fact.
Yeah, they don't bother to verify shit. Literally, they'll react to things that their subreddit will upload. Their crew doesn't even bother to do research. Like once when Ethan and their crew invited me on to like debate him on their podcast, I did a whole fucking stream responding why I didn't want to go on their podcast or what my conditions were for going on their podcast. It was very clear, everything. They ended up reacting to like a 12-second clip that someone had cut out and put on their Reddit that was just me going over everything and like in summary and like, why is he mentioning this? It's not clear. Anyways, whatever. We don't want him here. Like, it's like, dude, did you guys bother doing any fucking research? No wonder they fired Morgan. It's like they're not even doing research. He's paying 4 people for research. No one's even doing it. They're letting their subreddit do it for free.
And use it to bolster his side of the story. And he tried to stand on it when he got challenged.
Love made a good point. You said, is this every comment? I believe this is a live feed of the chat. This isn't edited.
What about the top right? I thought these were
No,
selected.
it's this. I think when you full screen it. No, this is an edit. It's a cutout of the full chat.
Brew George asks, can you make a tutorial on how to make a Blender video? I don't know how to use Blender. Why would you think I know how to use Blender, Brew George? Have I ever said I've ever used Blender? I'm going to build Lego instead of doing that.
It's just enlarged over the screen, yeah.
You know what? We'll just make it all up. We'll make the whole thing up. We'll document the picture. We'll make it up.
So yeah, this was nowhere near her whole chat. But even if Ethan thinks that Denim still should have moderated better, which I can probably agree with, there's a pretty big difference between a failure to moderate and being causally responsible for any subsequent action. Denims does have an obligation to try to mitigate harm, but failing to fulfill that obligation doesn't mean that she caused the CPS call. Denims didn't cause the call. Someone else did. So when it comes to responsibility, what's really left? Well, some people claim that Bad Empanada is notoriously bad faith and malicious.
Bacon and Megs, who's a member, thank you so much, Bacon and Megs, in chat says, maybe I'm a dick for saying it, but I don't think there was anything traumatic to his kids about the CPS call. It's not like they were falsely removed or something. Well, maybe not to the kids. The kids probably didn't even understand or realize what was happening. It's probably insulting to the parents. Like, I would feel offended if CPS came to visit my home if I felt like I hadn't done anything wrong and like I felt that it was a wrongful visitation. So the kids, I don't think the kids, as far as they're concerned, it's probably just like a conversation with like an adult that they don't know. Maybe it's a little bit awkward or they're a little bit nervous, but again, they shouldn't have to go through that in my opinion. But it's more offensive for like Ethan and Hila to be like, who the fuck called CPS on us? Who's trying to take our kids away? So while I think the kids are going to end up fine, they might not even remember this, you know, hopefully later it'll be like just this thing that happened and like, you know, it's nothing. It's more Ethan and Hila that got offended and got insulted and that wanted revenge. You know, I don't think the kids were really affected. It was more them. And it's kind of like humiliating because they wouldn't shut up about it too. Like CPS got called on them. They made a massive deal about it for weeks and they like publicized it and like it makes them look like bad parents. Like also like maybe keep that shit to yourselves. Like they had to make it into content. Like, you know what I mean? People are accusing us of being bad parents. We're going to stream about it all day. It's like, do you have to stream about this? Like, should you talk about CPS visiting your home? Shouldn't that have remained like a secret? I don't know.
So Denim shouldn't have platformed him in the first place. But I mean, we're just getting so far away from any true culpability here. Like, what, Denims is responsible for the call because she watched a video from a guy who might be known to lie, and then a tiny portion of her chat responded to the lies, and Denims didn't delete every single one of them, and then days later the call gets placed, which could have been anybody, but we just assumed that it was Denim's fault because, I don't know. Like, is this really the standard of responsibility that we're gonna hold people to? At that point, Denims is so detached from the action of calling CPS itself, it doesn't really seem fair to blame her for it. But you know what?
Oh, is that what he means? Politics, is that a reference to the early YouTube videos of the guy using his blender to blend normal household things to prove his product can handle anything? Is that what, who said that comment earlier too? Brew George, was that what you were talking about, Brew George? Brew George? Was that what you meant?
Let's accept Ethan's entire premise here. Let's say Denims is responsible for not moderating enough and for platforming these harmful lies without pushing back. What are the supposed lies? What does Ethan claim Bad Empanada said?
Oh, I completely misunderstood. My bad, Brew Georgie. My bad, Brew Georgie.
That was false.
Denims uncritically, that's you, played a clip of George Janitis, the human STD, a person whose Denim knows is clearly biased against me and a prolific spreader of misinformation. In the video Denims watched, George Janitis, the human STD, claims that there was dog shit all over my home, that I just leave it on the floor.
Okay, so first supposed lie. And we have to point out that, again, this is something that Ethan's own audience intuited during the Giardia story. Ethan also has a documented history of talking about having dog poop in the house.
My dogs are not extraordinarily trained, right? They run around, they play a lot, and sometimes, especially the little dogs, go potty inside. So admittedly, my dogs are not the best trained, right? I admit that. You think my fruit is bringing...
I think you're half correct. It's half the fruit, and the other half is the dog shitting.
Love
AB's old mouth.
Better than Alfredo. I do, but I've stepped in their shit multiple times.
How many times do we get poop inside? What's going on here?
Almost every day that they're here.
Oh, look, he's wearing the...
In their shit multiple times.
How many times do we get poop?
Cabela hunting shirt. Look at that. Remember that grizzly, folks? That good old grizzly on that video game cover.
What's going on here?
Almost every day that they're here.
It was a delivery guy. He stepped in shit.
But
Holy shit.
Oh my god.
I stepped in shit and tracked it all over.
It's like a super, how do you call it? Like strings, you know, from one of the dogs. I was just passing my foot over it and felt a bump. It's old, by the way. It's hard.
So I'm sorry, it's defamatory to suggest that your house was covered in dog poop? Okay, moving on.
That my house is just covered in dog shit. My kids crawl around in dog shit.
You kind of made it sound like that.
Olive has Giardia. She had diarrhea. Sonny's crawling around. He's putting everything in his mouth. He's at that age.
Okay, next.
Dude, every time I hear Giardia, I think of Galia.
Intimates that my kids either eat dog shit or get in contact with it with their hands.
No, actually, you intimated that.
It can go on surfaces and stuff, so Olive chews everywhere. She's there. So, Sonny, it makes sense why he got it. You have to ingest my poop.
That is literally you saying that if Sonny had Giardia, he would have gotten it from contact with poop-contaminated surfaces.
That my children contracted a parasite called Giardia from the dog shit that is all over my house.
Okay, even if the dog poop wasn't literally all over his house, Ethan consistently likes to pretend that it's an evil snark narrative that his child did contract Giardia.
It actually turns out when we got all of the poop tests back, he never had Giardia even, and that's why they called CPS. Because my 10-month-old baby had diarrhea. Sonny's crawling around, he's putting everything in his mouth, he's at that age. He has Giardia.
He has Giardia.
So I'm just kind of struggling here. Where are the defamatory lies?
She believes his lies, his defamatory statements. You did not disavow, you did not disclose the credibility of Bad Empanada. You uncritically platformed and agreed with the statements that I was putting my kids in danger.
We're talking about CPS, which anyways, to begin with, 1, I don't condone. 2, I've never condoned it, and you will not be able to find a clip of me saying, yes, we should do this, because it doesn't exist.
Just for the record, I don't think Ethan deserves to have his kids taken away. I think calling CPS over something like this was pretty crazy, and I think he's probably a perfectly fine dad. But that being said, the malicious lies that his entire victim narrative revolves around are just things that he himself said. And this is
I
what
kind of agree with this take ultimately. Like,
Ethan does. He puts things out there himself, and then if you use them against him, he just
like, just like as a content creator as well. Like, I'm uncomfortable talking about people's kids. Like, when the CPS thing happened, I was like, I don't even want to cover this. Like, I don't want to be here talking about someone's little kids. And even like, it's weird, you know. Like, I don't want to talk about anyone's kids. So like, to me, it wasn't I was like, let's focus on them being Zionists and saying all this Zionist shit. Like, now you're kind of like letting them off the hook because they're like going to be like, oh, we're victims and they're trying to take our kids away, and they're going to move all the focus to that. So I always felt the CPS thing was kind of a waste of time, honestly. And it was moving the eye off the ball. Now, unless if it was really the housekeeper or like the family doctor that called CPS and it was someone with genuine concern, then sure. But if it was just like someone trying to like troll them, I felt like it moved the conversation away from what I was interested in talking about, which was debunking their Zionism. And I had no interest in talking about their parenting methods behind the scenes. I don't want to talk about like their family life. I don't want to talk about their personal life. I want to talk about what they're saying on stream about Zionism, about Gaza, about Palestine, about Israel. And I don't want to sit here and be like, are they good parents? Do they raise their kids well? Should their kids be taken away? That's not the stuff that I want to be talking about on this show. It's weird. Same about like Shredder and people speculating of like, oh, I don't want to talk about that stuff. That's not why I'm here, you know?
Liar. He makes you
If other people want to talk about that and that's like their content, then hey, absolutely go for it. I was just like not interested in covering that stuff at all.
Trouble with his jokes, and then when you complain about it, he says you're just trying to ruin his life. He spends months expressing incendiary political opinions, and then when you criticize him, he just says that you're probably...
Richie Gecko says, hey, first time catching a stream in a long time. Can't wait for H3 Slopple. Welcome back, Richie. Nice to have you here. If it's been a long time, we're happy to have you here. Also, I did 2 live streams yesterday about Ethan and the poker tournament. So if you want some more H3 Slop to catch up on later and have some fun, we got 2 live streams yesterday revolving that. A solo stream, and then I did another one with James for Better Left Unsaid. Crazy night.
You're racist. He fumbles a story about his family's medical conditions and then calls you a liar for repeating it back to him. Ultimately, one person is responsible for the CPS call. Not Hasan, not Denims, not Reddit. One random person that Ethan will likely never identify because CPS calls are anonymous. But notice how this incident's been used. Suddenly, everyone who criticizes Ethan is responsible for trying to take his kids. Same thing with the skulls. One unhinged person is now proof of a coordinated attack. And this very convenient framing is deliberate. Ethan's been going after Hasan, Snark, and anyone else in his crosshairs for months, but I don't like what they said about me doesn't play quite as well as they tried to hurt my family. So now every grudge that he already had gets filtered through these incidents. Remember that Ethan was already going after all these people. The CPS and Skulls incidents just gave him the justification he needed to escalate. On June 19th, Ethan announced in a video titled, I'm suing...
Now we're moving on to the lawsuits. Lawsuit. Hidden Iron says in all caps, Ethan is responsible for the CPS visit. Well, I mean, look, he's certainly at least partly responsible for talking about the Giardia thing on stream. That could have been, you know, so he's maybe at least partly responsible. Like if he hadn't talked about that, and if that hadn't happened, or if he at least hadn't mentioned it, could have gone unnoticed. Who knows?
These 3 creators that he had registered his content nuke video on Hasan with the US Copyright Office, a move that federally protects the work from infringers. He went on to...
Sorry guys, I'm gonna eat for a second, and I don't want you guys to look at my face.
To name Denims, Frogan, and Caseytron as the 3 targets for newly filed copyright infringement lawsuits. To me, this is sort of the culmination of Ethan's feud with the Hasan sphere. He says he was laying a trap for certain creators, and claims he knew they'd react to his video with minimal commentary and essentially steal his content.
It's not that I wanted these people to steal my video. It's that I knew they would. I knew they would watch the entire video, add little to no commentary, react to it instantly, giving them no time to form an opinion.
I don't even know what that last part means, by the way. Like, what, they should have waited a few days to watch your video? Like, what was he even trying to say there? Regardless, his cases do seem pretty strong. Specifically, Casey Tron and Frogan's reactions to the content nuke appear pretty short and lacking in meaningful commentary. And the primary defense against copyright infringement, which is fair use, likely wouldn't work for them. But in classic Ethan Klein fashion, he's been extremely dishonest about his intentions and what these lawsuits are actually about.
Guys, Karine and Nour, I'm going to try to get them here Thursday. I sent out a text today on the group chat being like, let's do a group stream on Thursday. So hopefully, I think Karine said she's in. So we'll see if Nour can come. But I think Thursday is going to be the day. And I hope to have Thursdays like we used to. Every Thursday have the crew here for a crew stream. No matter what the topic is, we'll just have them here. Why not?
Starters, Ethan claims in his video that his entire mission is to fight against content theft and stand up to lazy React streamers.
Why should these content thieves, essentially...
I miss having them here too, guys. Like, to me, the channel is so much better when with variety. Like, that's why I like having Better Left Unsaid every couple of weeks with James and Comrade Casey. We change it up. I like having the crew here. I like when Demi's here. Whenever we can have... I don't want... If it's just me every single day, you know, streaming solo, it could get a little bit boring. So... I want to try to mix it up a little bit more, and then that's where the other channel, the second channel, the Lego stuff comes in, the gaming, some IRL streams. Hopefully, it's well balanced, and it's not just me sitting in front of my computer talking all day. You know, the more you stream, the harder it is to make it to make things varied. So I am sorry about that.
Get more views than the author of the video, which in a lot of cases was happening. I mean, people don't like injustice, and we all see this, and no, it's not right.
But his criteria for who he decided to sue was a little more specific than just those who watched the content nuke in full.
There were a few people that went above and beyond to commit copyright infringement. These people not only violated all of the principles of fair use, they also did it maliciously. And that's the part that really got me. It's the stated malicious intent to steal.
And I suggest you all watch it through other people as well.
If you enjoyed not giving any views to that terrible video, follow, subscribe.
A lot of people have been wanting to watch this.
I still don't get how Denim's saying if you enjoyed not giving views to that terrible video, like, I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on.
Without necessarily supporting Ethan Klein.
So Ethan is targeting people who maliciously reacted by openly stating that they wanted to avoid supporting his channel. And to a lot of people, that makes sense. Go after the people who were trying to harm your channel. But the problem is that both legally and logically, the concept of a quote malicious reaction is kind of fucking incoherent. So legally, any focus on malice in a copyright lawsuit would be a misapplication of copyright law. In US copyright law, especially when arguing for fair use, intent or malice has pretty much nothing to do with whether infringement has actually occurred. The primary test for fair use focuses on 4 factors, mainly whether the work has been sufficiently transformed by adding new meaning or commentary. But intent or malice is not one of those 4 factors. Someone could be completely unaware that material they're using is even copyrighted, and they can still be found guilty of infringement. Malice might come into play later when determining the—
Yeah, that's my thing. Like, no one even knew this thing was fucking copyrighted. Like, had they known, like, hey, this is, like, for example, people know not to fucking watch The Dark Knight on stream because it's copyrighted. It's a movie, you know that it's protected under a specific set of copyright laws, and your video will get taken down in your channel. Like, if people had known that Ethan had done this to his video, they would have maybe even not even reacted. So the fact that the whole thing was like he literally set a trap, like, isn't that fucked up? Like, can you, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, people didn't even have the full information of what it was they were reacting to. And it was also a piece of content that Ethan was publicizing for months and hyping up for months. And he wanted people to react to it. And then the next day he was like, look at all of the views that our content nuke got, and everyone's reacting to it, and that's what we want, and we want people to, like, we want this to be spread around, and we want this and we want that. He just wanted to sue these people because he doesn't like them, because he wants to get to Hasan, and he can't get to Hasan directly, so he wants to sue people around Hasan and hurt Hasan's friends and the people that like Hasan, all to put pressure on Hasan, whether it's financial pressure or social pressure, by having people being like, hey, Hasan, why don't you, you know, pay for their lawsuits? Why don't you support them financially? Like, all that shit. That was all super deliberate from Ethan. And yeah, that's why he was going after everyone else and not Hasan himself. Coward.
Damages, but legally, it's completely irrelevant to whether anyone's guilty of copyright infringement. And logically, Ethan's focus on malice doesn't really make sense either. Look at it this way. If somebody steals your property, whatever they say they're doing isn't really relevant. If someone steals a bike from your front yard and rides away saying, it's okay, I'm not stealing it, I'm just riding it, They're still stealing your bike. They're receiving all the benefits of theft, and you're experiencing all the harm of it, regardless of what they said they were doing. With React content, it's the same thing.
And how can you register? Yeah, like Drax says the content nuke is full of clips of other people's content. How can you register something with the what was it, like Congress or whatever the fuck? Where did you register that thing? When it's mainly mainly consists of other people's stuff. Like, you can't register my own fucking content in your fucking content nuke. Are you fucking shitting me? Like, what the fuck?
Watch someone's entire video on stream. You've taken their content and given your audience a version they can watch instead of the original. Whether you say I'm stealing your viewers or you say I love this creator doesn't change what you're doing. The only thing that matters here is whether or not your coverage adds enough to the original video to make it a fundamentally different product, which would mean you're no longer stealing. And furthermore, everyone who reacts to an entire video on stream with minimal
So he's saying even if you're on camera openly saying like, hey, I would rather you guys watch this and give me views instead of watching it there, that it still can count as fair use as long as you react to the video appropriately and the content is considered transformative enough. But Ethan calls that creating a market replacement, and he's going after the whole market replacement thing. So what's that angle?
Knows that that's what's happening. They know their audience is watching through them instead of going to the original. That's not a secret. That's how the genre works. So if somebody knows they're stealing viewers and they choose to do it anyway, isn't that literally the definition of malice? So then what's the difference between what these three women did and anyone else who gave a low-effort reaction to the content nuke? Well, materially, there isn't one. All of them willfully chose to deprive Ethan's channel of potential viewers. The only difference is Denims, Frogan, and Caseytron said those words out loud. I do want to briefly point out that I'm not even really sure that Denims or Caseytron did in fact openly state an intent to steal views. I know Ethan's convinced everyone that that's what happened, but look at what they actually said. Denims responded to a chatter saying they wanted to watch the content nuke through someone else, and simply confirms that she is in fact going to react.
Yeah, exactly.
Which isn't really malicious.
The person, like the chatter said, we're relying on you to stay alive so we don't give more views to the nuke. She's literally that's what I said. She's responding to a chatter. So her saying, yeah, I'm going to stream it since he confirmed it's coming out today. And I probably said something very similar.
At the end of the video, she makes the comment from earlier. If you enjoyed not giving any views to that terrible video, follow, subscribe, etc. That's not really malicious intent either. The video is already over, and it's simply an acknowledgement that some people were there for that reason. Same thing with Caseytron. A lot of people have been wanting to watch this without necessarily supporting Ethan Klein. That's not really a statement of intent, it's just kind of a fact. And that's all she said. So is this really the—
Exactly, and I said the same exact thing. She's like, hey, a lot of people don't want to watch Ethan on his channel. We're going to be watching it here. Cool, yeah. Same.
Saying they're trying to steal Ethan's views? I'm not really convinced of that. They seem more like statements of awareness about the market for boycotting Ethan Klein's channel. But let's leave that aside. Let's say these were explicit statements of awareness about the market for boycotting Ethan Klein's channel. But let's leave that aside. Let's say these were explicit statements of malicious intent. There's another creator who Ethan is not suing, who did the exact same thing. XQC proudly admitted that he is stealing Ethan's content during his reaction.
I actually admitted watching it. I admitted watching it. People think reacting on stream? No, watching it. I'm not reacting to this. I'm watching this. What about it?
If Ethan actually cared about lazy React content, XQC—
Damn, I did not even know this. That's a pretty good fucking catch. I'm sure this was— someone must have pointed this out before, but this is the first time I see XQC straight up saying, I'm not going to react to the shit. I'm just going to watch it. Oh my God. Oh, dude, this needs to be involved in the lawsuit. This needs to be involved in Denim's defense. This needs to be in Frogan's defense. This right here. And then also include what Ethan said about XQC. Like, no, XQC is fine. His reaction is fine. I don't mind his reaction. It's what you guys did, stating that you were planning on. You have to show both. You have to show this, and you have to show Ethan then waving away XQC's reaction as just being completely fine and normal.
I actually admitted watching it. I admitted watching it. People think reacting on stream? No, watching it. I'm not reacting to this. I'm watching this. What about it?
If Ethan actually cared about lazy React content, XQC is a prime example of somebody he should be going after. He reacted to the content nuke in full with minimal commentary. He's got a massive audience, and he's openly admitted he doesn't care about intellectual property. To Ethan.
So in that regard, do you care at all about like IP or copyright? Does that matter to you?
No.
It doesn't matter.
Well, if flat out doesn't.
During that same debate, Ethan specifically called out XQC for using deceptive thumbnails, taking the original creator's thumbnail and slapping his face on it to confuse audiences and siphon views.
The fact that you're using the same title and the same thumbnail is so parasitic, it's so shady. You are only doing that to siphon off views and confuse people. There's no other reason for that.
But that's exactly what XQC did with the content nuke. By Ethan's own standards, XQC should be the first person he would go after. But when he watches him proudly admitting to stealing—
We sadly use this same technique of thumbnails, but I don't like— I try to wait till the video, for the most part, is out for a few days at least, and has gotten the bulk of its views before I even react to it. So how long has this video been out?
his property. He has only...
It's been 4 days, you know? So I feel like, you know, it's been a decent amount of time. But yeah, I should probably find a better way of doing thumbnails. I also, like, Nour does so many thumbnails for the channel. So I find this to be, like at least you don't have to work on a crazy thumbnail because we're just doing a react. So it's like a way to give her kind of a break. But yeah, I should probably also make some different thumbnails.
Only nice things to say.
I'm not reacting to this. I'm watching this. What about it?
And listen, I respect it, man. I acknowledge you.
We hear you.
I acknowledge you as the king of this shit.
So is Ethan just a pussy who won't go after someone that has the money to fight back? Yes. But more importantly, this shows that the lawsuits have nothing to do with malice or lazy react content or protecting intellectual property. This is just a targeted attack on specific people that Ethan doesn't like, which is not really what the court system is meant for. And of the people Ethan is suing, Denims is the clearest example of just how bad faith he's being here. I mean, Ethan spends his entire announcement video talking about the harm of lazy react streamers, like people who walk away from the video and leave it playing.
The problem seems to have only gotten worse. You have people like Hasan Piker paving the way of fair use with what's known as chair reacts, when Hasan gets up, disappears for an extended period of time, and leaves the video playing for his chair. Mr. Chair, they call it.
But Denim's reaction to the content nuke was nothing like that. The content nuke itself is less than 2 hours long, and Denim's reaction to it is almost 4 hours long. And according to Ethan's own standard, that should qualify as being transformative.
My reacting to Ian's content cop, which I finished in, my total reaction was probably, what, like 5 hours or something in total? Maybe less?
I would say this is a pretty transformative reaction. We have been reacting for, God, almost 3 hours. In 17 minutes, it's going to be 3 hours of reacting. And we've gone through 1 hour and 18 minutes. This is what I call some transformative fucking content right here. What do you guys think of this reaction, huh? Intense reacting to everything. Pausing. Adding some context. Talking about some random shit sometimes. Don't you guys love this?
And his was an hour and a half. I think that sounds pretty reasonable. That's like taking 2 times more than the original runtime, which seems like a good amount to contribute to have proper commentary, right?
So again, by his own measure of what fair use is, Denim sufficiently transformed his video, which should mean she didn't really steal anything. So why then is Ethan still suing her? Ethan had a problem. He wanted to sue Denims, but as of right now, there really isn't that much legal precedent for full-length live react content like this. So it's pretty unclear whether Denims' reaction to the content nuke would legally be found to be an infringement on copyright, especially given the length and added commentary. And because Ethan couldn't know for sure, he decided to hedge.
Some of you guys out there sweating?
He didn't just register the content nuke with the US Copyright Office. He also registered the countdown stream that led up to it on the H3 podcast, which Denims did watch live. And her reaction to this countdown stream is far less likely to fall under fair use. But the problem is this countdown stream doesn't seem like it's what Ethan was talking about when he expressed wanting to protect people's content. In his announcement video, he repeatedly mentions long-form content and uses Lamino.
Wait, the countdown stream was also counted and she reacted to that and he's not going to count that as fair use?
You guys out there sweating?
He didn't just register the content nuke with the US Copyright Office. He also registered the countdown stream that led up to it on the H3 podcast, which Denims did watch live. And her reaction to this countdown stream is far less likely to fall under fair use. But the problem is this countdown stream doesn't seem like it's what...
So he's also suing people for the fucking countdown stream? Are you fucking shitting me? Dude, what a fucking loser. What a fucking, like, narc. What a fucking asshole, dude. What a villain he's become. Truly the villain of YouTube, and he's genuinely trying to, like, stop and react content. Again, after Ethan made a fortune reacting to other people online, now he just wants to ruin it for everyone else and fucking dip out and just fucking disappear as his final fucking act. Oh my... Dude, his face looks so fucking evil, too, with that fucking beard that he had and those eyes right here. Dude, my God.
Ethan was talking about when he expressed wanting to protect people's content. In his announcement video, he repeatedly mentions long-form content and uses Lamino, whose videos likely take weeks or months to make, as an example of unfairness.
What if I could make a long-form, irresistible piece of content that I knew that these streamers couldn't resist, they couldn't avoid the temptation of watching it the second it was published?
So he's clearly making it sound like he's talking about video essays and things with high production quality, not some countdown stream. He specifically talks about Denims here as though she reacted to the content nuke itself with no commentary.
I knew they would watch the entire video, add little to no commentary. After being gone for a few minutes, she returns and then sits silently.
How can you even register a live stream? Like, he registered it after the fact? Like, how it was a live stream. How is the live stream for the countdown registered in the Library of Congress if it hasn't happened and then you're reacting to a live stream? And then what if you register the thing after the fact, then the reaction that someone did while it was live and not registered, that is now not fair use? Like, how the... What? Does that even work? How can you register A live piece of content. The countdown was live. Am I crazy? Am I missing something? Or did I misunderstand what the video was saying? But he was saying that Ethan also registered. But how can you register a live stream? He's registering them as a feature film. I get that for the content nuke. But the other one was a live stream. You know? You can upload any video file. So he did it later. He registered it months later, but that's so fucked. That's so slimy. Like even registering the content nuke and doing it secretly to try to like trick people, that's slimy. But registering the countdown months later, like weeks, even the next day after the fact, after people reacted to it live, and then making it a copyrighted video that you can then go back to previous reactions while it was not copyrighted and be like, hey, they broke copyright. That's so fucked.
For another couple of minutes eating.
But he doesn't mention a countdown stream a single time. It's almost like
even if he sent the VOD in, but if you reacted to it before it was registered, that shouldn't count. She watched it live. She watched it before it was ever registered. Like, that's such a dumbass loophole in the law. If that's how it works, what the fuck?
Doesn't want you to realize that he's completely spite-driven and full of shit.
You're lying.
Maybe I am, so what?
And here's what makes that super obvious. Ethan didn't even register the countdown stream with the content nuke back in January. He did it in March, 2 months later. What happened in March that would make Ethan want to be sure he could go after Denims?
That it seems like she's directly responsible for CPS coming to my house in the morning and interviewing my children.
But how, okay, I get that, but how can, when she watched it, it wasn't registered. So I'm sorry, that makes no fuck. That's just a stupid ass law. That is just a broken law.
These basically are not even really copyright lawsuits. It's quite obvious that Ethan just came up with a way to use the legal system against his personal enemies. And the ultimate goal of his plan was to threaten them with something that they couldn't fight back against. Take Caseytron and Frogan, for instance. These two have pretty small audiences. They could not have meaningfully impacted Ethan's income at all. But Ethan is pursuing statutory damages, meaning his payout wouldn't be based on any actual lost revenue, but a fixed amount that the court decides upon, and could be up to $150,000. He's also asking for attorney's fees and prejudgment interest, just for good measure. This is Ethan applying the absolute maximum amount.
Yeah, what a fucking... Straight up evil. Straight up evil. This is evil. I don't know if that word is used enough, but this is evil. Just take the fucking criticism and get the fuck off of Reddit, you fucking ghoul. You fucking idiot. Trying to ruin people's fucking lives over what? Over what? You have kept this alive for 2 fucking years. We could have all moved on. What level of evil is this?
Couldn't fight back against. Take Caseytron and Frogan, for instance. These two have pretty small audiences. They could not have meaningfully impacted Ethan's income at all. But Ethan is pursuing statutory damages, meaning his payout wouldn't be based on any actual lost revenue, but a fixed amount that the court decides upon, and could be up to $150,000.
Insane, dude. Insane. Dude, this video is great. This video should be shown in court. Can they do that? He's made a great video that like, I'm sure they've already covered, like, Denims and Frogan and their lawyers have gone over all of that, but like, there's some good stuff in here that they could use.
He's also asking for attorney's fees and prejudgment interest, just for good measure. This is Ethan applying the absolute maximum amount of financial pressure possible. He's not really trying to right a wrong. He's trying to make the cost of defense so high that they don't actually have a choice. Caseytron, for instance, expressed concern about losing her home as a result of the lawsuit. And when she's facing that level of financial threat, she doesn't realistically have the option of trying to prove whether she's right or wrong. She's probably gonna just decide to not risk losing her house, which is likely why Caseytron was the first of the 3 defendants to resolve her case. The 2 parties settled in December, and as part of that settlement, she was required to deliver an on-stream apology, a statement which consisted of roughly 26 seconds discussing the importance of copyright, followed by almost 3 minutes of things like this.
I also want to make clear that I did not receive any support, financial or otherwise, from Hasan Piker. Hasan never even reached out to me privately to offer words of support. I also want to take the opportunity to acknowledge other misconduct and bad behavior I have exhibited online. For example, weaponizing the death of Asmongold's mother was inexcusable. AB, along with his wife Lena, have done more than I have ever done for the Palestinian people. I apologize to Ethan and Hila personally. I have said extremely mean and cruel things about both of them. I also want to acknowledge the pervasive problem of anti-Semitism in leftist spaces. It should concern all of us. I condemn it and will not participate in it. To that end, I wish the client's success in enforcing TED Entertainment's copyright and protecting the legal rights of online content creators.
Ethan claims that
that was such a disturbing video to watch. Like, it kind of made you like sick to your stomach, because you know what conditions under what conditions she's reading this literal fucking hostage like letter that they wrote. But while it made me sick to my stomach, I also felt a great amount of relief for Casey Tron and like just, I'm glad you're done with this shit. Go take care of your family. You don't have to worry about Ethan Klein and financial ruin anymore. But it's just also like, she doesn't deserve this. She seems like a very nice person, you know what I mean, who's been through a lot. And it makes you sad to see like a villain get what he wants, but ultimately he didn't. He might have felt good for that little moment, but I'm sure Casey Tron felt better being done with all that shit. But it was a hard watch.
Lawsuits weren't about the money, and he did this to protect the wider commentary community.
Even though theoretically I could sue a lot more creators and rake in millions of dollars, the purpose of this is not financial gain.
Theoretically, I could sue more creators and rake in millions of dollars, really?
I don't want to chill the reaction community into fear. Actually, the opposite. I hope that we can all unite against this type of egregious behavior that not only makes us all look bad, but could destroy the commentary community as we know it.
But when he was able...
I mean, great. Yeah, you're going to destroy XQC and Asmongold indirectly, I guess, which is great.
To point a dollar bill-shaped gun at Casey Tron's head and force her to say whatever he wanted. Even his intellectual property became an afterthought. He was almost exclusively interested in humiliating her, sucking up to Asmongold, dunking on Hasan, and otherwise just trying to win his little interpersonal online battles. Oh, and then boldly fucking lying afterwards that he had sympathy for Casey Tron and that the apology was genuine.
I think ultimately her apology was heartfelt and sincere.
You would have to be a total idiot to actually believe that.
It's incredibly stressful, both emotionally and financially, to go through a lawsuit.
It is,
Everybody
and I
knows
appreciate
that.
the situation she's been in.
You're the one putting strain on her situation. Ethan even made Casey Tron declare her willingness to help him pursue the H3 Snark moderators, who he claims colluded with the defendants to promote their streams.
For the record, I have agreed to cooperate with the Kleins in their litigation against the H3 Snark mods for promoting my live stream to the extent that I am able.
But his evidence for this is just this Reddit post listing publicly announced streams that were going to be reacting to the content new.
She's working.
Here we are again, third appearance, folks, so you guys can't see. I was part of this infamous post on H3 Snark. Hey everyone, we've seen a lot of comments about wanting to watch The Nuke without showing support for H3. Several creators have mentioned they're planning to stream their reactions or post reaction videos in the coming days. Here's a list of creators who've supported our sub, either by engaging with us directly or citing our posts in their critiques of, I'm guessing it says of Ethan and Hila. And if you're planning to watch along with any of them, we ask that you carry our subs rules into those spaces too. Feel free to check out North Star Radio, Frogan, Sean the Black, Denim Central Committee / Mike from PA, Hallucinogenderog, Casey Tron, Do Not Worry Podcast, and Uninformed Leftist. You might recognize 3 of these names from the show Better Left Unsaid.
Directly with the Snark subreddit moderators to siphon views, and their intentions couldn't be clearer.
But there's been no evidence presented of any two-way communication between the defendants and H3 Snark, so Ethan's even using these coerced statements to promote narratives about his enemies that he likely doesn't even have evidence for, which means that these totally spike-driven copyright lawsuits are being weaponized to compel the speech of the people that Ethan is feuding with, and all of it is in service of simply managing his online reputation. And even if you hate Hasan and Denims and all these people, what Ethan is doing here should repulse you, because it's
Bacon and Megs, good night. Thank you for being here. Glad you enjoyed the stream. We're going to be here for a little bit. We're going to be here for a little bit longer. Mauricio says, that's when I became a frequent viewer of yours, Anthony. Well, thank you. When I was mentioned in the... Oh, when we were mentioned in the Reddit post?
Extremely clear that his announcement video, the forced apology, his acceptance of the apology, this entire situation was a lie. And he lied because Ethan knows what he's doing is fucked up. He knows it's wrong to abuse the court to litigate personal grievances. So he has to pretend to be doing it for some greater purpose.
I mean, people don't like injustice, and we all see this, and no, it's not right. I hope that we can all unite against this type of egregious behavior that could destroy the commentary community as we know it. Ethan, don't settle. Bleed her bank account bone dry. That's not my intention. My intention is just to obviously stand up for what's right.
But that's obviously not what's happening. None of what Ethan is doing will help the React community. These cases won't establish any helpful legal precedent, and he's not even setting a social precedent against blatantly stealing content because he's letting the most long-time egregious offenders off the hook. The precedent that Ethan is setting is that wealthy creators can use the threat of litigation to suppress the speech of people they dislike. And despite Ethan claiming he wants to avoid a chilling...
But he would actually be indirectly... If Ethan wins the lawsuit, he is going to indirectly affect Asmongold and XQC, because now anyone can sue them for reacting to their videos and doing like a shit reaction. So they're either gonna change how they react or they're just gonna get sued. So he is fucking them over. So XQC and Asmongold cheering on Ethan What do you think that like Denims is like gonna go to like jail and that's it? The problem solved? No, it's gonna set a precedent, and now anyone can come after you, dumb motherfuckers, and sue your fucking asses for your fucking reactions. So that's what's gonna happen. So they would very much be affected. They just don't know it yet, I guess, because they're fucking stupid, I guess. But yeah, anyone who doesn't like you now and you react to one of their videos, they're gonna come after you. Same thing. They're gonna just register their fucking video in the Library of Congress and then come after you.
I don't want to chill the reaction community into fear.
This will establish a totally different kind of one. Spy-driven lawsuits like this threaten the entire foundation of online commentary. Healthy internet ecosystems thrive on creators engaging with each other's work. Commentary, criticism, live reactions, whether positive or negative, these things expose audiences to new creators, generate more content, and keep the space dynamic and interesting. Creators respond to each other, build off each other's ideas, and issue criticisms. But weaponizing the legal system over personal beef undermines all of that. And Ethan knows it. That's the reason he's doing it. Maybe if there were a legitimate standard that Ethan was trying to correct, then I could get behind him. But that isn't what's happening. He didn't go after everyone who actually stole his property. He didn't go after people who meaningfully affected his income. He didn't even go after the people who actually set the current standards for the thing he claims to be concerned about. He went after 3 small-scale creators that he hates. And he's using his vastly superior wealth to force them to say whatever he wants, attacking his enemies, making political statements they likely don't believe, and humiliating themselves publicly, all while lying to your face about what he's actually doing. And the thing is, it doesn't matter whether Caseytron is a good person or whether
Lego stream, Sarah's asking, tomorrow I'm going to be going over all of the newly announced Lego sets that are about to be released in July, I think. Sarah, that stream is going to be tomorrow at around 5 p.m., I believe. 5 p.m. Lebanon time. It's going to be about a 2-hour stream or something. And then there will hopefully be a second stream in the evening, either on the main channel or another stream on the gaming channel. We'll figure that out. But yeah, the first stream tomorrow on Tino's Playroom. By the way, folks, if you're not subscribed to my second channel, the link is pinned on top or the bottom of the live chat. Please subscribe to that channel. We have a lot of fun there, doing some gaming, some Lego building. I've recently gotten into Lego, so if you guys are curious about my adventure, subscribe to that channel. We're doing a live stream there tomorrow. So I'm splitting my time amongst 2 channels as I try to grow the other channel as well.
she said shitty things about people. It doesn't matter what Denims or Frogan have done in the past. What matters is whether you think someone with money should be able to abuse the court to silence their enemy's speech and expression, because that is the standard Ethan is setting, not a standard of...
Okay, guys, we got to offer our support. Let's take a second off the video and offer support to one of our own. We got Miku's headphones in chat. Says, my kitty had 2 strokes in 12 hours. First one left him fully blind. Then this morning he had another that left him fully paralyzed. He passed a few hours later. I'm such a sad person right now. I miss you, Zook. Or Zuki. Miku's headphones. Very sorry for your loss. That's very sad. I lost my boy Leopold a little over a year ago. Almost teared up today. Accidentally going through my picture gallery on my phone. Saw a video of little baby Leopold. And yeah, I'm about to tear up just talking about it right now. So very sorry for your loss. It's very hard to lose a pet. They're family. They're little babies. So I'm sure little Zook or Zuki was the greatest little kitty. They're in a better place, you know. Two strokes in 12 hours, you know. At least they're at ease right now, you know. They're doing good. So yeah, let me go grab Nata and Maki real quick. Maki, you good? Woke him up from a little nap. My cookie's here showing Zuki some love. What do you got to say to Zook, little Zuki? Everybody hold your little furry ones close. Miku says he was the best. I'm happy he's not hurting. He would love to see your little babies. I'm sure he was the best. Little Zuki sounds like the best. Makuki, come here. What are you trying to hide? Here's little Makuki saying hello to everybody. And a special hello to Miku's headphones. Okay, you want to go back? Okay, I'm going to go get and bring Nata. Just 1 second. Yeah. You putting your paw on my face? Let's go get Nata. Sorry, she was snuggled under the table on one of the chairs. Here's little Natupsi, her little tiny, tiny girl. She doesn't like to be carried and picked up too much. She's our little princess. Aren't you a little princess, little orange girl? So, here are the kitties. They're saying hello to everyone. Yeah, I'm gonna let her out. Wanna go sleep again? Hug your little loved ones, folks. And I miss my Leopold every single day. You know, these two are here and they add so much to life, and I couldn't imagine my life without them. But they're never going to replace my little Leopold, my little boy, my little baby. Now covered in cat hair. All right. This had to be done, folks. Show your love in the chat. Tamiku's headphones.
About transformation, not one about protecting intellectual property. It's just the standard of don't piss off Ethan Klein. And if you're not disgusted by that notion, you should be. Ethan would be.
In this country, we value free speech. And what a reaction video ultimately is free speech.
I think if you're a reactor on Twitch, if you make a good faith effort to comment, and if you make a good faith effort to promote the author, to link to them, to try to drive traffic to the original video, I think you're probably pretty much doing the right thing, and that's fine.
Fair use doesn't give a shit if you watch the video first or not. I didn't watch this video first.
I knew they would watch the entire video, react to it instantly, giving them no time to form an opinion.
I have to show that I've watched it before and thought, well, I have something good to add. I didn't watch your video beforehand, bro.
A long-form, irresistible piece of content.
Oh, wow. This is some good shit right here. This is old school. This is old school Ethan talking about how he reacts to videos. Now he can be like, well, I've changed. That used to be old Ethan. Now I've changed and I've grown. And especially after my lawsuit with Ryan Kavanaugh, I've learned the value of all that shit.
Streamers couldn't resist. They couldn't avoid the temptation of watching it the second it was published.
It's speech, bro. I don't need anyone's permission to say anything.
You can't just say whatever you want. You can't just say, I'm in favor of genocide. You got to watch what you say. I'm not standing by this shit anymore.
And I'm going to call out people like Brendan, too, because this is just bad for everyone. And it's especially egregious considering the hypocrisy of the whole free speech thing that these guys apparently love so well.
Free speech! You go to free speech. Shut up, dumbass.
You're shutting down criticism and you're pretending like it's a copyright issue. It's not. It's fair use. It's protected speech.
This isn't a free speech issue. This is people are fucking getting way too comfortable slandering and saying whatever they want about people online under the guise of free speech.
There's lots of videos shitting on me on the internet. You know, I wish I could just delete them off the internet. You know, wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't that be just convenient? But you know what? You can't do it. That's free speech. You know, and free speech.
God, it's like two different people and two entirely different people. And like, that's it. This Ethan's never coming back. This Ethan's never coming back. Never coming. And the whole conversation about Ethan is so different online. The way people talk about him, the way people talk about H3, like I've rarely seen someone's reputation nosedive this much, this quickly, and like this consistently. And he keeps on making it worse. Like this weekend at the poker tournament, like, are you kidding me? Did absolutely nothing to help himself. Like, what a shit show that was. Kind of insane to see these two things side by side. And like the fact that he looks so different and like he's like way like skinnier, but like not in like a healthy looking way, you know what I mean? Like just shaking more, and all of the tics are like acting up because he's stressed. And again, I'm not making fun of his Tourette's or anything like that. I know for a fact, just by watching him and having watched him for years, Ethan's tics are like way worse, when he's anxious and stressed and talking about things that make him anxious and make him stressed, versus like here where he's kind of like just chilling.
Tested when it's targeted at you. You can't just say whatever the fuck you want. It's time to start holding people accountable for the shit they're saying. I fight every day to protect free speech. I put my money on the line, I go to court, and I'll do it as many times as I need to. You guys have been doing this for years. It's the jig is up. You're gonna have to tell it to a judge, literally. By the way, this guy likes threatening to sue people. All over fair use and my right to free speech. And if I wanted to sue you, I probably could fucking ruin your whole life. It'll be great to sue them. I'd love to sue her. I'd love to
Sarah, good night. We'll see you tomorrow during the Lego stream.
sue him. I'm gonna sue you. It's not a threat. I'm going to sue you. We get to pursue legal fees for this garbage anti-free speech lawsuit. And to all the detractors who are saying that I'm a hypocrite for suing for copyright infringement, I just have this to say. I don't care. It's easy to defend free speech when it's got nothing to do with you, right? When it makes you look good. But when free speech makes you look bad, then
this feels like a North Star Radio edit right there.
Let's see how much you defend it.
But the moment online criticism became too difficult for him to handle, all of those principles went out the window. And not only has he completely abandoned those principles, he's become the thing that he spent so much of his career complaining about. As an example, look at the initial complaints for the lawsuits. These were over 80 pages long and contained things like a comparison between Hasan and Haj Amin al-Husseini, a notable Nazi collaborator during World War II. And yeah, this is clearly partially intended to waste opposing counsel's time and rack up the defendant's legal fees. But Ethan's been on the receiving end of litigation like this before.
He's doing a spite lawsuit trying to ruin our lives. And God forbid I actually fight back against a fucking total fraudulent copyright lawsuit. Well, fuck you, bro.
Or how he spent the last 2 years complaining about online harassment. But in the versions of these complaints that Ethan linked under his announcement video, he censored his lawyer's contact information, obviously to try to prevent harassment. But he did nothing to protect the identities of the 3 defendants, which were previously not widely known. I mean, sure, court filings are public, but then why censor anything at all? Ethan knew what he was trying to protect his lawyer from, but he declined to try to offer that same protection to the defendants and published it to millions of people. I don't know if most people would think of this as doxing, but I don't know what else to call it. And if that is what this was, we shouldn't be surprised. Ethan has clearly shown time and time again that he has no
I remember that. That's pretty fucked up.
standards of any kind. I mean, like back during the Matt Haas lawsuit, I can't speak for everybody, but I supported Ethan. Yes, partially because of fair use, but also because it was obvious that Matt Haas simply didn't like that someone was making fun of him. It was clearly a case of someone abusing copyright law to go after their enemies. But now that's Ethan, and he's like this with everything. He condemns things when they work against him, but he's perfectly fine with them when they work for him. Like he considers it harassment when people contact his sponsors over his own controversial statements, but it's totally fine to contact sponsors when he decides it's okay.
It must be nice to be racist, openly racist, bigoted, and Twitch does nothing. Capcom, Samsung, and Chevron should absolutely know about what kind of content Twitch is putting in front of their logo.
Or how he thinks snark is the worst possible thing on the internet, but he didn't have a problem with it when it was someone else. His own community is basically Hasan's snark at this point, and they're just mimicking his own behavior.
And he's the type of guy that keeps his girlfriend a secret. I'll just spill the beans. I don't care at all.
Hasan snark, Frogan snark, Denim snark, iDub snark, Anissa snark. It was a me snark for a while. Anyone who speaks, Mika. Remember Mika? What was the name of her channel? It became, they all went after her. They went after like how she spoke and how she breathed. Like what the fuck?
I asked, I said, why do you keep your relationship with Valkyrie a secret? And it was his decision.
He likes everybody dreaming of being with him.
That's obviously why not.
He hates people bringing up personal, sensitive stuff, like talking about his dead dog, but he'll readily reveal intimate, private details about people whenever he wants. Seriously, how do you think Ethan would react in 2026 if someone made an entire website dedicated to comparing him to, I don't know, how about convicted mass murderer and child rapist John Wayne Gacy? Which I did do, by the way. So I guess we'll see.
Oh, what? There's a...
John Wayne Gacy. Which I did do, by the way.
Does Ethan Klein look like John Wayne? Is that really a fucking website? Can't type worth of shit with this fucking website keyboard. Does Ethan Klein look like John Wayne Gacy? Where's the website? How can I find it? There it is. Do you have a sliding board? We need the slider. Yeah, he does kind of look like him. He very much looks like him. He looks more like John Wayne Gacy than Ryan Kavanaugh ever looked like Harvey Weinstein. Does Ethan Klein look like John Wayne Gacy? I'm a longtime viewer of H3H3. I even own a Teddy Fresh hoodie, although I've only been wearing it at home after my friends made fun of me for it. But recently something happened that entirely changing my perspective on the H3 show. I was watching the podcast on the living room TV when my roommate walked past and said, "Hey, that guy looks like John Wayne Gacy." At first, I thought she was joking, but then I remembered she was a white woman. If she knows anything, it's true crime. And sure enough, a quick Google search yielded some undeniable results. At first, I thought the similarities were minor, surface level stuff. The round face, the shadowy caterpillar of a mustache. All right, pretty cool. Pretty funny. God, I honestly feel like he could have done the H3 thing as its own video, right? Like at 1 hour and 43 minutes. And then he could have done the other guys in a separate video in a part 2. But maybe he was worried that the other guys aren't enough to carry their own video. Like people don't care enough about Willie Mack or Tectone to watch a takedown video on them alone. So he had to merge them with Ethan. But like this is a very like, you know, in-depth video already. And we're not even halfway through. We're not even halfway through. We're 1 hour and 30 minutes in. 133 out of almost 4 hours.
So I guess we'll see. Anyway, the point is, this whole thing between Ethan and Hasan, it was never about Israel or Palestine. It was never really about harassment. This was always about a 40-year-old former online hero who torments himself over what people online are saying about him, and who completely loses his mind over not having control over it. He's been losing subscribers and obsessively coming up with massive conspiracy theories to explain why, instead of facing the obvious, which is that he pretends to be honest and stand up for things. But he's a giant crybully whose only principle is self-preservation, and he'll sell you any lie that he can to try to uphold it. Which makes Ethan
a fucking Weasley little liar, dude. A fucking Weasley little liar, dude.
For his efforts, Ethan Klein's the winner of our first Weasley Little Liar Award, the sort of a piece of shit award.
So it all comes together at the end, Ravy Baby says. Yeah, I'm sure it does. I'm sure it does. I mean, yeah, we're not going to be able to finish this whole thing today, but this is a pretty interesting video that I do think I would like to finish. So what I'm thinking is maybe we can stop it here at the Ethan, once the Ethan part's done, like right now, and then I can maybe do would you guys be interested in part 2 of this tomorrow, or you guys, would you not want to keep watching this? Let me do another poll. Start a poll. Would you watch part 2 tomorrow? Would you watch part 2 tomorrow? At least we gave this guy an actual reaction, didn't we? We gave him 4 hours of content for not even half of his video. So I'd say that's a pretty fair use reaction right there.
Mazel tov. So you'd probably think that vexatious lawsuits, lying, doxing, and harassing smaller figures into silence would be met with widespread condemnation online. But actually, Ethan is surrounded by a gang of similarly dishonest creators who've been clapping like seals at somebody who has the time and the money to go after Hasan and his orbit. These people have a variety of motivations. Some of them are clout hungry, some of them feel personally slighted by Hasan, and some of them are perhaps just mentally disabled. But
yeah, fucking Willie Mack, dude.
All of them deserve to be recognized for helping usher in this new online meta where there are no standards of behavior whatsoever, as long as the person on the other side is named Hasan Piker. Time for the awards ceremony. Let's take a look at Cameron F305.
We could do this tomorrow. We can do this tomorrow. We're at 3 hours and 55 minutes. It's a 4-hour stream. What time is it here? It is 1:27 a.m. I mean, I feel like I could do more, but I feel like, you know, this was a good stream for today. This was fun. We can wrap it up, and then I think I'll most likely do part 2 tomorrow, unless something else happens that we have to, you know, do a video of, some breaking news or something. But we'll try to react to this, and then if H3 has their live stream, God, there's but too much H3 stuff lately. But I mean, hey, it's popping off. Because if H3 is going to be live tomorrow, and if Ethan is going to address the casino stuff tomorrow, the Vegas stuff, the poker tournament, I'm going to want to look at that on Wednesday or something. We have to. So I'm going to take the rest of the night off. I'm going to rest, watch some YouTube videos, chillax, get some sleep. Thank you guys so much. This was a very fun stream. We have over 200 viewers still right now. Pretty fucking crazy. It's 1:30. Yeah, it's going to be... Once Live at Bubble says, do a mega stream right now, finish it. Strawberry says, do more. I think it's late enough. We can do it tomorrow. We can have fun tomorrow. Why not? You know what I mean? People need shit to watch every day. You just got 4 hours of this, and you guys got 5 hours of live streams yesterday. That's 9 hours of live streams in 2 days, guys. I'm going to rest my voice. This was super fun. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you to everybody who sent in a super chat, who gifted memberships. Always appreciate you guys' support. Let me thank everyone by name yet again. Yankees fan, thank you so much. Nogzalotl, Chunkenstein, Marina, Nimus, Chris, Clay, Bentrice, Zoprakt from Leb, Busted Balzac, Joel Lockie. Thank you all so much for the... We got 6 new members today. Very much appreciated. On our goal, on our way to our 1,000 member goal, hopefully. Members, we're going to do a very fun live stream this week. I'll find something nice to react to or like a nice topic that we can talk about. We'll have a nice little stream. Good night, everybody. Maximus says, I thought tomorrow was for Lego building. Maximus, I'm going to be doing 2 live streams tomorrow. Lego building, not Lego building tomorrow. I'm going to be reacting to some Lego sets. I'm still experimenting with different types of streams and content on that other stream. So I'm going to be doing some like reaction stuff. So tomorrow, Lego live stream on the Lego channel. And then once that's done at like 7 p.m., I'm going to be back on this channel at like 8 or 9 p.m. to do another live stream. 2 live streams tomorrow, folks. 2 live streams. We did 2 live streams yesterday, 1 4-hour live stream today, 2 live streams tomorrow. I'm putting in the work, okay? I'm trying to give you guys as much entertainment as I can. So, have a good night, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. It's been super fun. Kilo, very impressive video so far, I must say. Very impressive video. And it's always nice to see myself popping up in those things here and there. Just reminds me of the last 2 years and how crazy of a whole adventure that this has all been. Thank you guys so much. Hug your furry friends very tightly today, folks. Okay? Hug your furry friends. Have a good night, everyone. And as always, do not